Here we go. Who's ready to rumble this afternoon on Racing Post Live? Myself, Dave Orton. Thrilled to be back in the seat with you. Massive show for you. I mean, we're here till 5:15, man. Goodness gracious me. Whether you like team racing or not, we're going to shove it to you this afternoon. We've already had one race at Ascot. It is the Shergar Cup day at the Racing League in the weekend. What's going on in the world? If you find it tricky, don't worry. This is the place to be tuning in this afternoon. We've also got some group races, of course, from Newmarket. We pop up to Haydock as well for a couple of decent races there. And perhaps the best two-year-old race in the last couple of years, 4:15. We're over the Irish Sea go we to the Curragh for the Phoenix Stakes. Are you Bradsell? Are you Little Big Bear? Are you perhaps one of the others? Let us know. This is an interactive show. You can, of course, like and subscribe. Let us know. Get the chat going. What a panel we have got for you this afternoon. Now, if you've been reading the Racing Post in your members club, you will know for the last couple of weeks we've been championing today. If you want some help with the Shergar Cup, look no further than the man immediately to my left, and it's Oisin Murphy.
Good afternoon, Dave.
The day has finally come, Oisin.
It has. I'm quite nervous. We've got a blockbuster day racing to get through. I'm not a great tipster, as everyone already knows. I've done my homework.
Hang on, Oisin. Do not get your excuses out of the way now. We've got a worse one sitting next to you. Paul Kealy comes back in for his annual visit.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I come here. I get overshadowed by Barry Orr every time I'm on. So I mean, I've got him on the one side of me and Oisin on the next. So get 1 winner out of 10, I'll do.
Kills, this could be fun this afternoon, isn't it?
Should be a laugh. Yeah.
Every man and their dog and woman and knows that you do not like team racing, but enough's been said about that, right? We're in the Racing Post red look. This afternoon, We've got Team Ireland in the blue because Barry Orr jets back in to give us all an education.
Yeah, just like Oisin there, I'm really looking forward to it. It should be a cracking day. It's a bit of fun, isn't it? I know people have their opinions about it, team racing, and we've seen the Racing League during the week and everything that goes with that. But it's something different. It's a bit of a different from the norm, and I think it's good. I think it's nice for racing, and it gives us all a chance to look at racing from a different perspective.
Yeah, so 8 races, they've added on to them. I haven't filled all of them, but we'll get to that. We start in the 135. We've already had one down. Joanna Mason took it out. Look, the team bets are popular, aren't they? Who's going to take the silver saddle? Who's going to win? Is it the girls or the rest of the world?
She was favourite for the silver saddle, actually, yeah. And so the market looks like it's got that right. She was 4-1 favourite. It's not in running on the Betfair Sportsbook. It's not offered on the exchange. But in terms of outright, the women or ladies or girls, whatever we're calling them today, they were favourite at around the 11-8 mark. It was 5-2 Ireland. Rest of the world were 6-1, and GB and I were 11-4.
Yeah, okay, all right, fine. So before, look, regular viewers will know that Barry puts up a tip in every single race. We're going to showcase to you. There it is. Look, there's the exchange. If you're new to the show, this is the in-running market. This is what all the bookies on course use. This is, whether you're a player or a layer. If you want an education, you'll get that here this afternoon. We are in association, of course, with Betfair all along the way. But there's the sports book, of course. He does it for charity. Are we going for Greatwood this month?
Greatwood this month. We were training racehorses last month. We won £600 for them, so I've yet to send off a cheque. I'll do that on Monday, retraining racehorses.
Because you're off on holiday on Tuesday.
I'm off on holiday on Tuesday, so I'll definitely do that Monday. And for the month of August, we're going to do Greatwood.
Yeah, all right, great stuff. You don't have to play in every race, of course. We're bringing you 11 races, of course, because they stuck in that Phoenix Sprint to the Curragh as well, which we're thrilled about. So even if the Shergar Cup is not for you, you could see it as like maybe an appetizer, for what's coming up. That 4:15 race is something very, very special indeed. Let us know what you fancy. Get it in. Let's start building the socials. Have you ridden in the Shergar before?
I have once. My favourite part of the day is the part where their cheerleaders come out and do their little dance, and I got some selfies.
Did you ride a winner?
I didn't.
Must do better, Oisin.
No, I think I had an unfair disadvantage, in fact, because...
Oh, Kealy was picking your rides.
Well, I don't know who was, but I didn't have anything any good.
Because they do get picked, of course, don't they? We can get to that.
No, it's not random. They make sure their favourites get the good horses.
Yeah. All right, look, there's some social interaction.
That's why the girls are on 3 favourites today.
And Frankie always has a decent.
I'll tell you what, everyone's coming for kills. Look, even the people out there on the floor, the commander, as we call him, he's come on, look, and he said, today, I will be looking for prices as high as Paul Kealy's golf handicap. Just saying.
Hey, I'm down to 16.
Look, you've got your Abu Dhabi on as well, haven't you?
Exactly, yeah.
Keels always wears a golf attire when he comes in here. All right.
I haven't got anything else that fits.
Just do not swing and miss today, is what I would say. But look, you're due a biggie as as well, aren't you? Should we get that out of the way?
Too bloody right, yeah. And it's non-stop. The horses that I've backed at big prices just getting touched off, going off much shorter, not getting over the line. Tap D 33-1 in the Stewards Cup last week. Dark shot of 50s. I thought that was winning. I was standing there.
Go
just
for
over
something
the line.
easier, man.
No, bigger the field, but the bigger the bet.
Yeah, do you fancy a couple today for us?
Yeah, I fancy a few, yeah. Yeah, I actually fancy Haley to take out the...
Silver Saddle?
No, the 210.
Oh, Mannequin.
The 210. And I have backed the max we can at a big price in the Stayers race, and, you know, I've got 40 to 1 that last night, and it's about 12s now.
Yeah,
so.
a few judges have put that up. Keith Melrose is doing the price-wise with Tom Siegel's on holiday.
Yeah, and I think Abel D will win the last.
So do I.
Smash out of trouble race.
Yeah, that's the one, absolutely.
Responsibly, of course.
We're starting along the way. There's 11 races here. Seriously, do not play in all of them. We won't be. But if you want, of course, to know what we think is going to win every race, that's why we put one up. We'll be getting tips, as you said. We should, of course, doff our cap a little bit to you, because we were starting to worry about how your radar was after you came in and did a Royal Ascot preview with us. You tipped up a horse called the Foxes. I mean, I won't tell you exactly what you said off air it was doing to horses at home, but it was leagues apart, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It went to the Chesham Stakes. I think because it only had like a 9th to its name or something like that after its debut run. It was a big prize. It did get backed in.
Yeah.
And then we're all thinking, cheers, Oisin. Okay, all right, this is going to be an expensive project, isn't it? An interesting one. And in the opener, which we covered here, on the last day of Goodwood, it went and beat Richard Hannon Hotpot. And all of a sudden, your stock has risen again.
Thank goodness. I was under a bit of pressure. I try and tip a decent 2-year-old every year. Tactical a couple of years ago was my one to follow. And yeah, when I was getting it super wrong after Ascot, my head was down. But thankfully, he went and broke his maiden. Let's see what he can do later on this season.
Yeah, quotes of Derby are coming, aren't they? He's a bit
far
much.
too early, and he's by Churchill as well. I'm not sure he'll stay that far, but let's see.
Yeah, it's probably a good horse he beat, because it's got a Champagne Stake Century to run him up, isn't it? So
classic or whatever.
Classic. Yeah,
it was a hot pot Hannons. Anyway, what hot pots do you fancy today? Keep the interaction coming in. There you can see your £10 free bet back. Basically, should we get some housekeeping out of the way, Barry?
Yes, we certainly will. So yeah, the offer this Saturday is bet 10 on multiples and get £10 free bet on multiples. So that's a pretty punchy offer. And with that, what we're going to do is our own multiple, our Lucky 15 that we do every week. Hopefully, we've had a modicum of success with it in recent days and recent weeks, but hopefully we'll get a little bit better today. The first leg is in the 3 o'clock in Haydock in the Rose of Lancaster. It's Anmat, stepping out of handicap company into group company. Hopefully you can make that transition. Second leg is at 3:40 in Newmarket in the Sweet Solaro. It's Lady Alara for Charlie Hills. I think that will go really well at 7-1. Jungle Cove for Jessica Harrington in the 3:55 in Ascot. 4 places there in the Betfair Sportsbook. Every race we're covering, bar the first race, is 4 places on the Betfair Sportsbook, the each way punters. And the last leg is Hamakai at 3-1. The lads were asking me, am I definitely doing it each way? We're going to stick with the each way element to it, although some of them aren't really each way prices ordinarily. And we're going to do the Lucky 15 for £1 each way. So it's going to cost us £30. Obviously, it's 6 doubles, 4 trebles, an accumulator, and 4 singles. So it's 15 bets. If that comes up for us, we get £2,800 for Greatwood, the charity. So fingers crossed for those 4 selections. Hopefully they'll go well.
This is the day the multi's on the move. Okay, so basically, look, 11 races today on a whopping Saturday. Races all over the place. Only got red cars and the like going on today. If you just want a small outlay and have a bit of fun through the afternoon, Barry's put up, an each way Lucky 15. If you do a multiple up to £10, you get a tenner of it back already. So the John Smith Cup winner all the way down to William Haggis and Hamaki. I would have called it Hamaki, but you're probably right with Hamaki. It's lucky that Oisin's here. We have got some Japanese representation. You, of course, are very well known down there. So if I get the pronunciation out of the way, do not worry about pulling me up on it.
Okay.
Right? I know it's something that you've done before when we were together. So do not mind doing that. And Haggis has taken out the first, surprise, surprise, with Joanna Mason, as we mentioned. I've got a quote about that horse. Keeps going forward. It's probably pattern class is what he's saying. Needs fast ground, although has one on soft and will get further. So Amanzo, a horse to stay with, basically going forward. Right, the 135 is coming up. You can see the market there. And Barry, this has been lively.
Yeah, it really has. So Orban was the favourite when we first went up with this race on the sportsbook at 6-4. And it was a horse that I wanted to oppose at around that price, 6-4, 7-4. He's actually a 4-1 chance now in the exchange, and Epsom Faithful with Rene Pichulak is favourite at 11-4. Orban 5-1. Like I said, 5.6 Divine Magic. Crazy Look was money for that. That's 9.2 now for Haley Turner. Guidor is 10. 11.5 Bowman. And Stone Soldier is 14. They're all quoted there. There's one non-runner, so it's only 3 places each way punters. But on the exchange, it's still 3 places in the place market. You can also bet 2 and 4 places there as well. But the 3 place market is unaffected with the non-runner there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to sit this one out though, Dave. There's 11 races on today.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I thought Orban would be a 6-4 chance. I wanted to lay it at 6-4. I'm not going to lay it at 4-1 now. And it's just a race that I'm going to watch on with interest. But like I said, gamble responsibly. Today and every other day, 11 races live on TV. So there's a lot to look at.
Let's start absolutely slowly wins the race and all that sort of thing. Okay, Orban kills is a bit reminding me of what you do to me with the Shergar Cup. The more you go off it, the more I want to be with the Shergar Cup. I get more interested in it. And the more people go off Orban, when are we going to start to get
Well,
rid of
this is it. I mean, the point is, it's become a very big price. I mean, you know, if you didn't know his history and you just seen how well he won at Goodwood, like, you'd be falling over yourself to back him. But then you look at it and think, well, hang on a minute, that was his first win in about 26 starts, and he's backed out of loads of them before. And it did work out so well for him at Goodwood, didn't it? Because he was able to just hide, like, you know, and then get asked for one run without seeing the Golden Mile, without seeing any daylight until he got through and just went away from him.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's 4-1 now, isn't he?
None of us will be surprised.
I'd have been happy to lay him. I'd have been happy. He's going to get pace, but he's going to see a lot of space as well, isn't he? Because it's such a wide track and there's only a few runners. That's the way. I wouldn't know what to do. But Bowman normally goes quite quick.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of pace in here, and I think
Epsom Faithful has been backed into favouritism. Looked very lively in the parade ring, wasn't he? Very much on his toes.
Oh, really? The mare
mounted, yeah.
Under Rennie Pichelek?
Pichelek. Yeah, we think
Is that right?
That's how you pronounced him when he rode to
Rennie Pichelek.
when he rode the Arc horse.
Well, he's
to
an
finish second
winning
in the
jockey,
King
isn't
George.
he? Rene.
He is.
Hello.
Yeah.
I was hoping saying
Mr.
hello by
Rene.
the end of the race. Yeah, so look, Rene we know about because November is another one of the horses he's ridden at Ascot. He's had 2 rides, they're both placed. Torquato Tassa. Let's talk about that Golden Mile at on the Friday of Glorious Goodwood. That's when they remove the rails and all the cutaway and stuff. If you're on a horse that's drawn more than 10, are you just thinking, oh, okay, I'll get him a fee here? And
It doesn't matter where you're drawn. Genuinely, races like that at Goodwood with so many runners, you're a hostage to fortune. If you go forward in the race, they tend to attack you too soon. You get swallowed up. If you take your time, there's always traffic. And then if you want to play it safe and come out round them, you cover an extra furlong to get into daylight. I'm telling you, it's just complete luck. And it worked out perfectly for Orban. I agree with Keels. I'm concerned, small field, he won't be covered up for long enough. If he's into daylight too soon, he might throw the towel in.
yeah, of course, because we're on the straight track here, and no one really rides that better than we say than the Queen of the Shergar Cup, 4-time team winner, twice silver saddle for Haley Turner for the Millmans. And this horse was beaten at the track last year in the sprint, a pound wrong. Now, James Millman, who well know comes and sits on this panel a lot, has been very vocal about this race, Kills, isn't he, in the week? Quite rightly so, because lots of people saying, why on earth hasn't this filled this race? Because it's a classified race, and prize money goes down to last, and there are not even any reserves.
Yeah, I mean, it was a funny... I think it was a funny decision to go up to 8 races from 6 anyway at a time when we haven't got enough horses in the first place. So I think they were playing with fire a little bit, weren't they? So it's only one of the races. It's only one of the races that hasn't sort of filled out properly, isn't it? So I don't think it's that bad.
Well, look at you coming round to the Shergar.
No, I don't give a monkeys about the team competition. I mean, it's just one race that hasn't filled. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's no great big deal, is it? You know.
No, fair enough. Okay, but look, this filly, they run from a pound out the handicap last year. It's £4 wrong at the weights, but James was saying the prize money is so good. And we spoke to Haley, didn't we, yesterday on a feature show we did, and she said Millman actually is quite excited about this. Now, if you know James Millman, he doesn't get excited.
I know him.
He doesn't get excited at all, does he?
Well,
Rosie Marston called him dead inside.
They're having an incredible year, and his father's a very good trainer, but I really admire how they place them. I think they've done a super job.
How cold he is.
Crazy look. No, putting those horses in the right races.
Yeah, they're very good.
I think James definitely has something to do with that.
Oh, of course he does.
Yeah.
And she's in a race where she can be competitive again today, but she's not thrown in the handicap. This is her level.
Well, they're going in the stalls.
Yeah, and Orban is
looks like he's going to go off favourite now. Yeah,
Is he?
4.3, but
How-
4.3, 130 each of two, really.
Each horse has got its price, as we often say. Look, good luck. whichever way you play in the Open here. We'll have a bit of fun. And good luck with me calling, I think, today at Ascot. I'm looking for the caps, guys. I thought that Epsom Faithful would go off favourite, I said yesterday. I'm actually a bit surprised that she has.
Good money for Divine Magic.
Now,
right
this is
at the
under
off.
Takeshi or Takeshi
Takeshi
Yokoyama.
Yokoyama.
Takeshi Yokoyama. Tell us about him, Oisin.
Very, very good rider. He's won probably 3 or 4 Group 1s now. The best young rider in Japan.
You're genuinely not just saying that,
No,
are you?
seriously.
Yeah.
Style similar to Ryan Moore. He models himself on Ryan Moore.
All right, well, your professional reputation is about to be staked on that, so let's have a little look. He goes out, and is he in front then?
No, Bowman.
No, he's last.
That's
Okay,
Bowman.
this is Bowman, of course.
Yeah.
Karen McAvoy didn't even get a mention, did he? The super Australian hoopers, they called him down there. What's this in second? Emma Jane Wilson, the Queen of Woodbine, the Canadian wonder. 3 wins she's got at the Shergar Cup. She's there. Now look, let's look for Orban, guys.
Takeshi's too far back.
Orban is
He's had a
second
shocker
last.
already.
No, but he can't win from there.
Second last Orban.
He's trading as fav. He's trading as fav in the in-running market, though. So
Right,
interesting.
Divine Magic's trading as fab, yeah.
They look like they've sewed it up a bit, Oisin, here. Is that right?
Well, 12.03 is solid enough for that furlong. 11.92. No, I think they're going an even pace. It would be in red if they're going absolutely flat out. And the problem is now, jockeys are already starting to make a move and they haven't even come down to a 3.
And Epsom Faithful
Where
is
do they want to
really
be
full
here?
of
The
life,
stand
isn't
side
she?
or the
No,
far
I
side?
think they're racing up the centre. Small field doesn't really matter.
Look at Redday.
Crazy
Look at
Look
Orban.
doesn't win. Orban
Crazy
beats
Luck's
space
gone.
early.
What's this? Is this Orban?
It's
No,
Orban.
It's
Yeah.
Orban this side.
I'll tell you
It's
what,
Orban this
Orban's
side.
coming. Neil Cannon it is. The Golden
Aye,
Mile
aye.
winner. He only stays. This is surely all over, isn't it? It looks like the
It
Irish.
is all over.
Spencer's
He's hacked
coming.
up yet again.
What's this coming at the back?
That's
this
Divine
is
Magic,
Takeshi. I don't know. Hang on a minute. No, it's all
No,
over.
he's
Done.
on it.
101
He's on it.
done. Takeshi has got a nice straight.
Takeshi's very stylish. I like his
Takeshi.
style.
Yeah.
Just a little bit too far back, but actually would he have won anyway? He was off the back of Orban through the race. I don't think there was too many excuses there.
No.
I tell you
No,
what,
fair
guys,
enough.
we often say this about horses, don't we? And prices. If you backed Orban yesterday and just went into a drunken stupor or wherever you went, you're just waking up on Saturday afternoon and you're looking at the SP at that Barry, you're thinking, hallelujah.
You're checking your eyes for sure to look at it. Betfair SP at 4.29, so 130, bang on 130 he's returned, having been 6-4 when the market first went up. The Divine Magic with the Shaki Yokoyama trade at low 3.1 in running. Outside of that, no real in running news, Dave. They were in Indian file as
That
we see there.
3.1 was fairly early, you know, as well. Even though he was sitting out the back, somebody liked his
Yeah, he
position.
was 5-2
I think
in
it
the
looked.
start call
I think
last.
it looked initially as though Bowman was going really fast, didn't he? And then he just steadied it up a little bit.
Let's bring Oisin in here because we all think it's extremely difficult to make all on the straight track at Ascot.
Yeah, I mean, it can be. The issue is you're rising the whole time, and if someone comes to you a fraction earlier than they should do, or than you would have liked, your hand is forced to press go, and the last furlong is a very long way. I mean, Takeshi's closing all the way to the line. Should he have asked a question a little bit earlier on Divine Magic? Possibly.
Do you think he thought they would go quicker?
No. I think he was told to take his time, and he's been watching races from Ascot, and obviously he thought he was on a hold-up horse, probably watching Spencer sit there to the furlong pole. The bottom line is Orban won a more competitive race last time. He was a big price for the type of horse he is because he's unreliable. He's gone and won now. It's obvious. You know, we can all say, "Oh, why?"
If he was a 4-year-old last time, if he was a 4-year-old and had run 8 times in his life, it'd have been odds on for this.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But it's because you just know you can't trust him, and now you're sitting there thinking, well, how have I let him go off at that price?
Yeah. Of course, he's off a mark of 95 here. So what was he, £7 higher, wasn't he, than when he won at Goodwood last week, Kills? But he's got a Racing Post rating in the hundreds, hasn't he, when he won over a mile? Now,
Yeah.
And this guy's now... So this guy's surely on the road to the Cambridgeshire now, isn't he?
Well, he could be, couldn't he?
Stop.
What do you mean, stop?
You're getting excited.
He's 9 from 10
Well,
for the
they're getting
Clipper
it.
Logistics
You're
at
getting
York.
excited.
Which is the mini Cambridgeshire?
The Cambridgeshire is when? October.
No, it's late September.
No,
isn't
York,
it?
the Clipper Logistics.
We'll go to
Not the
the
Cambridgeshire at Newmarket.
No, I'm saying he's 9 from 10 for the Clipper Logistics
which is
in
the
York.
next step
Next
exactly.
week,
Right,
yeah.
next-
Okay,
right,
yeah.
okay.
And then
So if he
yeah.
goes and wins that, Oisin,
Yeah, no.
I will be
Forget
playing
about the
this clip.
Cambridgeshire. Group horses win the Cambridgeshire. That's ages away.
The winner of the Cambridgeshire runs today. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Stevie Donahoe's riding him at Redcar. It's called Golden Voice.
Okay.
3:27, I think it is.
Okay, we're
I think
getting
it's
it.
something like that.
Golden
So
Voice.
We're not covering red car.
We're not covering red car, but trust
I
me,
didn't
my
even know it was
eyes will
on.
be
Are
on.
we not covering enough races?
We are. All right, let's get the social up. Nedster joins us back. Welcome along this afternoon. We're starting to cook with gas now. It's Oisin. He must be able to give us a few clues today. I think he just has done, hasn't he? Now, let's have a little bit of banter about that, because when you came into the office, we asked you about Takeshi and what he was like, and you said genuinely the best riders come out there, certainly for a long time, and certainly, well, I'm trying to word out how I say this. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but this would be an upgrade on the Japanese riders we've seen at the meeting before, right?
I think he's a real deal. Just watching him, his style there, he looks like he belongs in the best races in the world, and he's a bit bigger
Nice
and
chap.
stronger. I haven't had that much conversation with him. I've ridden against him plenty.
How is your Japanese?
Poor, and his English is poor also. We both make an effort.
You get on with him in kills.
Will you stop?
This is what happens on this show. But what?
Well, my
the
English
reason-
is poor, is what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Where I'm going with this is because when you came in and said that, Kilser was buried in his phone doing whatever at the time. His attention peaked, and he turned around because in the week in our next race, you put up a horse that you were quite confident
I put
about.
up King of Stars, yeah, but I wanted a homegrown jockey because he's a front runner, and I wanted somebody who had plenty of experience of riding at Ascot. So who do we get? We get Takeshi Yokoyama, who I literally knew nothing about.
And you've just been told it's a Japanese rival.
until I started having a look, and I did watch a few videos of him. He won the autumn 10-0 show in October.
Yes.
And obviously his old man and his grandfather won the race as well, like, you know what I mean? So he's been sitting on a horse since he was, you know, in nappies, like, basically, like, you know what I mean? So he's obviously a very good horseman, but he still hasn't ridden at Ascot, and that's what made me jump off.
So you know what's going to happen now, people, don't you?
Yes, but he's getting a big price now, so I can have a little saver, can't I?
Well, you've got to, but he's the pace in the race in the next race, which comes up, of course, at 2:10. We'll then be popping to Haydock for a handicap. We've got the Rosa Lancaster as well. Grosser Jack comes back out to play. Talking about him going down to the Cox Plate, of course, a race that you know all about.
I was second in it on Ben Battle.
Were you second to the greatest horse since Frankel in that?
I was second to Winks, but not the greatest horse since Franklin.
We know what side of the fence you're sitting on. Did you go there genuinely thinking, I'm gonna really?
Yeah, I
put
think
it
I
up
would
to him
have
now?
beaten her.
Is he still your favourite horse, Ben Battle?
Yeah, probably. I mean, he was my first Royal Ascot winner in 2017, and he was still around in 2021, so he was amazing for me. Genuinely, he wasn't at his best that day. It's a long way to travel from Britain to Australia, as we well know, and I think if he was at his best, I'd have beaten her. And I wish I could have done, but anyway.
Tell you what, we've probably got a bit of international watchers here, of course, this afternoon, because Jason Collett's come up from Australia, who is a Kiwi rider, but a top boy down there, so you've already upset them.
That's fine.
That's absolutely
Did
fine.
Dave ever tell you he was in Australia? He's been to Australia.
Has he?
Yeah, he's been to Australia.
If you need to know anything more about some of those far out courses or anything like that, just give me a
We're
ding.
down there.
Just give me a ding.
Cointon.
Never been to...
Wagga Wagga.
I've definitely been to the Wagga, but that was for a cricket match, I think. But I do watch a
you'll
bit of
find them out
Australian
there.
racing, just to let you know. So if, maybe I'm the one that should tell you about Jason Collett, but you've met him before, haven't you?
Yeah, I did an apprenticeship in Australia with Danny O'Brien. I had 4 winners at Flemington on New Year's Day. So I earned my stripes down there.
That's a big old day there as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
4-timer.
Yeah, at the
As an
time.
apprentice.
Yeah, at the time it was all just so easy for me because I had a claim and I was riding the favourite in every race, and I thought this job is easy. Then
He's upset them even more now. It was all so easy for me.
I came back to England and I couldn't buy a ride. Right. So suddenly I realised what it was like.
Let's get some more social interaction up. This is great. We're getting here now. Safety man, 480, 458, whatever that means. Best panel ever.
We've got 10 more races before you decide that, pal.
Absolutely. Quite right. Good stuff. All right. So we've got the guys in the gallery. We've got Will, Dave and Sam out there today. We've got Ben doing all our socials for us. It is a great team here at the Racing Post, and there's a great audience out there this
Do the
afternoon as
negative
well.
comments pop up as well?
If you want them to.
They all pop up.
Yeah, I
there,
can't
don't
wait to
worry
read
about
some
that.
of them.
Well, they have to be moderated first, though.
Yeah.
If you,
See
if
the
you
language.
want them to, they can do. Yeah, we're hearing that you've asked for it now, so OK, watch that go mental. All right, great stuff. So we'll run race down, 10 more to bring you. Again, I want to hear from you. Come on, is Bradsell really going to take out the Phoenix Stakes at
Persian
4:15?
Force wins.
Right, let's get this out of the way.
There we go.
Hannon takes it out, yeah?
Yeah. Memas was beaten at Ascot, went on to be very, very good. He's a son of Memas. Don't know what happened there, but I think he's still improving.
The Brocklesby winner.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to hang my hat here. I'm a little bit worried about Aidan O'Brien's No Nay Never colt left in the race. There was 2 in them, and
But Ryan was always riding the Little
yeah,
Big Bear.
but I'm worried about Little Big Bear's temperament. And
Because it's the other one was a bit of a nutter.
the other one
Blackbeard's
scrapes
a
the
bit of a
ground,
nutter, yeah.
but he likes to get quite hot, and I'm concerned he's had a busy campaign recently. I could be very
It's a
wrong.
home game for him, though, isn't
But
it?
Persian Force walks around like he owns the place, and he could own the Curragh today.
There we go. So
Like
Persian
that.
Force for Oisin. Of course, there are other horses in the race like Chartas who could.
Stop.
No. Do
Too small.
you remember what you
Too
said
small.
to me?
Yeah. Son of Invincible Spirit, isn't he? Tough little fella. Johnny Murta earmarked this race ages ago.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
After he won the Anglesey.
I
Yeah.
quite like the way he won the other day.
Yeah,
I think
so
he's
did I.
tough, but
Yeah.
I think he...
And Joseph's
Isn't as good
Rag,
as
that's
the
a 66 to 1 chance, wasn't far behind him. He was only letting a
Joseph
quarter
doesn't
behind
run
him.
horses in races
He
for
could
no
pick
reason.
up pieces.
You know what I mean?
Did he win the first there?
Yes,
He did, yeah.
just about.
How many
Fairly.
runners did Joseph have at Royal Ascot?
I'd say
A handful, less a handful. He's got
6.
200 horses in his stable. He could have ran 50 there.
Yeah. He had his first winner at the meeting.
Took a while. You should remind him of that.
State of rest.
Yeah.
horse.
Oh God, here
Fair
we go.
horse.
Still enjoying that one.
Yeah,
You tipped him?
of course I did.
Son of Star Spangled
I think I
Banner.
remember the name.
Total
I
points
remember
so
the
far
winners.
for the Shergar Cup are coming through. GB and Ireland. Is anyone interested? GB and Ireland 36. Rest of the world 25. Whatever the rest of the world is. Ladies 24. Europe 7. I don't know. Where's Ireland in that? Oh yeah, it's GB and Ireland. is it?
GB and I, yeah.
Is it GB and
We're
Ireland?
working
is it?
together.
All right, we are. That's an
Better
unusual
together.
We genuinely are working together.
We're all
That's an
Europeans
unusual
today.
thing, isn't it?
We're all Europeans here.
So it's just for stuff and all that lot they're in trouble then.
Forget
All right.
about Brexit.
But you know how these things change. Good to see Neil Cannon back having a winner on the big stage, isn't it?
Is it?
Is it? A little bit of needle already. Which reminds me, he's come back from Hong Kong, of course. He did extremely well over there, didn't he?
He rode there for a long time.
He did, and he's moved his family over there, and they had to go through the pandemic and all that sort of stuff. And of course, we've got Harry Bentley over there at the moment. We did a good piece with him recently, told us about how difficult it is, basically.
Yeah.
How professional it is over there. They only race twice a week, and the protocols over there still for COVID.
And they're just,
Really?
they're just locked
Heavy.
away all the time, aren't they?
Heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
got to
very
be a horrible
businessmanlike
life,
over
really,
there.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's like prison.
Yeah.
I always remember when Peter Chapel-Hine went over there.
And
to try
SDS has gone over.
SDS, this
his
is the thing.
licence for fair.
SDS is going over, which you saw coming, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. He's done very well there in the past, and he has great connections there, and I think he'll do incredibly well. There are jockeys about to leave, and I think opportunities will open up there.
The Magic Man's not leaving, is he?
I don't know.
Oh, what? Moreira.
Yeah.
And who's the other one? Purton. He's there, isn't he? Zach.
Yeah, Zach's been there a very long time.
He just wins everything there, doesn't he?
Well, no, I mean, Moreira puts it up to him, and actually I've got huge admiration for Moreira. I think he can win anywhere in the world, and I think he's a very clever rider.
Yeah.
Let's get the questions in for Oisin, then let's open it up. This is your chance to interact with not just Oisin, but Barry and Paul Kealy and myself, if you fancy it as well. Get them in. You can do so by liking and subscribing. On YouTube, of course, Facebook Live, there's the chat as well. All the Twitter clips as well, we read them too. So get involved. We should, of course, start looking towards 2:10 we've got next race, isn't it? So still plenty of time to talk. Let's get the questions in for you. Roaring Lion, best horse you've ever ridden?
Highest rated, yeah, he was a machine.
Hang on a minute. That wasn't the question.
That's a politician's
What do
answer
you
right
think?
there.
What do you
Absolutely
think?
was.
I rode
It's like you're in a leadership contest.
I rode a deep impact filly work with Almond Eye once on the wood chip at Miho, and she went past her on the bit, and I'd say that's the best horse I ever rode. She bled pulling up, and that was her second time bleeding. So that protocol, there's a protocol in place in Japan that never allows them to race, and I'm unsure
If they bleed before they...
if they bleed. So they bleed, then they have to have a spell,
Yeah.
and it's a certain length of time, and then she was brought back slowly, and she bled again, so she could never race.
Wow.
Finito, yeah.
This
Isn't
is
that
something
interesting
I'm
for the
fascinated in.
for the species?
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
And also the training regime there.
So can
guys,
they not
is-
breed from her either?
I don't think so.
Right.
I can't guarantee that. But the training regime there is so hard as well. The toughest really do survive and come to the fore.
Right.
And
That can only be good for the breed.
hence year on year they're starting to get success internationally.
Yeah.
You do talk to a lot of jockeys and you say, what's the best horse you've ever ridden? And actually what you said is something that I get quite a bit. Well, that was the best horse on the track I'd ridden.
Sure.
I'm always fascinated to know the ones that never quite made it, you know?
But Ben Battle was an incredible horse as well, because he had problems, and he had the intelligence And I mean, you often hear guys like talk this kind of spiel, or this horse is really clever or whatever, this horse was a star. But genuinely, he was sharp mentally, and he had so many issues, and to overcome them and want to come back and put his neck on the line for you was incredible.
On the flip side of that, we could do this all day. On the flip side of that, what was the dumbest horse you ever rode that went on to win Group 1? What was the one you're like, this guy's got no chance, and he went out on the track? Who's the one that surprised you on the track?
Deirdre, honestly, was not at the races ever. She would have her ears pricked down at the start. She could put her head down and pick grass.
Really?
Even in a race, she could go asleep on you. That's just her type. So she would come across as one that really was very
I remember when
sleepy.
she won in Goodwood that day. God, the
Yeah.
reception she got was unbelievable. I was
about to
there
say,
that
there go
day.
the Japanese viewers, come flying off. But of course, look, your association with Japan. When we had that COVID year, you rode in the Eclipse, of course, didn't you?
Yeah.
And Abel and Gaieth. We covered that, if you remember, Barry. And Barry was remote, and only me and Bruce were in there. It was social distancing, and our viewership went up through the roof.
Really?
Yeah, mad. Absolutely crazy.
Because I suppose on paper and on form and everything, she probably ran as well as she could to be beaten that far by them. You know, Gaeth and Enable were a different level to her. And even in Japan, she had in and out form, but she was well placed to win the Nasu.
All right, okay. I'm getting some news in here as well. All right, great stuff. Look, a small insight into Oisin's, intelligence, basically, and all
Past
the
career,
experience he's
you mean?
got. Well, it's up to you. We can talk about the future if you
It's
want.
lovely
We'll be going
talking
on.
about the past. You know, I can relive the success.
This is
that
the great thing
I
of
was
being
lucky
here.
enough to have.
Yeah, and of course
And you remind me of it. How fortunate am I?
we've got some different generations here, of course, so it depends how far back you want to go. I mean, Keels often talks to me about stuff, and I'm like, I can't,
Before the war.
Cryogenically frozen. But some horses, like legendary horses that you wish you saw and you knew about, and Dawn Run Barry brought up, we did our greatest races.
Pebbles
was
Pebbles.
the one.
Pebbles.
Nick.
Now, you must have seen some
Sir
videos
Henry
of
Is that
Pebbles.
always a
Sexton,
filling?
Pat Edery.
Clive Britton.
Can I go
Pat
on?
used to
It was
ride
Pat Edery, though. It was Pat Edery.
Sorry, guys.
It was Pat Edery, yeah.
Pat Rowe was
What
the
a
captain
filly
of the
she was.
first ever Shergar Cup winning team.
Was it?
Right, yeah.
They absolutely cleaned up in the turn of the millennium.
Who was he riding for? What was the team? Was
was
it an Irish
Europe.
team? Europe. Team
Europe,
Europe.
as they were known. Then Mick Kinnan got the silver saddle. What a team that must have been.
Wow. Pat Edery and Mick Kinnan.
And that's still to this day, that's the record points haul. I mean, God knows what they got up to. They're managing to work that one out. But 157 points. No one's. I mean, in 2006, Spencer and Moore were on the Great Britain and Ireland team. They got 153, but 69 points won it.
Yeah, well,
last
this will
year,
get blown out of the water this year, wouldn't it? Because it's 2 extra races.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Already
well,
got-
I guess so.
Already got 36 out of the
There
2.
you go. Records are there to be broken. All right, great stuff. Shall we start zooming in then and get Barry straight on for this? Ewan Montgomery first comes on. Oisin Murphy, top draw, great patter. They're being kind
There
at
you
the
go.
moment.
I know. Well, that'll change when I start tipping lots of losers.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But maybe just don't
Let's
tip
start
any.
getting Oisin some tipping shoes
Say
on,
nothing.
shall we?
Say nothing.
All
Works
right,
for
great
me.
stuff. Kills, how are you finding it?
Yeah, all right, mate, yeah. We've only had one race so far.
Good bit of pace?
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
We are going to have a filler break around about 3 o'clock. We've got some of our friends that are going to come on and do a little bit of a highlights reel for
Tell
you.
the truth. You've ordered pizza.
Well, to be honest, Oisin, we are rather full at the moment, okay?
really?
Because we like to pre-match lumber up.
Okay.
We take this
Important.
very seriously. We
We
go
had
to
a-
the local cafe.
A lot of stretching.
We had a full fry-up. 2 eggs, 2 sausages, 2 loads of bacon, chips and beans.
Barry was with us as
The
well.
lot.
Bread and
And
butter.
then Barry went down the shop and bought a massive bag of Maltesers and minstrels.
Ice creams came in the lot. So I have
Oh.
to say, I'm afraid to say, there's no pizza coming.
Okay.
But you can have a Malteser.
Perfect.
Exactly that. All right, so 2:30 you will be able to see some of our friends from Racing Post Live. We'll be zooming in and giving the guys a quick break. But it's going to be thick and fast coming. This is actually the time to chat, really, believe it or not. The races are going to go thick and fast. Grocer Jack runs today, Barry, in the 3 o'clock at Haydock. He was around about 7 to 4 yesterday. A lot of people saying, I don't think he can get shorter than that. He's been whacked, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been really well back. Last time I looked, he was into around the 11 to 8 mark. So I like Ammat there. I know he's stepping out of handicap company, but I think he'll take I think he could manage that. I'm just not 100% sure on Grocer Jack yet, but I'm sure
I think it's a warmer race than the market suggests.
10 runners, isn't it?
We were chatting about it
we
yesterday.
talked
You weren't
about it
keen on
yesterday.
Grocer. I think it's
I-
going to
you know, I'm not saying I'm not keen, and I think he's the right favourite, but I just wouldn't back him at that short.
Can
Go on.
I say that
course you can.
Andrea Azzini is riding better or as well as anyone else in Britain at the moment?
Is that right?
His strike rate is fantastic this year. His agent is putting him on horses, obviously with chances, and he's riding with a lot of confidence as a result. And I will be surprised if he gets, I'm disappointed if he gets through a Saturday without having a winner. I'm not saying Royal Champion is going to win the Rose of Lancaster. I think he goes there.
Well, that's the one I was talking about yesterday. I just think
I was given it a chance, but I backed Soto Sizzler last time out, the horse that he beat in Epsom, and he couldn't put one foot in front of the other. He was really disappointing.
Soto Sizzler, though, isn't he? He's an older handicapper who can have an odd day.
Like winning at Epsom.
But what he does do is he loves Epsom, and he never runs a bad race at Epsom, and World Champion put him to bed then. Like,
you believe in
very
that
easily.
Horses for courses?
I do, and actually, and the reason as
You're
well.
talking there about
I've won on
horses,
Soto Sizzler, and the fact that they can never allow Epsom get too fast, and they have to water the bends and stuff, allows Soto Sizzler to let himself down and put in a shift. When tracks get firmer, he feels the ground. He's a massive, heavy horse. He's genuinely built like a horse that should be running at Cheltenham Festival.
Yeah, so you actually wouldn't think that a downhill track like Epsom would suit him.
No.
You know, but because it's so well watered and has a lot of grass cover, it clearly does for one reason or another. And then they go fast and they can come back to him.
And he likes to pass horses.
Yeah.
He's always ridden a little bit, you know, with something to aim at.
Yeah.
They gelded Royal Champion, of course. We're talking about the 3 o'clock at Haydock. He's a very interesting race at that Group 3 because they've had 700 grand for Grocer Jack, and he finally clicked into place with them, and they're talking about Globetrotting.
But they were talking about running World Champion in the French Derby last year.
Well, they gelded him. If it all clicked, he was always likely to be better than that lot in that handicap, wasn't he? He absolutely smashed him to smithereens. He's been given a break since, which suggests again. He
Well, is he a horse that doesn't? Is he another horse that doesn't want really fast ground?
Possibly. What is it up there, by the way?
Well, it was good to stop yesterday. It's probably only good. It isn't going to be really fast.
I agree with kids.
I would have thought, he could easily have gone for the John Smiths off 105.
It won't be faster than good ground.
But it'll be very fast up there, and it won't be fast at Haydock.
Yeah.
So
all right. We've got two coming. We've got a sighter before that because the 225, a decent handicap at Haydock gives us a little sighter before the 3 o'clock. Of course, we've got 340. We've got the Sweet Solera, the 2-year-old fillies coming up. We've got the third in the Chesham there, and some unexposed horses up against her as well. And then once again, let's build up. Let's go crazy for it. It's the Phoenix Stakes. Let's celebrate them all. They are absolutely brilliant. It could be a classic, couldn't it? So let's get involved. Let's hear from you out there and keep getting insight from Oisin. Look who comes up. Devo, one of our friends there. A break is definitely needed for Keels to get 40 winks in to make it to 5:15. These people all know you so well.
They all know me so well, don't they? Yeah, this is. I normally have a mid-afternoon kip every single day, and I'm missing it.
Every single day. Well, you get angry if you don't. You get a little bit hangry.
No, I will just get very tired.
When do you get a little bit grumpy?
We get the Maltesers in here.
I'm the most laid-back person in the world, mate.
I would
never get angry.
No, all right, fair enough. All right, well, let's see if you're going to be cock-a-hoop.
I get miserable when I back loads of losers. I just don't get angry.
Well, this is what happened on the show last year, and it's been a year till we've got him back since. But here we are. We're thrilled to have him. The Saturday Sizzler, indeed. Okay, 2:10 comes on. This is nap time, Kills, but let's get a market update from Barry and a trade, please.
Yeah, so Mannequin is your favourite at 5.2, 6.2 King of Stars, Lampank 7.6, being money for that 7-2 hours Chibo that was initially put in favourite into this race and is friendless in the market. 9-2 the War Horse Judicial, Count Dorsey is 10 and it's 17 bar. I do like Lampang, and it ran no sort of race last day in the Stewards Cup. Kind of stumbled coming out of stalls, got squeezed for space while the race was developing, and he was just let come home in his own time by Dave Allen after that. Time before he had won in Pontefract. And this would be a career best effort from him, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to back him each way on the sportsbook because there's 4 places. Like I said, 4 places on this and the remaining races in Ascot, and we're going to have 25 quid each way, trying to avail of those 4 places. Like I said, it would be a career best effort, but I think he could have it in him in a race that's obviously very, very difficult. But 25 quid each way, 4 places on the sportsbook. Lampang.
I must admit, I saw your tip come in this morning. I associate
yesterday,
you with
actually,
Lampang.
they came in.
Was it? Yeah. Oh, you did do it yesterday because you were in transit this morning. Of course, I read it this morning. And I thought to myself, why is he going for Lampang again? And then I had to look back. He's got a bit of a pattern about in this, hasn't he? 1-0, 1-0.
I'm not sure he likes
like
the
writing
really.
code.
I'm not sure he likes the really, really big fields. I got sucked into him in the Great St Wilfrid last year, I think.
Yeah.
And he tends to let down in the really big fields. But
Great St Wilfrid, high draw, front runner. They always win.
Yeah, but it didn't happen then.
It did for you, didn't it?
Was that just
another
another
bottle? Yeah. That was when Ross Briley was on the show with you last year. I was somewhere, I can't remember. He said coming in, didn't he? High draw, front runner, and you
I
put
can't
just
have
another
that
bottle.
race, guys.
Is it just a nightmare race? Is it what? Tell us about Ripon. Is it really that undulating?
Yes, it's a roller coaster.
Is it really? Yeah.
Have they done nothing to try and alleviate that, or they just?
Well, I suppose they water it, and we know what happens. Tracks are
I've never been to Ripon
heavily
before.
watered.
Of course, I've never been.
It's not the only undulating track in the world, though, is it?
No, no.
Newmarket.
But we
You know
do
what I mean?
seem
One
to
of the
think
most
that
famous.
everyone talks about Ripon, about you can forgive a bad run there all
I'll
the
tell you
time.
what happens.
Horses, of course, is
They
again.
can go that fast on it. You're on a horse that's out of his comfort zone. Then, of course, they feel every undulation. They start to miss a step or
And
whatever.
that's why the front runners do so well there.
Well, often.
Yeah.
You know,
Interesting.
if you're flat out the whole way at Ripon, often it's very
You're
hard to
constantly
get
on the
into
back
the race.
foot, yeah.
You know,
Frankie's without his horse here.
where he is intentionally. It's okay. They're
Oh, is it
walking
right?
to
Okay,
post,
right.
yeah.
Now, Franco Dettori is, of course, the captain of the Rest of the World team.
He's on judicial.
And he's on judicial, who is seemingly being walked down the post. Not
Yeah,
really
no,
sure
that's
why
that's
that
fine.
is.
for
that's-
judicial.
Yeah?
That's him, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
You know a lot about
he's
this
an old
sort
boy,
of stuff,
didn't
Yeah.
judicial.
Frankie
Yeah,
can't
backed
be
him loads
bothered
of times.
wrestling him, so
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, at his age, we don't want him to be doing
No,
that.
no.
Okay,
Frankie's
will he be
walking
getting-
down to the start as opposed to getting a lift down.
Precisely, he's just warming up.
Yeah, all right, okay. Well, I think he's achieved enough. We give him that one.
Absolutely.
Did you ticket each way, by the way? The guys in the studio are hoping that you did that. Your lampang each way 4 places. You know what will happen? It'll finish third, and we went back to each way if that happens.
Well, if it doesn't, Betfair will surely pay the
Christophe
difference.
Patrice Lemaire as well. Tell us about Lemaire.
He's won everything.
He's in Japan now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's there full time. He passed the test. Him and Mirko De Muro. Extraordinary man.
What's the test? Everyone will be saying.
So it's a test on Japanese racing history and then language.
Really?
Yeah.
You're kidding me?
And this is
Right
how-
there.
To ride there full time. This is how intelligent. I know we're moving focus. Mirko
No,
De
not at
Muro
all.
is. Mirko De Muro speaks French to Lemaire, obviously fluent in Italian, speaks perfect English, and gets instructions in Japanese and is conversationally perfect in Japanese. I mean, that is incredible. When you talk about intelligent riders, we say, oh, this fella's bright, that fella's bright. Mirko De Muro can speak 4 languages perfectly.
You're a big fan of De Muro's, aren't you? I remember speaking to you pre-Royal Ascot with Shahryar, and
Yeah.
you were telling us a bit about him there.
Yeah, no, but that's Christian. This is
Oh.
Mirko. And,
Of course. Are they related then?
full brothers.
Full brothers.
And
Not half
Mirko,
brothers.
not half brothers. And Mirko was just tipping away in Britain from Mark Johnson and people. Wasn't doing very well. Had the bravery to try something new. Got lucky in Dubai. Applied for the JRA, the Japanese racing, and took off there.
Brilliant.
There you go. So there you go. Well, we learned
And
something every day.
what in terms of prize money in Japan? We all know it's huge. What is the jockeys? 10% of the prize money?
5%.
5%.
But there's more races there's 24 races every weekend in Japan. Where one jockey can be. Sometimes there's 3 meetings or whatever. And in Hong Kong, there tends to be 8 on Wednesday night at Happy Valley, and then 10 on a Sunday Sha Tin. So you're slightly more 18 races versus 24. And the minimum prize money in Japan for a maiden race 1 to 3 on dirt is $50,000 to the winner, and then it goes up and up after that. So I think, and the fact that there's basically racing all year round in Japan as well, the earning capabilities in Japan are pretty good.
And no problem filling races.
No, they're maximum fields, yeah.
Don't the owners have to apply for ballot or something just to be able to own a horse?
Hong Kong, yeah. And also, I don't think it's very easy in Japan. There's very strict criteria that you have to prove where you earn your money and whatever. They want it to be like super above board.
But it's lucrative as well if you get a good horse. You know, I mean, I'm sure some owners lose money with horses, but there's so much prize money out there that if you get a half decent one, you're going to make a few bucks.
Absolutely. Time's gone by, of course.
Just imagine being able to sell horse racing here by saying that you could potentially make money out of it.
It's just madness, isn't it? I know. Yes, indeed.
I'm going to get 2
Mad
pence
dogs and
back out of
Englishmen.
every pound you spend.
2 races down at Ascot, guys. A quote coming from Jimmy Chur, actually, the owner of Orbarn these days, although he wasn't carrying Jimmy's colours. We weren't sure about the ground. And
Well, he said last time after Goodwood he is a soft ground horse, but he's obviously not. I mean, he can go on anything, can't he?
they have put a lot of water on. So we'll get
we
to
need
that
to
in a
see the
sec.
times, and
Well,
although
I'll-
2
let's have a
races,
look.
hard
Listen,
to tell.
Oisin, this is what I'm here for.
apologies.
All right, come on. This is not some shoddy operation.
All right.
All right, it's perfect for him. I wouldn't risk him on quick ground. He's better on
Slow
soft ground.
by
He'll go for the Clipper
3.5.
Logistics, Barry. So the first race.
The first race at
was-
120 was slow by 3.5
Where are you getting that?
on Racing Post. Slow by 3.5.
You were looking at Newmarket.
Hang
you
on a
done.
minute.
The slow point 1.94, and the second race was slow by
Did we have a bet at
0.95.
Newmarket by any chance, Barry?
Barry's
we
punting at
did,
the
yeah.
away market.
25-1 for the Guineas, that first winner in Newmarket, actually.
Yes, indeed. It was trained by.
Diamond Bright.
Yeah, it was trained by. It was in the.
It was a Godolphin.
Was it Godolphin Goddess? Oh, right, okay.
I don't expect the 210 to be below standard. I think this race will be run at a better pace than
Well,
the first two at Ascot.
Orban was slow by 0.95.
Yeah,
which
so
means
it ain't slow ground, is it?
it's supposed to be 7.5 on the straight, 6.2 on the round actually.
Well, they put plenty of water.
That is a
around.
lot of water on.
The round is always lower. The round is always
But
lower.
that's
So
quite
anyway.
significantly lower,
Must
isn't
have
it?
put some moment on
Yeah.
Newmarket on the July course. Three
Yeah,
and a
for
half
that to
seconds.
be
There was
that.
rain.
Was there?
I don't know.
The Amund, we haven't had much of that. The Amonzo race, the first race before we came on air, was slow by just the best part of 2 seconds. So the watering has done its part. here
Anyway, that's
today.
boring talking about this.
It's just hard, isn't it?
Hard.
Hard. It's just hard, as Joanna Mason tells us so well on that advert. Right, it is the 210 coming up then.
Wonder
Now,
where you
Kills,
were
get
going
this
with
out of
that.
the way. This is nap time.
Yes. Well, I mean, I've just dug my own grave really here by jumping off King of Stars and then deciding to nap something else in the race. But I had another look at the race and I just thought Manakan, who was 5th in the 5 furlong handicap at Royal Ascot,
Yep.
Latin Lover, saw all sorts of daylight there. Went from the front. Stuck it out really well, only got beaten a length, and just showed his versatility next time at Chester by being held up and coming through and finishing very, very strongly.
Yeah.
They're the 2 best runs of his life on RPRs. He was 4th in the Cornwallis last year on soft ground, so he can do it on any ground. It just looks like he's improving. He might have designs on being a little bit better than this.
John Ryan can
As a
have a good horse, can't he, Bob
3-year-old.
Lincoln, and
So, and I just thought he can sit. He can, he's got the pace to sit off King of Stars if he does go too quick. But I do fear King of Stars because he's, you see these front runners and you often think, like, I think I fell for him at Epsom in the dash thinking, well, he'll love this, he'll go off and they'll struggle to catch him. But it's actually, his best runs have been at Sandown and Ponte and the like, and here. So he does like, he does handle stiff tracks well. It's just
Mick
whether you
Appleby's
get...
got a line on the likes of Arecibo, of course, and most of these sprinters through Rarseld and horses like that, basically. Now, this is not just an insight into Oisin, of course. We've got Kills here for the day, so a lot of people want to know how you work out your tips. You have played, obviously, both of them in this race.
I had a little saver on
That's
King of
what I mean.
Stars because it'll just annoy the hell out of me if he wins.
But only from a tipping headline perspective, isn't it? I mean, from a personal point of view, you are still with King of the Stars, aren't you? That's
Yeah,
my
of course,
point.
yeah.
It's
But
not
I
like
don't-
you've just gone, cash out.
Yeah. But I don't want him to win, unless unless Manakan blows out completely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a case of, I've jumped ship. It's going to annoy me. It's going to annoy me if he does. But I mean, it's certainly not a 2-runner race. I mean, Arecibo, this is his first run in a handicap for yonks.
Well,
and he could be
everything is
dangerous.
a price, like Orban in the first.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have backed Manakan. We chatted about it yesterday morning. I think Keith's put this up in price-wise as well, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And says that actually we're watching, we can see the replay here in the studio. Watch the grey look ducking for the insiders. Look out, Louis comes steaming down the outside. It was an eye-catching run. You don't ride Ascot like he did, as Kills said, in that Palace of Holyrood behind Latin Lover, which of course Hayley Turney won. She's now jumping onto this. Now Adam Kirby, who was on it that day, said to Hayley when she called him up, this is a great ride to get. You're going to latch onto King of Stars if you're on Manakan and hopefully pounce. We told her how to ride the race yesterday. didn't we?
Yeah. I don't think she was very impressed, but.
She was nearly asleep by the end of it, Kills. But actually, she was a great banter. If you haven't seen that interview, it is out there on our YouTube channels. I'm with Arecibo, sorry, Barry.
Are you really?
Just because if you go back to his run in the King's Stand behind Nature Strip, he tracks Winter Power, I think, on the far side. I think it's Winter Power. He was marooned. And actually, I remember calling that in here and I went, is that Arecibo halfway through? And it looked like he was kind of going to get attached. Now, he's well beaten into 12th, but he lost a bit of ground by having to come over on the far side. Tudhope's on him, knows the horse, and he's drawn his stall 3, which is a slight reservation. But if he can get a bit of cover early, You go back to that Sandown. This would be quite a bit easier for
He'll
this
get
chap.
covered. He'll be last early.
Because that's how Tudhope rides.
Well,
that's how he wants to be ridden.
He was backed, Barry, wasn't he, to get the silver saddle, Tudhope.
Yeah, he was. He was
looked a fairly big
12
price.
into about 8, I think. Yeah.
Tudhope's riding at a 17% strike rate this year, which is probably slightly lower than I expected. But he is someone I think is exceptionally good.
What about the Japanese kid, Yokoyama, from the front?
He'll be absolutely fine. My concern here, though, is with a couple of riders like Lemaire and that they don't take him on. Lemaire might ride a little bit cautious.
What might take him on?
Yokoyama might get his own way. Well, Robert Cowell likes his horses to be ridden forward. Ludwig sometimes jumps slow. He might
Dubai Station
could take him on.
Could give a lead to Arecibo.
Yeah, Judical,
They're going in.
Manican could. He likes to be prominent.
All right, they're going in. Kills is desperately.
He's versatile. I'm hoping Manican doesn't make
Good
up.
luck wherever you're playing. 2:10 then. The first of 10 races here this afternoon. One slightly missed it there. What was that? I'm looking for the captain. Hurricane Ivor. First time blinkers for Haggis and Rene. But up front, here we go. This is what we expect. Kills, this is going clockwork.
King of Stars, yeah, and she's she's tracking the other one. But yes, King of Stars is in front, but he's holding on to him. He's not going too fast, is he? He is keen, yeah.
Lampang's not in a bad spot, Barry.
No, Lampang jumped well, actually.
Look at Arecibo and the black cap guys. He'll be the finisher, won't he, I think?
Yeah, but he doesn't need it to open up. Arecibo wants plenty of cover to late. That's ideal for Arecibo.
This is what Tudhope's going for, isn't it? King of Stars then with 2 furlongs to go. Looking for Manican. He's going to be the finisher. And is this Count Dorsey?
Come on, Manican. Get your head down.
Here comes Manican then. He's the finisher. Arecibo's now got a target on his back. He's left it too late. Think you're going to
go on, Manican.
Go on, Manican.
Go on, Manican.
Let's have it up.
Go on, Haley.
Happy days! This is why Oisin Murphy's in. Paul Kealy couldn't tip a winner on this show last year. He's back in the big time. You can't keep a good man down, and we got excited about that. What's that? Judicial's running his heart out under Frankie. On the far side, Lampang's got your each-way money, Barry.
Yeah,
I'm thrilled to say on the far side.
Yeah.
And fourth was the best of Robert Cowell's. Poor old Arecibo. Looks like he's gone at the game, doesn't it? Because the best of Robert's 3 was indeed Dubai Station. That's good fun, wasn't it?
It was brilliant, yeah.
Yeah,
I could watch this again and again and again.
So I tell you what was interesting. King of Stars didn't actually jump super fast, and Takeshi gave him a little bit of a squeeze to then get him out into the lead, and then he lit him up, and he didn't get the fractions wrong.
Is that keen?
Yeah, he looked doing too much in his hands.
Do you know what? You can come again when we have the jumps.
So
the jockeys come in.
Manican is asleep.
In that situation, do you let him go rather than let him fight you?
You try and just...
It's a hard thing to do, isn't it? Because you
his
know you're
friend.
running uphill, you know?
Try and be his friend and not get into an argument, but Haley had a lovely toe into
yes,
relax.
Absolutely, yeah.
Then she probably didn't have anywhere to go.
Was going to hold her in.
Which is nearly a good thing because it stopped her going too early.
Yeah, Dubai Station was in her way, wasn't she? But Kills, she's prospered from our What a Shout interview there.
She has, yeah.
Without question.
We love him.
Without question.
She followed my instructions.
Listen,
she followed your instructions.
This is her 10th Shergar Cup winner. And she's great for the game. She's the first woman, of course, to ride 100 winners in a season. That was 2008. Her first winner back in 2000 at Pontefract, we spoke to her about yesterday. So, coming up to 23 years in the game. She's now on 941 winners domestically. There were a couple.
Yeah, but she says you can add about 20 odd.
There were a couple from
you can add
Albania
20 odd worldwide, apparently. So.
Yeah, we weren't counting them, apparently. But no, it's a big thing.
We'll have to go on to... I'm sure John Randall, John Randall will know exactly how many, our historian.
Let's get on to Rocket Randall, shall we, about that?
I think she's going to get D's, guys.
Do you?
Yeah, just watch. He leans across Callan.
Callan, yeah, and the fourth.
Callan...
Ooh,
He reacts to it by breaking the horse's jaw rather than just shifting a little bit left towards Frankie's
You think he's made a bit of a dramatic gesture there?
Well, just look at his body language. I mean, there is no need to do that when he could have shifted a little bit left towards Frankie's heels and Haley would have cleared him quickly.
Is that a very experienced rider in Neil Callum, though, knowing that he might be going up to speak to someone in a minute?
No, that's thinking about his time in Hong Kong and another jockey getting a suspension and you benefiting from that suspension.
The second trade at 187 and running.
Is that right?
Judicial, yeah.
What?
187.
Could that be the
1.87.
Frankie thing? Frankie's. I'll tell you what. Let's talk about Frankie a little bit because he's a big draw again for the Shergar Cup, isn't he? To be here. What an Ascot season he's had. You know, whatever you think about it, whatever's gone on, it's been a big year for Frankie, and he's gone really under the radar. Whether it's the horses he's been given, Barry, I don't know. He's on a back-to-back winner.
Does Frankie ever go under the radar?
Well, in the market, all his horses are big prices.
The market's different, but obviously he's such a big personality. He's front and centre in this.
What
He's
was
a
he
big
to be
draw
the
for
Silver
this.
Saddle? Something big, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think it was 12 or 14.
Yeah, I mean that's the price of his rider, though, isn't it? You know, you got to build that all into it. I mean, that's why Joanna Mason was favourite. She had 2 short price favourites to ride.
Lots of congratulations, Keels, coming in. I can
Good.
see. Loads of people would have been that within the Sizzlers if you're watching the preview shows yesterday. Well done to Keith Melrose, who's sitting in ably for Tom Segal, who's on his holidays at the moment. Let's get some more. We've got an ad break coming up after our next at Haydock. We're going up to St Helens in a minute to go and check the ground up there and see a handicap.
St Helens?
Don't. I've called it Liverpool before and I've got absolutely muddered for it. Talking of Liverpool, going to talk to you about that in a second. Chris Timms. Hello, Chris. Welcome back to the show. Go on, Hayley. You beauty. Absolutely lovely. That was a big prize yesterday. It was whopped in and the 3-year-old takes it out. Come on, we're loving life out there, aren't we? Here on Racing Post Live this afternoon. Now, the Premiership's back today. Your great rivals are beating Liverpool 2-1 with 5 minutes to go. Liverpool look like they're going to lose the first game. That's Fulham, of course. You're Chelsea, aren't you?
Yes.
2-2.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No.
Literally just logged on to have a look.
It's because Dave Lowe sent that through to me. Sod's Law.
Salah,
And Nunes
81.
Oh, poor old Fulham. They thought they had it then. You'll be thrilled about that, of course. Nothing like a good old rivalry, is there? Absolutely. All right, good stuff. Right, there is the Betfair SP then, Barry. A tasty, best part of 4-1 there, pretty much.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Good old return there. Plenty of money for the winner. Obviously, Arecibo was friendless in the market, and Manican put well up by PK here beside me. So happy days for his followers. Everyone on YouTube.
I've got a winner on here for once.
You come back next week now?
Can't get too much of a good thing, mate.
Well, oh, there we go. Absolutely. You've got to sell yourself, as we all do on this show. So keep your interactions coming in there. We've got a couple, I think, believe it not, about some big stars of the game coming up, I think. But Electrical Storm heads the 225 market clear, isn't he, from Mr. McCann. Talk about the Premiership. He's owned by half the Premiership footballers, I think. The Trinidad there as well. Young Fire for David O'Mara. He's basically bidding to be on fire today and get that double after Orban. He's a horse that has definitely disappointed me and many because he's a tricky sort. Dutch Decoy, weak in the market. Fame and acclaim for Les Air, who pops up every now and then. And I think that's a Keith Dalglish outsider, isn't it, who I won't pronounce. Right. We've got some socials coming in then, guys, because a few people want to ask Oisin about a couple of things. We've got the B word, I think, believe it or not, coming up. Sam, are we ready to get some socials up on the screen? Here we go. Who is it that's coming in? Shifty Lad says, should Baid run in the Irish Champion Stakes? Should he run in the Irish Champion Stakes?
Yeah.
Why is he not running in the Irish Champion Stakes? Because it's legacy they're looking at now. He's got 2 races left, hasn't he? That's what he said after the Sussex,
potentially the British Champion Stakes.
It's got to be, isn't it?
You'd have thought. Well, depending on how he handles 10 furlongs in York.
Yeah.
But he should he be running in the Irish Champion Stakes is the question. I mean,
Irish Champion Stakes is what, middle of September?
Yeah.
It's going to come up
probably
again.
fit in well, yeah.
But he could do it, but
So why is he not?
because they
Really should be running in the Arc.
They
He should
set
go.
their plans.
Well, you've got a 50-1 poker.
Well, you're
about
talking
the
about
Arc, haven't you?
you're talking about running a horse in the Arc who's yet to run beyond a mile.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy talk.
Well, Frank obviously did.
Well, I
this
was having
already.
a discussion with a mate of mine about him and Hookham, because obviously everyone's saying, well, Bade's going to be miles better when he goes up in trip. I think they ran Hookham over the wrong trip for most of his life.
Well, listen.
I thought he had a lot of speed. He got a lot of speed for a mile and a half.
Nedster comes back on and he's with you, Barry. Look, he says, do you reckon Baid could possibly do the Arc trip?
Because they spoke about entering him and they said no, they wouldn't give him an entry.
Is it an absolute given that he beats a peak form Mishriff? Because
At York.
the Mishriff at York last year is 1,000 times better than any of the horses.
It'll be his first true test,
just
and he's
beat
stepping up to 10 furlongs. But if he does, if he was to beat him convincingly,
If he was to beat him convincingly, then you can say he is an absolute superstar.
Yeah.
Oisin.
If Mishriff is the Mishriff that he was last year and not what he did at Ascot.
Remarkably, despite the fact, what is he now, 10 out of 10, something like that, is he?
9 for 9.
9 from 9. remarkably, he does polarise opinion, this chap. It's because he's not letting himself go at the end of the races. Lots of theories about why that is. They're waiting for him to get on some juicier ground.
Is it because he's never got into a real battle with another horse? And
he did, Palace Pier.
Palace Pier was the one. Palace Pier was the one. First of all, what do you make of the horse? And secondly, what did you make of the Sussex Foal? Because Alcohol Free is a horse you know very well.
Yeah, I love his temperament, and I think he's been a star. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. He isn't flashy, and lots of good horses are a little bit like that. It would be nice to go and see him win the Juddmonte International by 10 lengths. Alcohol Free, for me, wasn't at her best in the Sussex, and it's very hard to judge her form lines this year. She's been in and out. I don't think he was impressive at Goodwood. Horses aren't always impressive at Goodwood, yet he did nothing wrong. I can't knock the horse because he ticks all the boxes, but...
yeah, my argument with him, he does what he has to, which is fine. But in my eyes, he hasn't had to do much.
Yeah.
That's my argument. So let's wait and see.
In danger of underestimating Modern Games, who was second to him on that form.
Well, I don't think we're not underestimating.
I
think he's a solid 116 horse who was placed very well by Charlie Appleby and given some good rides at the start of the season.
The one thing, when Charlie Appleby was interviewed after the race, and the interviewer said to him, what about Caribus, disappointing Caribus? How do you think Caribus would have fared? And he had a little glint in his eye as if, I think Caribus might have put it up to him.
Native Trail and Caribus in Charlie Appleby's eyes are different level to Modern Game.
Yeah. You could see that as well. You could
the way they read,
the undertone was, I think Caribus, like Charlie was saying, I think Caribus would have definitely put it up. I'm not so sure.
It's the commercial hype machine.
I think Caribus is the third best 3-year-old miler around as well.
Well, there is that because there's two fillies around on their day.
I wasn't talking about the fillies.
Malgene.
Yeah. I think Malgene's better than him. I think Native Trail's better than him. If they swap their draw,
but there's a form line here in this race that we're going to look at now. A form line that includes Malgene.
Let's bring it back then to the 225 and go away from Ascot. Some of you will be delighted to hear. But Kills is now all over. I knew this would happen. He's all over the Shergar Cup all of a sudden because the nap is landing, the pressure is off.
Yeah, lovely. Come on, the girls.
This team.
He'll be playing for the Ryder Cup next. Right, okay, because Electrical Storm's in this race, Barry, and a lot of people think it's a good thing. He still sits just under 2-1.
5-2, he was into 2-1 now, 2.94, so just sub 2-1, 4.9, Mr. McCann. La Trinidad 6.4, 7.6 Young Fire, 9.4 Dutch Decoy, and it's 19 bar. Yeah, I like Mr. McCann. Talking about that Malgene form line, he was fourth, beating 8 lengths in the German Guineas. He was a 50-1 chance of the Britannia, and things didn't go for him at all. But he won a handicap off this mark in his last start for Tom Daskin last season, so I think he could go well at around the 4-1 mark. What we're going to do, we're going to back him on the exchange winning place. We're going to back him 3 places on the exchange. We're going to have 25 quid win. Happy to be a price taker here at 5 flat, which is 4-1. And we're also going to back him in the 3 place market as well, where he's currently trading at 4-5. And we're going to have 25 quid on him there. Happy to be a price taker again at that price to finish in the first 3, just to nearly cover our stake in the win market. So Mr. McCann for me on those form lines, and just that the last win that he had on a handicap for Tom Daskin was off this mark.
Yeah, of course, Electrical Storm is a 5-year-old. He's got to give away the weight for age, but he's rated £7 inferior to Mr. McCann. 3 and 4. Andrew Azzini's on. Did you think this would be one of his winners of the day? You did.
Yeah. And wait for that's
for your great friend Saeed.
Wait for age. Well, he was very good to me, but the wait for age.
What's going on with Saeed bin Suroor and jockeys? Because there seems to be no pattern in who he's choosing.
Well, Louis Stewart rides work for him, and obviously Holly won on Passion and Glory last time at Sandown.
He's always given jockeys a chance, and
Kevin Stott, for example. Marco Gianni, hasn't he given him plenty?
Marco Gianni.
And Andrea has ridden plenty for him, through the years.
You think this will just be too classy?
I hope so.
All right, okay.
It disappointed me a little bit of Sandown.
Electrical Storm.
I think 10 on that track stretched him, but...
Yeah, could be right. But one I backed is Young Fire. Because I think, and we know David O'Mara, he has so many, teak tough handicappers, and he has to, he doesn't have the highest strike rate, But because he has all these horses running in the handicap after handicap after handicap, you can't get a high strike rate like that. But I think his horses are in really, really good nick at the moment, as we've seen with Orban. And Young Fire, he had 5 runners, David O'Mara, in the mile at Goodwood, and they all finished in the top 9. The first, second, 7th, 8th, and 9th, I think.
There's a surprise.
And Young Fire was 8th. I thought he ran perfectly well. He's been running reasonably okay all season. He's dropped down to just £1 higher than when he last won, and that was at this track last year. He's 3 from 6 at Haydock, and he's also finished 4th in a very good Class 2 last year with a higher mark. So I just thought he's likely to run well.
If there's an egg on face horse in the race for me, it's him. As I mentioned, Probert's on. Has Probert ridden him before, this chap?
Oh, I'm sure he has.
As Kills reaches across to wet his beak. Yes, he has. You're right. To not much success. He was 9th on him once before, actually. He's very, very tricky, this bloke. But he's got the back class. He's handicapped to win it. It would just be typical if the one time I go, you know what,
and he runs this track well. I mean, there is definitely the horses for courses is definitely exists, doesn't it? You know?
Well, there's 3 course winners in here. Fame and Acclaim is the other one. He's one of them, and Mr. McCann's the other one. I'm with Barry. I thought Tom Mark. I just thought this was easier for Mr. McCann. And he's, of course, his first visit to Haydock was a win as well. I just wondered whether he struggled a bit from 2-year-old to 3-year-old, had to find his feet a little bit. Mark at 99 is probably high enough. But
one that interests me, and Oisin, you rode him now. I don't think you won on him that day in York. You rode him once, La Trinidad. Like, he always seems to be knocking around there or thereabouts. He struggles to win, but I thought he was an interesting proposition.
He tries like mad. That's
Does he?
Key, yeah.
Because a lot of people after that run at York last time, where they backed him to win, and everyone thought, right, this is his race, I think, and Ben was on. He came there with every single chance.
All in.
They're all in. All right, OK, so we're about to find out what the first-time cheat piece is, and the Trinidad does pay out for you. Good luck wherever you're playing. In the 225, our first non-Ascot race of the day. And away we go. The Trinidad right at the back, Dutch Decoy, Young Fire, unsurprisingly there. Not that surprised, Barry, to see Mr. McCann.
No, that's the way he wants to be.
They're going very slow, guys.
That's the way he wants to be. If he can get a nice sit in front
it's
of
the
it.
RTV clock. It happens
That's
in
national
here.
hunt pace,
No,
that is.
we're
That's
pretty
a
sure
nice
stuck.
hurl pace.
They're going very slow. Mr. McCann is in a lovely
It's
rhythm.
over 34.
It doesn't go over 34 on RTV.
I'm not pulling.
Even in a court horse race.
Who tipped Mr. McCann?
Same one.
We did.
Yeah, I mean...
We're happy with this?
I would be very happy, yeah.
All right, you're getting your excuses in for the favourite.
No, genuinely.
No, I've sat on enough panels.
I can't, unless they get racing too soon, I can't have Young Fire, that's for sure.
Now, tell me about the home bend at Haydock. It's mad, isn't
Well,
it?
it depends if you're on the inner or the outer track.
And they're on the outer track, obviously.
No, they're on the inner track.
Keep doing 50. That's
the inner
18
track
miles
then?
an hour. Look.
That was going around the bend.
Now they're winding it up a little bit. Tom Mark 1 from the front.
Yeah, he's pressed go early, mind. And there's been no pace. He didn't need to. There was no pace pressure.
Well, Fame and Acclaim is putting it up to Lewis Edmonds. Here comes Electrical Storm. La Trinidad looks like he's taken to those first-time
I
cheat
think
pieces.
Tom pressed go too early.
Kills, are you getting excited because you've got the cover you want? Yeah, I think we might be. I think we might be gassing a bit here, Barry. He's just finding a bit more. I'll tell you what, the Godolphin horse has run an absolute stinker.
No, lads, it's simple. Mark run press go.
Come on, Tom.
The horse is finding, and he does stay a bit further.
Come
He's
on,
down
Tom.
Too, isn't
He's
he?
trying
Look
for
at
him
Dutch
anyway,
Decoy
isn't
on
he?
the far side. This is Oliver Stammer's claiming 3.
Come on, Tom.
Look, come on, Tom. Keep
Go on,
going
Tom.
up. I'm not sure he's going to get him, Barry. Is he? Look, what's the market
Go on, Tom.
Is he going to get back up? Come on, Tom, in the finish. Come on, Dig. Come on, Tommy. Up goes Tom the Pom. And away we go. What a weird run from Electrical Storm that was. We'll have to watch it back. I'll tell you what. It's just as well we're here, Oisin, because you said he went too soon. And the horse has responded. Now, we'll get your thoughts on why that is.
Yep.
Electrical Storm, I thought was going to fall out the back of the telly. But, Barry, tell us how high he went in that run.
Hold on. Dutch Decoy traded at a low in running of 1.69. Only 1.69, but he found generously for him the one in front, didn't he? Obviously, the £7 3-year-old wait for age allowance really helped. Dutch Decoy went off at a Betfair, Electrical Storm went off at a Betfair SP at 2.74, so bang on 7-4. Nothing really traded short and running because obviously the winner had the run of the race out in front. But
He traded at 20 though.
he had a Betfair SP of 4.50.
How high did Mr. McCann go?
Went to 20.
Because he looked like he was going to get swallowed, didn't it?
went to
And
20,
you
didn't
obviously... I mean, that was interesting listening to you during that race, Oisin, because it was a tale of two halves, really, listening to you do that. You thought, oh my goodness, he's getting, a right easy one. But what do you do when you're coming into the home straight and you've got 3 furlongs to run? When you've got to wind it up at some point, haven't you?
Well, it doesn't matter how good the horse is, they can't. Even Frankel could only go his top speed for 2.5 furlongs. So if you press go before you even see the 3, you need
But
to
if
be
they all
quite
go
lucky to
with
stay
you,
on.
they get away with it.
Sometimes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, if they all decide to go at the same time, then everyone's in the same boat.
And the last furlong's the slowest anyway. Yeah.
I mean, Young Fire was one of the last off the bridle again.
Yeah, he probably paid for making the ground up, didn't he? Because he was off that and pulling early.
And what about Electrical Storm? He's run a very odd race, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Needs to
funny.
go back
well,
up
to
and
finish
trip.
where he finished, yeah.
Because he's switched right inside, isn't he, Andrew?
No,
Having
but
been on
how
the outside.
slow did they go? Like in a normal mile, they wouldn't go that slow early. I think Electrical Storm is worth forgiving.
We would handicap the race to Dutch Decoy, who's like having his 40th start there. He's a 7-time winner and he always pretty much runs his race. And Oliver Stammers must have thought he tasted success there, but well done if you weighed him with Barry. And the Premiership is truly alive. That's, of course, Michael Owen, isn't it, that horse? And I can't remember the Prem footballers that are involved in the AGJT group. It's probably telling me in the initials, though.
One is the United captain, ex-captain, the defender. What's his name? Maguire.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about Harry
Is it,
Maguire. Is he ex-United?
He's involved.
No, he's
Yeah,
No, he's
sold
still
him.
at United.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He loves...
I didn't say ex-United.
He loves his horse racing, Harry Maguire.
Does he?
Absolutely loves it, yeah. You always see him at York, and he's got a box at Leicester, I think, and all that sort of stuff, because he used to play there and all that sort of... He absolutely loves his horse racing, does Harry. All right, I'm going to give you a quote from Mannequin, if you don't mind, John Ryan. He's a lovely horse. We wanted to go to a listed race with Chester last week, but the ground went on us. That was the race that Ebro River bounced back in, wasn't it, of course, last Sunday. I was prepared to go on good on soft, but wouldn't risk anything slower. This is a black type horse, probably go to Dubai. That sort of horse. So, look, that's Kills Nat, basically, if you're with that. We move on from Haydock then. We'll get a time, if you don't mind, Kills, from you. If you could look on that, from that Haydock run, it might be a bit of a red herring, wouldn't it? Because
yeah, well, the first race at Haydock was almost 5 seconds slow.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it would be interesting to... But we haven't got the time.
I'm trying to see what Mr. McCann's preference was going there. Sort of good ground, really, wasn't it? So should we call it good ground there at Haydock?
I think after seeing it last night, I was there myself. I think it will be good ground too.
You were there last night, right?
Yeah, brought my mother for a day out.
Yeah.
Evening out.
Remind yourself what racing's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. On that front, how hard has it been watching this season? Royal Ascot, Goodwood.
Yeah, before
Obviously tough.
Before the season ever came round, I had to mentally prepare just that I was going to be out for this period and accept it. And obviously, when I'm missing horses, I think I should be riding.
Such as?
It's not easy. Well, obviously everything Andrew Boulding and Qatar Train.
The Foxes.
All the other horses. Yeah. All those horses. So that's not easy. But I was very lucky in my career to avoid any injuries that kept me out longer for than 24 days. I broke a collarbone once, and yeah, I always bounced back. So I was probably due a more extended time out.
And you're back in February.
Yeah, February the 16th.
Counting literally marked on the...
Well, I wasn't.
Marks the spot.
I actually had deliberately forgotten exactly what date until about a month ago, and now, yeah, I'm starting to think about it.
Do we know the fixtures yet for next year? We probably
He
don't.
does.
Yeah, our team does. Well,
Yeah.
should we get the cameras down at Lingfield? Or
Well,
whatever it's
there's going
gonna
to be some Wolverhampton cards and
Yeah.
stuff that.
But you'll be relishing that, right?
I will, of course. Yeah, at that stage, I'll be eager to ride anyway.
I suppose the big question then is, will you go for the title?
Yeah.
Will you put yourself through that all over again?
Well, William's ridden at an incredibly high strike rate this year, and obviously he is connected to lots of different trainers. But other than Charlie Appleby, his connection with George Bowie has been very fruitful over the last 2 years, and I mightn't be able to compete with that. The bottom line is literally he might have so much support that after a month he could be so far clear that no one else has a chance.
This month last year, you were sizzling hot. Do you remember, Kills? It was insane. I remember you rode one for Simon Dow at Sandown. Elfweg or something from the front.
Okay.
I mean, you went off like a scolded cat on that.
Really?
Do you remember this? You're just like, did
No.
I? Yeah.
No, I don't.
how
It was
does it-
800 horses or something last
It's
year.
just
Maybe rides it-
insane.
Yeah, lots. I had 5 winners
was that called,
yesterday
Kills?
last year at Kempton.
Something
So
Del Fuego, Terra Del Fuego,
Yeah.
or something like that.
But my point being that you were the punter's pal. So August is your month. So whatever you do, just make sure you go to next
August,
August.
my
and
month,
have
okay.
August is your month. And look, you're in Racing Post Live Studio. Of course, it's your month.
yeah, absolutely. I'm pleased you have me on actually, because otherwise I'd be at home doing this all on my own.
Because let's concentrate on that. I've been lucky enough to speak to you before about how you've used social media to your advantage, and actually you've kind of almost inspired a generation to be up front. I mean, it was coming back from Newmarket, talking about the 2-year-olds was the first of them, wasn't it? Tactical.
Sure, during lockdown, yeah.
Tactical was actually amongst that bunch, wasn't
Yes,
he?
he was, yeah. I just think often I get so many people are in touch with me on Instagram Messenger, Twitter Messenger, asking for my thoughts and generally wishing me good luck and best wishes. And often I get some negative stuff as well, but there's so much positive stuff. I think it's nice to give a little bit back, and it costs me nothing, and it takes like 30 seconds, and people are interested. So I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, all right. So, okay. That's a little bit of thoughts on Oisin's current situation. And talking about current situations, you've now got the bit between your teeth as well. One winner here. It's all going down this way, isn't it? I mean, I weighed in with Mr. McCann there, but it'll be forever remembered as Barry's trade. What wins the next at Ascot? Can we get a trade on before we go off for a little break? Barry?
Yeah, so Super Jack is your favourite at 3.35. Rock Eagle 6, 8 Make My Day, 11 Torn Hall. Going Gone is 13, 11.5 the Max We Can, 16 Island Brave. I was fancy the Max We Can. When I did this race, it was a 33 to 1 chance. Oisin actually rode it to its last victory in Goodwood there.
I'd forgotten that as well.
That was the last time. That was the last time he managed to win a race. But he was a course and distance winner as a 3-year-old. So he's obviously getting the way for age that day off 93. He's rated 92 now. They used the visor on him last time, but the cheek pieces are back on today. He's short enough now, it has to be said. He's currently 11.5. So what I'm going to do is, it's one of those, he could blow out or he could win the race. So we're just going to have £25 win on him. Currently at 11.5. I think we're going to look to back him at a bigger price. We're going to set our own odds here. And I'm just going to tick the 11.5. We're going to look to back him at around 13, which is a 12 to 1. And we're going to look to have 25 quid. So that's going to go over into the lace. We want someone to come in and lay us that bet. So it's going to go into the lace section at 13. So it's up there at 13 for someone to come in and back it and lay it to us.
We've got 10 minutes until the next race. This is the 4th race on Shergar Cup Day, the 3rd for us. I think we're all quite enjoying it. Hayley Turner, of course, on the score sheet. We're loving life here on Racing Post Live this afternoon in association with Betfair. Do stick with us. We're going to have a little break here, let the guys just gather their thoughts. And look, it's half time at the moment pretty much on the flat season, isn't it? So some of our friends have helped us out to give us their past memories and what might happen yet still in 2022.
My favourite performance or race or horse of the year was probably Inspiral in the Coronation Stakes, coming off the back of a seasonal break. Frankie Dettori in the headlines for all the wrong reasons, and she ducked and weaved and absolutely rattled home to win in fantastic fashion. That was the one performance that sticks in my mind. Obviously, we've got the International, we've got the Arc, and we've got some fascinating races at the back end. But I do have a soft spot for those 3-year-old handicaps, those big heritage handicaps. Newmarket has a big one. The Lavazza Stakes at Ascot's often an absolute cracker as well. So I'll be looking out for those 16-plus runner handicaps for the 3-year-olds and hopefully digging out some nice winners and some future group horses for sure.
I think we all know what my favourite race of the year so far was. It was, of course, the Derby won by Desert Crown. He went through that contest just like the champion that I thought he was. Put the race to bed with a very, very smart turn of foot. Couldn't have been any more impressive. Proved himself the best middle distance 3-year-old colt around. Just such a shame that we won't get to see him go on and take on by Ede at York, of course. My best bet for the rest of the year does come at York in the Ebor. Yukon Glen. I really thought he travelled well through the race last time at Goodwood. Shaped very nicely. Finished off very strongly behind Trawlerman. Nothing was stronger than him at the finish. He's very well handicapped on his best form, Yukon Glen. He's dropped miles in the weights. Even though he's gone up £3 for that Goodwood run, still think he's nicely handicapped for the Ebor, Yukon Glen.
Danny Archer. Well, my race and horse of the season so far has to be the Goodwood Cup and the performance from Kyprios. He of course defeated the 4-time winner Stradivarius on that occasion and the defending champion Trushan. A brilliant race. Stradivarius was also game in defeat, as was the mighty Trushan, but Kyprios He was an interesting 2-year-old. He got a bit upset in the stalls on one occasion, but he's really blossomed this year as a 3-year-old for Aidan O'Brien. And could he emulate, of course, the mighty Yates and be a 4-time winner of the Gold Cup? He's got all the class in the world, Kyprios, and the future looks bright. Looking ahead, I think the St Ledger is going to be a fascinating race. I love the final classic of the season. Godolphin have a strong hand with New London and Secret State. Aidan O'Brien, he's got the likes of changing of the guard. And if you throw in, you've got Irish Derby winner Westover. There's plenty of interesting opposition there. So the St Ledger is a fantastic race to look forward to at Doncaster. But so far, Kyprios has lit up the flat season.
It seems like quite a few are in agreement here with regards to the highlight of the season. Yes, it came from just over a week ago. The Goodwood Cup, Kyprios, Trushan and Stradivarius going for that illustrious 5th Goodwood Cup. It's what we all wanted to see, and it delivered. Stradivarius came up the inside. The crowd went absolutely crazy at Goodwood. It just wasn't meant to be. But Kyprios, a really exciting stayer. He's going to be very difficult to beat in the staying division over the next couple of seasons. And look, could end up going for the Arc, which is going to be fascinating if Aidan takes that route with this horse. And talking about the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, that's where my best bet's going to come from. I really like Sir Mark Prescott's horse, Alpinista, in this race. I think she could be really exciting. She's 6 wins on the bounce, 4 Group 1s in those 6 wins. And what we've got to remember is this horse here beat last year's Arc winner Torquato Tasso by 2 3/4 lengths this time last year in Germany, and I've got a feeling she could be very, very smart. Betfair, after Desert Crown's come out, a 7-1 the field, an open looking contest, and she's currently 8-1. And I've just got this feeling she could go and do the business. She stays, she loves the soft ground, and I've got a feeling Sir Mark Prescott's going to be bringing home the Arc this year.
Right, I'm Dave Lowe, and my tip today for the Shergar Cup is Super Jack. I've got to stay with the boy, big Villa fan, want the boy back. Super Jack at Goodwood last week, brilliant run. He stays all day, and he's going to be the big winner today.
Hi everyone, my best race I think to watch so far this season has to be the Goodwood Cup with Kyprios, the young pretender who's going to be around for a long time, I'm sure. And Stradivarius, the performance the Strad put up, it was box office stuff. It was the clash that we wanted to see, the clashes that we love of the sport. And then I suppose the race that I'm most looking forward to for the rest of the season it's the Arc. I've always wanted to go. I've actually never been. One day I will get there. But the Arc, it just always puts up tremendous horses for me, like the likes of Hurricane Lane, Adea, Pile Driver, Verdini's in there. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Arc later.
And friends, you got to see some of the guys from the gallery there, and including Dave Lowe, who had a lot to do with getting you on the show, didn't he? Somehow, God knows how that happened, but he's a Villa fan. Hence the fact he's going for Super Jack in this race. Look, so listen, guys, you've got plenty of time. Do you agree with those highlights thus far? Good to see Rob Way, wasn't it? Down in Canada, G-Rod, of course, at the moment, still beaming in, doing all his work.
Yeah, I know. It's good. I'm going to do that next year, by the way.
You are?
I've got a wedding to go to in North Carolina, and my sister-in-law, they've got a farm in Texas.
Where there's a Wi-Fi signal,
I'm planning
there's
to,
the Sizzlers,
exactly. I'm planning to stay there for a fair while.
Is that right? Okay,
well,
all right.
Put it this way, I'm told I'm planning to spend a fair while.
Right, okay. Well, this is the worst place in the world to go and do it, isn't it? So let us know your highlights so far. What's still to come? What's the best anti-post bet for this season so far? Is it Verdini in the Irish Champions Stakes, something like that? A lot of people looking forward to the Arc. Alpinista, of course, as Samuel Hart just told you there. Thanks, guys. That was brilliant. Nat Green, of course, who's even sat in that chair and comes on all the time. She was at Racing League on Thursday. She was at Musselburgh yesterday. Very complimentary about your show jumping skills.
She's very kind. I don't know her, but I appreciate those comments.
She honestly was. She knows a lot about the eventing world and all that sort of thing. And said you could literally, if you fancied it, you could be going and doing that.
Well, the time he took the bit and bridle off the horse in one go.
Did you see that? Yeah. That was recently. That was only like a month ago.
But you're bang into it, aren't you?
Well, I try very hard and I've got nice horses, but this particular horse, I'm coming round the corner to the fence and it jams on. I come out over its head, bring the bridle from her ears with me, and she sticks her head down and starts picking grass. I promise you, I wanted heaven or hell or wherever to open up and just swallow me.
We've all been there. Just not on a horse.
Funny enough, the only time I've ever sat on a horse was when I was a kid, and the horse did exactly the same. Just went down for some grass. I went straight over his head and into a puddle. Unseated rider, never got on one again.
We can always talk about why we don't ride horses, Gills. I've had a similar incident. Chris, who do you fancy this? Make My Day. Didn't stay in the last 2 runs. Super Jack race, wasn't it, of course, last time. Back at 2 miles will suit. Chris Timms like the Gary Moore Raider there. Where's he in the market? Let's have a look down. Yeah, but actually, he always seems to be back, this horse. And Will comes back on. All aboard the Fav in this for me. Yeah, I think Super Jack might be the one. Nicola Curry. I was talking about her yesterday. She had a really slow start to the year, Nicola. She's ridden 118 rides prior to today. 8 of them have hit the board. 4 of them in the last week.
She had 3 on Monday, Carlisle.
And she of course, at the ladies' night, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and she always tends to bag one here.
Yeah.
I think this could be it. Kills, you back this at Goodwood. You've gone against it today.
I backed it Goodwood. I've gone against it today. I went with same as Barry, but I mean, like, you know, 40 to 1 yesterday morning. The max we can. Now he's one of those horses. He's a stayer, so he runs in all different types of staying trips. He's actually only run at a flat 2 miles on fast ground 4 times in his life, and he's won 3 of them.
And he tends to bag ones.
He's lower. He's way lower in the handicap than he used to be. I think he was rated 103. He's down to 92. He's run well here several times. I think only once has he run to an RPI less than 98, and he's running off 92 there.
All right.
So, you know, if he runs his normal race when the ground is fast at Ascot over 2 mile, he'll go close. And the Johnsons, of course, who train him, he's having his 33rd career outing. They've got Spencer in the plate there. So
just to update the charity bet, we're not matched. It doesn't look like we're going to get matched either on the max we can. He's currently trading at 10.5. We're in at 13.
So we sit it out?
We'll sit it out, yeah. I'm happy to let it run.
Okay, because look, loads of racing today. If you don't get matched,
he's likely to be in front anyway, so he's not going to trade bigger unless he loses, is he?
We're all in then, guys, I think, for the Stayers race. We're going to get plenty of time to chat during this one.
Yeah, 2 miles. This will be ran in 4 minutes something.
You say, look.
Did we mention him? Make My Day. He's
yes.
not without a chance.
Yeah,
like, he ran well in that race in Goodwood. He just didn't get home over the 2.5 miles. But
anyone that's backed out will be expecting the next 3 races to nearly go Danny's way, and this could be one of them, of course. Remarkably, he's drawn a haggis horse in 2 races' time that he rid on its debut to win as well.
That wasn't luck.
That one, you don't think so?
Fixed.
No such thing in racing, Oisin. All right, off we go, and we are away. One of them has been already thrown to the inside rail, and that is indeed Nicola Curry on Super Jack. I tell you what, Grealish is confident, isn't he? They aren't half confident the way they ride this horse as well. Who's up front at the moment?
Golden Flame, I think.
Emma Jane Wilson and Golden Flame. Is there any race that Golden Flame doesn't lead in?
Jason Collett
up front then, looking for the Melbourne Cup ride, as you saw in print there. I'm not really sure whether Charlie and Mark will have anything going down there. What's this in second? It is Thrown All then. Barry, you've had a bit of business with this horse before.
Yeah,
the Max is sitting.
Oh yeah,
not good business. The Max is sitting 4th, so at least Jamie hasn't dropped him right out.
Oisin, let's come to you about the pace, because they are strung out.
Yeah, I don't think they're going very quickly. I thought they've just gone even throughout.
So you're saying that they're not going quickly, yet there's 12 lengths between. So what's Nicola? Has she gone too far back?
No, the horse just raced lazily out of the stalls, and he landed there himself. And I suppose, she's aware that lots of jockeys in this race don't know Ascot that well, yes. And particularly on the downhill section, it's easy to let them stride on a little bit quicker than you should be going. But to be honest, guys, this is a very sedate pace.
He did that in Goodwood as well, though. He tends to do that.
Yeah,
he's a little bit tricky, this fella.
Yeah, you imagine that with Milton being the trainer, he's probably got a jumping career ahead of him. But I suppose so lucrative on the flat these days. This is the race, isn't it, at the meeting, which has courted controversy with riders' skills, because we have had some Japanese riders turn up and just gone crazy pace.
Well, they were run away with.
Well, yeah, run away. Right. I mean, and I see this on Twitter that. And they say, oh, this jockey's weak because so-and-so. And at the end of the day, I said, if a horse wants to run away with you, it'll run away with it.
Sure.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all know that, really. But when your pocket's involved, it's harder to sort of tell yourself that answer, isn't it? Let's have a look. One jockey I want to ask you about is Martinez, the Spanish rider, Oisin. What do you know about him?
I've never ridden against him. I don't think I have anyway. I've ridden in Madrid once, but I don't think he was there. I don't know anything about him. He's the only one that I can't tell you.
He's extremely prolific, I can tell you.
Well,
that
it's
much.
9 times champion jockey, so I mean, he's doing something right, isn't he?
Yeah, all right.
Right,
And he's
you
on
know.
the inside, of course. He's riding Ireland Brave, who is a course and distance with Heather Main, who's landed a couple of gambles this week. All right, Going Gone. Where's he for Jim Boyle? Another trainer that's landed a couple of touches. He's out the back as well at the moment. If you're on Super Jack now, Oisin, what do you do?
Concerned. And it's not like Luke the Field. They've gone very steady.
Is the exchange bearing that?
Yeah,
thought
out to
as well?
3-1 now.
Out to 3-1.
4.168 Rock Eagle, 4-6 Make My Day. He
This is
does
only-
travel well.
Kills has gone
4-6
very quiet.
There's only
here.
3.5 furlongs.
No.
Kills has gone very quiet, which means...
There's only 3.5 furlongs left. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
How is
Super
there
Jack's
no-
going to have to quicken properly,
how
isn't
is
he?
there no pressure?
Tell you what,
Max We Can could be.
When does the Max We Can? It's Spencer, this, isn't it? What does he find?
Come on, Jamie.
Going Gone and Rene. He's going to be saying hello
Where's she
very
going on
shortly
the
if he
favourites?
doesn't
She's getting
suit.
no
The Max
run
We
there
Can.
on
Come on, Jamie.
Ireland Brave on the outside, Martinez. Now, this should be the Max We Can.
Oh, the Max.
Come on, off we go. Golden Flame on the inside. Is
Go on, Max.
Oh, is it,
Go on,
where's the
Jamie.
Fav? Looking for
Go on,
Super
Jamie.
Jack. Super Jack can't find
Go
it.
on, Jamie.
Go on,
Go on,
Jamie.
Jamie.
He's going for it. This is going to be
Go
a
on,
great
Jamie.
game. Come on, Spencer. Yes! Team Kealy is in operation today on Racing Post Live. The decibels have been risen to the roof. I knew you were sitting on a big one, Kills. This is fantastic.
Can't help it. We're totally quiet. You lot shut up. I'm just...
Kills went really quiet during that race, Barry. It was around about 2.5 furlongs out.
40
When did
to
the
1
market know?
yesterday. 40 to 1 yesterday.
It's a blanket finish. There's only really a length and a half between the first 6 in the race. Your runner-up Going Gone trade at a low of 2.12. You're with Super Jack didn't trade any lower in running than what he did pre-race. Thornhall didn't trade low at all. Outside of that, the Max We Can traded a high of 34, but that was pre-race. That wasn't in running at all pre-race, because he had been a 33 to 1 chance when the sportsbook first went up with it on Thursday. 22 quid matched at that. So yeah, he's the best backed horse in the race without a shadow of a doubt. Finished up with a Betfair SP at 10.8.
Wow, well done, Barry. Well done, Paul. Keith Melrose as well. Also put that up, I think, as well. Spencer's pretty much lifted that home, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can upgrade Super Jack.
Oh, again.
Yeah, they hacked round, and Spencer's I'd sprinted them. It wasn't a very tactical race. There was nothing other than Keels and you tipping the winner. There was nothing too exciting.
Yeah, on the inside, Golden Flame, the fact he's lasted out there tells you the pace scenario, doesn't it, basically? He's only beaten less than a length, despite the fact he put the pace around 2 miles around Ascot. What's also run very well, they're Going Gone, who was really disappointing when his favourite last time out. He's put himself back on the map, looking for another horse that was there as well. Mollywood as well for Kieran Schumacher, under a train that we don't know too much about. But the Max We Can then. Kills. I tell you what, if ever you've signed your ticket for the rest of the year on Racing Post Live, I believe it's today. A wry smile. Look, it's great.
Yeah, I'm feeling rather smug at the moment.
Do you know what? I did an email in the week to our members and, a mail shot that went out letting everyone know that Oisin was coming in and Barry was coming over. And I said, that big fish that has eluded you and your legion of supporters is coming. Can we call that it? I think we can.
That could be it. That could be it, yeah.
And you've been trumped by Melrose. I'll tell you what, that must annoy you a bit, because Tom Siegel and you tend to agree quite a lot, don't you? Or you find the same horses.
I had this on.
This is a weird conversation.
So guys asked me on Twitter the other day. You obviously talk before the races. We do not discuss it ever. Right? In fact, unless I'm on the podcast, I won't speak to Tom for months. And I never discussed anything with Keith yesterday either. It's funny. It's funny how you can land on the same horse. But if you did, we are paid to study as hard as we can. And if you looked into it,
it was there.
The 2 mile, the fast ground, and if you looked at all his runs over 2 mile or further on fast ground, he had a right chance off 92.
Yeah.
You just had to wipe everything else out of the way and just look at his profile. And I think that is, 5 times he has now run at 2 miles on fast ground, and he's won 4 of them.
Happy days, well done, Kills.
And he was 40 to 1 yesterday
And he
morning.
didn't have travelled through that race. I guess the pace scenarios helped
Suited him
didn't it?
perfectly, because he might have, because he's a stayer, he might have gone a little bit too hard at Goodwood last time over 1 mile 6. And of course, he gets run out of it. But that was a really good race, won by Trawlerman, much better than this race.
And your eyes
He's only
drawn
been
to
6 lengths.
Super Jack, isn't it? who keeps finding excuses.
Well,
He's still banging form,
It's
though,
funny
isn't he?
because I tipped him. I tipped him and backed him at Goodwood, and I made the case then that you could argue that he probably should have won his previous 2 races. And then you could argue that he should have won that one as well.
He went to £4 for Goodwood for finishing second.
And yet,
he is a little bit tricky, but he's a remarkably consistent horse on turf.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
And there's still one in him.
Well, he got, again, he's a strong stayer.
Could it be the Cesarewitch?
He's a strong stayer, and he comes out last, and they drop anchor. He's in the wrong place all the time.
Well, and let's get that out of the way. Nicola Curry, a lot of big people will, on Twitter or betting shops, whatever, will be going, I never stood a chance. What's she doing? You kind of answered that through the first 2 furlongs, didn't you? She didn't have much choice.
No, he jumped slow, and she rousted him along for the first couple of strides out of the stalls, and he didn't grab hold of the bridle. It's not like when you're going round at Ascot, you can suddenly go from last to first mid-race.
It's the sort of thing that will keep you up at night, that as a jockey, isn't it? You can't do anything about it. Probably know you should have won the race because you're on the best horse or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right, look, it's the frustrations of the game. Chris Timms comes back on. Well done, Kills and Barry, yet cooking with gas. Bazza, you're on a hat-trick. So should we go to the 3 o'clock to find out if Anmark can land it or
that
not?
had a Betfair SP at 10.8, which is a killer because I put that up on the Racing Only Better podcast on Thursday.
And you're judged by SP, are you?
And it was a 33-1 chance, and we're judged by Betfair SP, so it's like 23 points
exactly.
later.
Yeah.
You should
What
be having
an
a John
absolute
Canoe
killer.
moment, and there you are. Yeah, but look,
You
it was great tipping. We've got one more social before we move on, actually, to the 3 o'clock. I'm really looking forward to this. The mighty Gomez comes back on. Sweet! Had Max and Spencer to win the Silver Saddle. Now looking promising. Yes, okay, let's see if we can get the guys in the gallery to tot up that for us a little bit. Of course, the Silver Saddle is, it's quite a cool thing to do, isn't it? I must admit, I had a tiny bit on Hayley Turner and a tiny bit on Tanny Tudhope yesterday, just for a bit of fun in that market, so I'd like to know where it's going. Tudhope, not so good yet, but he rides 2 big players in the next races. Mighty Gomez, great to have you back with us this afternoon. Great to have you all watching this afternoon. Keep your social interactive coming. You make the show. You can do that by thumbs up on YouTube if you're watching on our platform channel there. Like and subscribe, get in the chat. Facebook Live, you can do it. And of course, loads going on Twitter today. Lots of love in Japan, apparently, coming your way.
Kind.
Unsurprisingly, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I hope Takeshi can get on the scoreboard.
Yes, let's have a little look at what is on the next. But we must go up to Haydock because Tom Marquand is sitting on a quick double up there, courtesy of Grocer Jack, who took out the Steventon Stakes at Newbury last time when he basically pulled his way into the lead. Tom had no choice but to let him stride on. He thrashed the field. Was he flattered? The clock suggested it was the performance of a £700,000 purchase, which he was. Barry, you're going against him though.
I am, yeah, but he is strong favourite. He's 3.2 currently on the Betfair Exchange. He has been matched at a high of 3.8, which is 11-4, so he's into 11-8 now. That's a significant move. Obviously, 5.3 Anmat is going the other direction. He's on the slide. 12 Passion. Intelligent is 12. It's 16 Royal Champion and 18 Bar. I'm going with Anmat, John Smith's Cup winner, obviously stepping out of Handicap Company into Group 3. He progressed through the handicap ranks nicely last year, winning twice in Handicap Company. He finished the campaign with a runner-up spot in the Cambridgeshire to Bedouin Story. So he's currently trading at 5.3, and we're just going to have a win bet on him on the exchange. And I'm happy to be a price taker there, although he is sliding. He's 5.4. Now what we're going to do, we're going to set our own odds here because he is sliding out a bit. So we're going to look to back him at around 5.8. Be happy to get matched at that price at around the 5.8 mark. I can revise it and come back in at around 5.1 or 5.2 if we don't get matched at 5.8. But that's the beauty of the exchange. You have the flexibility to set your own odds anytime you like.
Interesting that you're keeping the faith with this chap. He's obviously a group horse in handicap in the John Smith's Cup, wasn't he? We were hoping he was us that backed him in the Cambridgeshire. Of course, he's come up against the sleeping.
But the John Smith's Cup was his debut run of the season. He was drawn 10 there as well. I'd say you could mark him up for that run.
He veered across the track a little bit as well, didn't he?
Well, he ended up over the far side, yeah. He seemed to hang a bit across the track, but
you're
betting that in his first run.
You're betting here that he's not had too hard a race there, aren't you? Because the form's worked out with the second that I put up that day.
I don't think he had two.
Was the horse that I put up was an agonising defeat for me, that one. But she's given
the
that
Turlo Thoroughbred
yeah,
horse.
that's it. Yeah, she's given that some.
He ran a funny race there, though. He was booked for third, and he ran on to finish second. He's
really weird race, and came out and won a listed race after that. So the form is there. We were of the opinion, though, Kills, that Intelligent might reverse that form.
Well, there's literally nothing between them because he's only just behind, and he's £2 better off, and he came from further back, didn't get the best of runs. okay, he's obviously an older horse and is therefore doesn't have the potential to improve so much, but even so, the difference in price between them now is just plain daft, isn't it? I mean, to me, it is anyway.
Jane doesn't seem to be doing anything wrong, does she, this season?
She's a good
Saffron,
trainer. She's a good trainer, isn't she?
Yeah,
Saffron Beach was great.
Yeah, she's having a super
She
time.
comes over as a very unflappable individual.
Yeah.
We watched her on Sky, didn't we, watching the camera of Saffron Beach, and the bloodstock agent with her was going up absolutely mad, and she was just, yeah, all right, job done.
So Claymore was a not sold 10,000 breezer. I don't know actually if he was not sold, but he went through the ring for 10 grand, and he's a proper horse. I think she does very well.
Yeah, small string, top trainer. So Intelligent. I've had a bit on him, but I thought Grocer Jack would win. What price did you say it was, Barry?
Currently 246 or 6 to 4. The money's come for Ahmad. I've had to reassess that bet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it.
3 to 1 now. 4.2 from 5.5. So 9 to 2 into 3 to 1. It's been pretty well smashed up, and I've ended up taking 4.2 for 25 quid. So we've backed it to win 75 quid.
Barry on a hat trick. Since that day we had, the Saturday previous to Goodwood, where we struggled to put our winners in. No one was, I don't think anyone was tipping winners that day anywhere in the land. You can't remember that one, of course. But you did have a very good Goodwood.
Yeah, we did good Goodwood, yeah. We did a really good Goodwood, actually. That's
Yeah.
where we won that's where we won €600 for the charity, yeah.
And here we are for Greatwood. Barry's on a hat trick for them. Who are you with then? Are you with Grocer Jack? 700 grand they paid for this jap. I remember speaking to William Haggis, his trainer, when he was out in Maidan, and I spoke to him on the day when he found out he had a problem and he had to pull him out. He still agreed to do the interview, but it was a bit hairy. And you could see that they believed in this horse. His form, obviously, in like German derbies and stuff like this, was on easier ground. This should be perfect for him this surface, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It'll be an interesting race. Anmat is an improver. Royal Champion looked like he could be a very good horse. Passion and Glory's in good form. Peter the Great's come through the ranks a little bit. Intelligent has a high level of form. Maria's Diamond, natural front runner. Fox's Tails lost his way, form isn't good enough.
He seems like a lunatic, Fox's Tails, is he?
Well, he's got his own mind. Certain lad.
That's a yes.
Certain lad, ground isn't soft enough, and I don't think he's at his best anymore. Brentford Hope, horse in very good form, could do with slower ground. And Matt, obvious one, improving. Done nothing wrong. I'd like to see Jim Crowley get on the score sheet.
Okay, so Anmart would be the top tip, would it?
For me.
Yeah.
I haven't tipped a winner yet.
Listen, we're not even halfway through, would you believe it? So there's plenty of time.
I'm not at all convinced there should be. Everything else should be such a big price in this race.
It's one of those weird races.
I'm just sorely tempted to lay the.
Just two horses, yeah. You could quite easily couple them up in a lay, couldn't you? I mean, certain lads you mentioned there, he sort of caught my eye a little bit behind Anmart last time. But is he one of those that does that these days? Brentford Hope has the cheap pieces on. Over a mile 4 last time, we were like, oh, he come too soon.
I was just standing down there watching him. I had a few quid at a big price and he
Dion
just breezed into the lead.
He must have thought to himself, I've got it, lads, I've got it.
Hang on a minute, you realise how much...
We put him up, yeah.
Hang on a minute, do you realise how much further you've got to run now you've done this?
Last one going in then, guys, is Grocer Jack. Good luck then, whichever way you've decided to play in the 3 o'clock. It's the first group race of the afternoon, the Rose of Lancaster. Are we going to see a Cox Plate contender here? Let's have a look then. Off indeed we go. And Intelligent, as he can sort of do, he's lumbered out of the stalls there. I don't think they'll be very happy with that all of a sudden, will they, Adam Kirby?
Only making sure Anmat gets a nice point.
Just looking now, the interesting thing for me when I looked at this race, guys, was Grocer Jack's drawing 8 because of course he carted Tom to the lead last time, and Tom, he's not a horse that they want to hold
the same
up,
here, is he?
Yeah, he's definitely got a bit about him, and Tom's looking for the lead, I think, Oisin, isn't he?
Maria's Diamond's going to kick up. Peter Gray. I don't know what Tom's going to do because he's 3 deep now as they come back to the fence. Andrea isn't going to break Joe to let Tom in, that's for sure. He'll be okay if the Gulson horse, Peter the Great, with Rab Havlin keeps going forward. But if Rab sits outside, which he's entitled to do, Tom's now 3 wide.
When do you get worried about that?
He's in a ship. Andre, he's fine now. Because, he's no choice because Rab's gone to the fence. Andre's landed in a lovely slot. And Tom now has a good position. But circumstance could have been very different there. Maria's Diamond just got checked off the rail. Passion and Glory has a nice spot. Jim Crowley's got a good spot on Anmat. I thought they've gone a solid pace.
You've got to be happy with that, Barry, haven't you, on Anmat?
Yeah, I suppose I am. I think. No, Tom Marcon's getting to run the race now, isn't he? Really?
Well, listen. If this is the horse they think he is, then he got to take a lot of beating from here. But a cavalry kills is mounting up behind him.
Yeah, well, you'd expect them to. They're not going for it yet.
Now
are
they've
they?
quickened,
They're
haven't
still
they?
holding plenty.
With 2.5 furlongs out then. Call it, Barry. You're coming.
Yeah, well, Anmat's favourite in running at evens
Wow,
now.
is he?
Yeah, it's 11-4 Grocer Jockey.
Let's see what
Travels
you're
well,
made of.
Anmat down to the 2 mark, but
All right, let's see whether the price
5
tag
to
of the
4
gross is
on
going to pay
Anmat.
off it. And Mark, look at this, swinging along. Oisin, could this be it?
Go on, Jim.
You'll be wondering what you've
I
done
hope
wrong if
so.
this doesn't win from here, wouldn't
What's
it?
the price
Go
now,
on,
Barry?
Jim.
I'll tell you what,
10 to 1
1-on-1's
on.
going to come up soon. Oh,
dear.
Barry's landed the hat-trick. This
25
is
to 1 on.
ridiculous.
Multi on the move.
Multi's on the move. Grocer Jack's been outpaced. World Champion's coming. Certain Lad
Aye,
was
aye.
an eye-catcher last time behind him. He's run well. Brentford Oak, what trip does he want? And he hasn't got a clue. This is all over. We've seen one here. Oisin's off the mark.
Finally.
It's not it. Watch this. This is how it goes. The multi's on the move. Barry
Well done,
Orr.
Yeah, he's done that really, really well. He
He's done it
travelled
really well,
sweetly
yeah.
in the race, didn't he? Obviously stepping into the Group 3 company, and he'll go on from that again. I'm sure he's... what can you say about it? He's took it up with 2 furlongs to race and it's all over. He's put Grocer Jack well and truly into his pace. Was he a little keen, maybe, Grocer? I thought he got a fair run in the race.
Yeah,
He's beaten fair.
Barry, you're right. Maybe when
a-
they jump and they have to search for a rail for the first 3 furlongs.
Yeah.
Grocer Jack was a little free.
Yeah,
That's-
he's
that was
done a
my
bit of
worry,
running
stall
early,
out
hasn't he?
going
Yeah?
into
Just
the
a
race.
little bit
Certain
fast.
lad ran into third.
He
price.
is always a bit of an eye-catcher, certain lad. He's the one that might... if he turns up in a Cambridgeshire, don't be surprised if he ran well. OK, there we are then. Anne Mart makes the step up, the John Smith's Cup winner. So difficult, I think it is, to get these horses to the target after that sort of layoff, prime for it, and it's worth it. Very valuable handicap. And then had a hard race, rolled across the track, didn't he, at York? And yet my worry was the bounce factor, as we call it.
Yeah.
I mean, Owen Bro's done a great job here.
Yeah, Owen Burrows is having a very good season. He's at a good strike rate and he doesn't have a massive team, but he's proving his worth at the moment.
Do you know what? I think we're going through the card.
Don't start putting the mockers
I think
on
we're
us.
going through the card.
Please don't put the mockers
We're
on
going
us.
through the card.
Can we
here.
not do that?
I think we're
Can we
doing
just
it.
enjoy it race by race?
Yes, please.
Listen, you know we're going through the card out there, don't you? Racing Post Live this afternoon, August the 6th. Greatwood is the charity of choice. If you're having a good weekend out there, if you're having a good day, if you're backing some of the winners that guys are all putting up, maybe show them some love, of course. It's the rehoming of racehorses out there. Outstanding cause. Back to Ascot, isn't it now, chaps, I think?
Yeah, 320.
320, so we've got a bit of time to chat between these races as well. It's the oh yeah, he has had a win, I'm being told. Don't worry, the multi's on the move, absolutely. Should we talk about this then, Barry? Because again,
We'd only one winner in the multi so far.
Lady
It'd be
Alara.
nice to have those other 2 Max Weekend.
Yeah, should have put the Max Buchanan.
Well,
Should have
I
put it on
like-
yesterday as well.
I like Jungle Cove. I could give you a quote on the Max we can if you want. Bernie's there for us.
Irish
on that board.
Cesarovic, 25 from 50.
so valuable
Worth
now,
£500,000
isn't it?
this year.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's so valuable now. I saw a quote for that again in
And
the
that could
week.
be one as well for Super Jack.
Was that gear up?
Because the English horses, would you believe, are well handicapped when they go to Ireland.
Are they?
Yeah, it's like a
on the
reverse of the
flat?
national
Okay,
hunt.
okay.
Yeah, it's like a reverse of the national hunt. It really is. Any horses that are being bought from England to race in Ireland off their English marks are doing
Are
really,
willing.
really well. Yeah.
Okay, Irish Cesaro. It's worth 600 grand, isn't it? Basically, the prize money's
How
gone up.
far
for
is the Irish Cesarovic?
2 miles, isn't it?
Is it 2 mile dead? Is it? Is it? Everyone was just tweeting on the day the prize money went up. Should we just
Yeah, I saw that,
congratulations
I
Willie
saw
Mullins now? Yeah, right. Okay, we've got a mile 4 race coming up, but there's the multi if you want. Lady Alara to come up in the 340. That's the Sweet Solera Stakes. Then it's Jungle Cove,
Yeah, that's
who
right.
I like
yeah.
a lot in the penultimate race or the third last race, whenever it is. Ascot, and who's the last one?
The last leg then is Hamakai.
Oh yes, Hamakai for William Haggis. All right, okay. So, who's having fun out there? Let us know what you think of the show this afternoon. Great to have you along. We're all in the studio today. We've got Oisin Murphy, 3-time champion jockey, with us. Are you feeling better now? We're having nothing like
I'm
having a winner
relieved.
on this show.
I'm relieved, genuinely. Everyone
Nothing
else
like
is
a
doing
duck
so
egg.
well. And I'm starting to feel the pressure.
We've had some long afternoons in here.
2-2 the Irish Cesarovic.
Is it 2-2? Yeah, okay. The max we can. This is from James Byrne, our Lambourne correspondent who's doing the roving reporting at Ascot for us this afternoon. He's difficult, says Mark Johnson. Aren't we all, Mark? But he's spoken to James Doyle. James said, this is quite interesting. James has said, you know immediately on this horse whether you're going to win or not, because it's all about mood with him.
How did you find him when you rode him to win in Goodwood? Do you remember him, or was
Not
he just
really.
another? No.
Yeah, he's just another one on that day.
Yeah, yeah.
Just another stayer for Oisin. Another day, another staying win. Okay, here we go. What have we got coming on? Ewan Trogney, is that how I say it? Barry! He basically says, knocking it out the park, the big hitter himself. Well done, Ewan. I hope you've been backing them as well. And Peter Hodge comes on. Peter, welcome. Kealy can't keep the smile off his face. Thinking about that big win. That, absolutely, we should get some gifts out of that, shouldn't we? I think. Peter, thanks for doing that. Absolutely. It's great to see Keels, isn't it? Here on our AC Post Live panel. And loving life as well. There's something about the red, isn't it, Keels? I think that's rubbing off.
It is.
It's quite funny when you were walking from Waterloo, which is our nearest tube station in the capital, and I was looking for you down the street with my terrible eyes, and I went, "No, that can't be him." And you looked, and he went, "What's this about?"
I just roared with laughter.
So Barry's not wearing red as well, of course. If Oisin had come in, that would have been ridiculous. But it's 2 for the Racing Post and 2 for Ireland. I think we can say that as well. We're around about half an hour away from the Sweet Solera then. Get your tips in for that. But now, Barry, we've got to hone into one. And I thought Pride of Priory was a certainty to go off clear favourite here. But Gary Moore's got one.
Yes. Pride of Priory and the Whipmaster, it's hard to separate them, Dave. It's like 3-1 each of two, 3.9 each of two. State of Bliss is 10.5, 12, One Smooth Operator. Southern Voyage is 13.5, and it's 14 bar. I was liking Southern Voyage in it. I'm just going to back him win only on the exchange, though. He's another one that progressed well last season. It was he didn't make his track debut until April. He was a course and distance winner last July, and he's won 3 of his 6 races. He followed up with a win in the Hamilton Cup in Thirsk. They gelded him during the winter, and he was sent off 5-2 favourite on his seasonal reappearance in York. We covered the race. He was very keen. Danny Tudhope couldn't really settle him, and he went out like a light from 3 out. He was allowed to coast home in his own time. There was no obvious reason for that post-race. The vets had a look at him, the stewards had the trainer in, and there was no excuse. So we're just willing to forgive that run. If you put a line through that run, he's no 12-1 chance, that's for sure. But again, he could be one, there could be something amiss with him that they just don't know. So he could bomb out, but at 13.5, happy to be a price taker here. We're just going to have 25 quid win, and win only because, like I said, it could be one that bomb out. But he must have been showing them something at home that he was sent off 5-2 favourite in that race in York. So taking it that he could go well at 13.5.
All of your winners so far, and you're on a 4-timer now, all of your winners have had a team bet. So it's like you've had Team Kills with you for the Max We Can. We were together on the horse at Haydock, Mr. McCann. You'll be thrilled to know that I'm joining your team.
Okay, cool.
For Southern Voyage as well. And Keith Melrose has put this up, and he's having a good day on price-wise as well so far, isn't he? I agree. I just thought, I was chatting to Kills about this yesterday. We're looking at the makeup of the handicap in a lot of these horses, and they've either shown their hand, or, you know, some of them. I'll tell you what, there is a gamble in the race now, which I'll get to as well, and it's Frankie on last year's winner, State of Bliss. He's a lot shorter than he was when I last looked. This guy could just be ahead of it. They really had a good go at him, didn't they, in the market at York, and they just blew his brains out. That was just forgive that run. I guess the worry is that when he went to Newmarket last October, and now this is a bit to prove, but if Callan can get a bit of cover on him, it's a course and distance winner, I think he's overpriced with you.
Yeah, I agree. But again, it's just a win bet for me because you don't know what happened in York. It might just be after the winter that he had when they gelded him, and that just he was keen in front.
Here's a reminder about each way betting, of course. A lot of people look at big prices, Kills, don't they? Say, let's say, I don't know, 10-1 and above. If you back 100-1 horse, let's say, for example, a lot of people think because it's such a big price, they've got to back it each way. However, surely you back a horse each way because you're pretty sure it's going to finish in the top 3.
I bet each way when the each way terms are advantageous. That's what I do. I don't care what the price is. I've backed horses each way at 11-4 if I can get 5 places. Yeah, you know what I mean. In the race that you normally get 3.
But I've so many people that go to the racecourse on a Saturday and go, it's a 33-1 shot, I better back it each way because it's probably not going to win. That's not really why you should be backing each way. You should be backing each way because you are pretty certain that they're not going to go out of the top 3. And if you get the terms, like Keels says, then you have to do it. I'm with Barry on this. Just because he's 10-1, he's not an each-way bet. It's Southern Voyage. He either nearly wins.
Oh, he could blow out. He could blow out. I mean, he blew his top last time.
Who's the horse in this that you could back each way? Is it the Whipmaster?
I've backed one each way. I've backed Pretty Sweet.
Ah, yes.
I just thought I think she's been running better than those form figures suggest. I thought she ran perfectly okay in a listed race last time. At Ponte, I think there's a lot of pace in this race too. So I think the Whipmaster is the one that's going to suit most likely from the head of the market, but I think it'll suit her too. And I do think she's a reasonable price. She's bigger than I thought she was going to be.
under the Kiwi.
In fact, I know she's big enough. I thought she was. I backed her at shorter yesterday.
I wouldn't be surprised if George Bowie knows Jason Collett a little bit because he spent a bit of time down there as well.
Well, he was with Gabe Waterhouse.
Yeah.
Very successful with his connections down there, George Bowie. So yeah, that's an interesting one. Hayley Turner sits on Angel Power. It was interesting they kept her in training, really. Angel Power.
Very interesting, and she's dropping in grade from tougher races back into a handicap, but she isn't altogether straightforward. They taught a lot of this filly, and she's never gone on to reach the heights that were suggested of her early on.
Yeah, she got group form, hasn't she?
Yes.
It's interesting. It's just
Is she a Group 3 winner?
Was she a winner at
You
Group
rode
3?
her in Santiago in a group race.
And
She went off favourite that day.
we went steady that day as well, but I didn't think she had much
Group
excuse.
2 winner in Italy, isn't she?
Okay.
Hang on a minute, right? So can we start playing this game now, right?
Yeah.
You're getting this show all of a sudden.
Well.
Can we play the Oisin's ridden, Oisin hasn't ridden game? Because I'm going, hang on a minute. I mean, Barry's on this. He's gone, well, Oisin actually rode this in, such and such.
Yeah.
Are there any horses you haven't ridden in this
No,
race?
genuinely, in this race I haven't ridden many of them.
Right. But we're going to do that from now on, if you
I
don't
don't
mind.
know why I haven't ridden lots of these. But
Oisin, here's a test for your future career in Japan. There it is, on the social.
I don't know how.
The boys in the studio are getting quite a few comments.
Google Translate.
I mean, this could say anything. So drum roll, please. It says, "Go for it, Takeshi
Yokoyama."
Happy days. All right. So
I wonder was that
a bit of study needed.
I wonder was that katakana, hiragana, or what's the other one they use? I don't know.
I have no idea. I mean,
Nishiwa.
that's quite literally all Japanese to me. All right. So Oisin, you've heard from me and Barry and Keels. Keels likes pretty sweet. I like Southern Voyage along with Barry. Yourself? You're on a double.
Yeah, I feel a little bit of pressure here. I'm going to go with Charging Thunder to get the arc-winning jockey off the board. David O'Mara's already had a winner here today, and I don't see anything in the race that is that obvious to me.
Have you ridden it?
No, I haven't.
Do you ride much for O'Mara as a Northern jockey?
I have done a little bit, but my strike rate for him is poor, and I don't think it's because he puts me on horses with no hope. I just haven't been lucky for him. So yeah, there we go.
Trainers think like that.
I think they like to use jockeys that are successful for them, and Jason Watson's come in for a lot of rides for O'Mara this year.
Yeah, that was almost once he left Charlton's.
Yeah,
he was a bit marooned, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Wondering, what do I get? And actually, O'Mara gave him a big
it's
chance.
a good connection, sure.
Yeah. And he's been riding down at Brighton today, this week, isn't he, for Tony Carroll, etc.
Yeah. The complete rag here isn't completely out of it,
Do you always mention this horse whenever Daniel Kodiak? Has it run at this meeting before? Something tells me it has.
I don't
definitely
know.
run at Ascot, hasn't it?
He's won at Ascot.
Big race.
Beat Wald Guys at Ascot one.
Oh, yes.
Waldgeist.
Let's bring the quality back up here, Kills.
Was Andy Smith this horse for a long time?
Andy Smith was in it for a while. Yeah, he got rid of it. He got rid of it.
Neil Rockefeller.
Now, he's now very well handicapped on that sixth of Wanda Montalban at the track. He's £7 lower now. And
Wanda Montalban.
Does that
I won on him. That's perfect.
He smoked about 20 of them. That's probably why.
Yeah, so on that form, he was sixth there, and he was a bit keen early. He made the run in then. He would not be without a chance. He dropped to a mark of 90. Obviously, he's a 9-year-old. He's not getting any better, but he does run Ascot well, and you see horses that run Ascot well go back and do it again and again. So he could hit the frame.
Hey, I love the way Celtic Art went the furlong and a half to post there. Just watching him canter. He looked like he was enjoying himself. He was, yeah.
He's probably thinking to himself, who on earth is sitting on my back?
Yeah, this Japanese
it's Takeshi Yokoyama, who's in stall 12. Now, when I spoke to Hayley about her riding Angel Power, I said, well, at least you got stall 3. And she goes, actually, Dave, and the stats at Royal Ascot all year.
Sure, high draws.
Why is that?
Well,
because it's rough on the inside?
Well, no. Well, it's rough because lads like to bang into you, but also you have an opportunity to see what's going on. You can stay out and take your time to come in from an outside draw. There's a lot of killing. I mean that in a physical sense.
I get it.
In the handicaps at Ascot early on, and if you can stay out of that and get into one relaxed rhythm, even if you're not in a position that you could foresee yourself being in, you're saving energy versus someone that's having to poke away to hold their spot, and they're getting crowded throughout the first
Is there
couple of
still a
furlongs.
lot of chat in these big races?
Oh, God.
Is there a lot of early chat?
If anyone is interested, after our show, go on YouTube and watch some of my headcam footage from Ascot last season.
The Fox's Tails.
Fox's Tails is
the
You'll
one.
see I have a go at Colin Keane, I have a go at Spencer, I spent Crowley.
Nice.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time swearing, and also like I can see guys in front of me murdering each other. I'm like, what are you doing? You can't win when you ride like that. So. Yeah,
do you ever say to someone, "What are you doing?" during
Of
a
course
race?
I do. Yeah, yeah. And if someone
Maybe not
beside
always
me,
that pleasant.
there's a lot of
What
swearing.
am I doing?
If someone beside me is on heels, or in front of me is on heels, and I can hear them clipping with the horse's shoes in front of me, I will speak to them immediately, because I don't want them to bring themselves down or bring the whole field down, you know. And it can happen instantaneously. If you clip a heel and stumble, chances are you'll hit the deck.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious because it's something that.
Well, if you
is an
do
old
watch
school
some of
thing,
that
isn't
Jockey Cup, it does give you an idea just how tight it is when
Sure.
you're in there.
Yeah, and
the
how
Fox's
quickly
Tails-
you have to make decisions.
You got the inside run that day, didn't you?
I was
it
blessed, but
bizarre.
I was on a very well handicapped horse at the time, and actually King Power didn't have a winner all week, and I told Top, who is the guy you see racing now, the son of the old boss man, who sadly passed away, I said, I'm going to win on this horse, because genuinely we gave him a wake up at home, and he suddenly went from working like average horse to a proper group horse. You know?
Yeah, if you can watch that, I remember watching it at the time, it was insane. That was, of course, when you went on your absolute let's tear Ascot a new one, wasn't it? And with Champion Jockey, they had that wonderful last 2 days.
When
peaked
confidence
out,
was
didn't it?
high, yeah.
Confidence is everything, Oisin, in this game. Just
Yeah.
ask Paul
Big
Kealy.
Mo.
He's on a worldie of a sudden. He's all of a sudden loving life.
Guys, I'll
Barry.
actually-
This is it, isn't it?
They're loaded.
It's good
It's
to
nice.
see.
It's nice. And listen,
Winners are glimmers,
listen, I've been
that's
saying,
another saying.
the amount of podcasts I've done with you in the last few months, and I've said, you know what, I keep backing these horses, keep getting great prices. They keep either nearly just missing or running terrible races.
Yeah.
And this is literally the first one I've got over the line for.
After
a
snaffing
long
at the
while.
33 to 1 and 40s about the
Oh,
next
yeah,
week.
that's all he was
Might
talking
be
about in the calf, wasn't
He
it?
might be in Texas for 2 months.
Well,
now.
I've got a little bit of 45.
We're still getting
Boosted.
working like a bear, don't worry about it. Talking about a bear, did Go Bears Go win, I think? He has done at the Curragh.
Has he?
Looks that way.
Back on
Barry
track.
will be getting Champions Day quotes for him, I would imagine. Dave Orton's horse. He's a lovely little terrier, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 12 from 6 for the Champion Sprint and 16 from 25 for the Betfair Sprint Cup in Haydock in September.
yes.
He's a proper trier, isn't he?
Yeah.
While these are loading, guys, I just want to tell you quickly, last year before Royal Ascot, approaching it, I knew that the BHA were aware that I had been to Mykonos. And I was week on week, I was waiting for them to say for me to stop riding. And when I got Royal Ascot, the first winner on the board, I thought, right, this is my opportunity to go out on a high, because the end of this
coming.
week, I'm going to be stood down. They took their time.
They definitely took their time, all right. Absolutely.
They're
The
off.
Jockey Championship. And thankfully for you, Oisin, they are off and running. I'll tell you what, look at the sunshine. It's basking down. Here in Old Blighty, we are looking like another heat wave next week, aren't we? Where is that rain coming from? It's great to see the heat wave. The one stuck right on the outside.
There's a pace steward
Dane
down the
on
hill,
outside.
guys. The proper pace battle.
Who's involved for this? Not Southern Voyage, is it? Please tell me. That is Southern Voyage, isn't it?
Celtic Art, 3 deep.
Yeah, that's the one that I think your mate Takeshi's probably not loving life at the moment, is he? But when do you want to get in? Because you say that a wide draw is
trying
kind
not
of
to
what
go
you want.
fast here.
Well, they're still in a straight line, more or less, here.
Yeah.
It's now on the turn they begin turning, but then it's a 2-turn track from the 1.5-mile start.
Well, it's the old boy, Daniel Kodiak and Christophe Patrice Lemaire.
Christophe Patrice Lemaire.
Looking who's in there at the moment. I got that one right. Barry, I think I'm lucky that we didn't back Southern Voyage each way.
Too keen.
He's lathered up and he's way too keen. I'll tell you what, you can come back any time you want. These jump jockeys, I say that horses are keen when they're on the show. They're like, that's not keen, what you on
Same
about?
thing that happened to him in Goodwood.
Oisin can see it. Okay, right, here we go. What's this
Oh,
just
sorry,
off
in
them?
York.
This is State of Bliss, is it? And Frankie,
Lockdown
last year's
offence.
winner. I was going to mention that. It was 20 to 1 yesterday, and I thought, undeniable with tipping it. He was one of the market movers, I think, Barry, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yep.
God, they've slowed up now, guys. Holy God, they're going steady.
So who do we want to be on, Oisin?
13.5 second furlongs.
Your Charging Thunder's got a nice
13.7.
posse.
No, because now they'll go early. Guaranteed they'll get racing too soon. I really like Frankie's spot. He's been a little bit keen, but he saved ground down the fence. Things will probably open up in the straight. You know, I don't think I'm going to foresee the future. I don't think Frankie will be denied a clear run. Let's see what happens.
All right, OK, he'll be hoping up then. If you are on the gamble and Frankie, could this be Liam Franco's big one? He's £2 higher than when he won the race last year. Charging Thunder is catching my eye, though. Keels, what are you liking?
Yeah, I can see State of Bliss going really well. I don't think mine's going too bad. Pretty sweet on the outside in the red cap.
Pride of Priory.
Frankie's Country.
OK, we're turning in then, Barry. What do you like?
Pride of Priory.
Yeah, he's absolutely cruising, isn't he? He's a horse that wants every yard of this chip, though, I think. What's this in the girls' colours? One Smooth Operator.
Is this Southern Voyage
Look
being
at
pulled
Joanna
wide,
Mason.
Dave, is it? No?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be Joanna Mason's, is it? Look at One Smooth Operator. This was the one they went for in the...
Southern Voyage on the outside?
No, he's absolutely gone Southern Voyage, I think. So this is Pride of Priory, the original favourite for the race. He's going to be too quick. This is William Aggies. This is going to be a double on the day. He's just too quick. I thought he needed a bit further. Kieran Schumacher, they were whooping, weren't they, I think, at Haggis's when they saw the jockey come out for that. That's why. Confident ride, absolutely flying, is a 4-year-old going places. Barry, you picked it out about 2 furlongs out.
Yeah, he was beginning to trade short at that stage as well. Dave, Betfair SP of 4.65. The Whipmaster traded a low 3.7. There was no real massive in-running stories.
Whipmaster was last down the fence early.
State of Bliss traded a low 4.7.
So, you called it, didn't you? You said they're going to get racing a bit too soon.
Well, I thought Frankie had a lovely trip, but...
I think that certainly the first two, or the first and the third, have been right out the back. Joanna Mason riding One Smooth Operator with loads of confidence. There was money for that chap, and you can see why there's going to be a race in that. They were a bucket of water over them 2 furlongs.
Schumacher's a lovely rider, isn't he?
Yeah, he's done really well here, isn't he? It was very, very confident ride.
Very smooth.
Yeah.
He didn't panic
panic.
at
I mean,
all.
that's got bundles in hand, though, hasn't it?
Yeah,
It has, yeah. But he's obviously the best. He's obviously the best horse in the race by some way.
Yeah. Angel Power's run all right, actually. I was just watching that underhand. He got stopped a little bit as well. I'm watching the finish. She's hanging in.
Oh, will you stop?
I don't know. Listen, I'm paid to look for eye
horse
catches.
fourth,
Look, it's
Dave,
running
is
on.
it?
It's running on, actually. I'll tell you
Because
what, I'm
the
going to back it
pace
next time because you
collapsed
said that.
Our horse was fourth, was it, Southern?
Was it? Was it fourth?
Was it fourth?
I'll tell you what, if he's finished fourth, he's run blinding. The engine's still there because he's just not settling with that cross noseband, didn't he? And he was lathered with sweat.
Only 2 Irish
so
horses
fair play,
there,
Oisin. You got the second. You've had a winner in the second in the last 2 races. I'll tell you what, when the radar's hotter, confidence is everything.
Will you go away?
Yeah. Pride of Priory beats Starging Thunder and One Smooth Operator. Now, I had the scores on the doors prior to that. Europe still lagging behind in 31. The girls' team is 39. Rest of the world 42, which means Great Britain and Ireland were leading the way on 60, and that's surely going up now, isn't it? Because that was Pride of Priory, wasn't it? We'll update it as soon as it comes through. But for those people that are actually betting on these things out there, we'll try and keep our eyes on it. It tells you, I think, who these horses were going for on the Racing Post website, or it did. Anyway, all right, that's Ascot gone. We are 15 minutes away from another group race. Some of you will be thrilled to hear. It's the Sweet Solera is the next race coming up at Newmarket. And there you go, Novakai then, very well back, once raced, once win. The same as well for Al Sayoub as well, who kills lights. We'll give him a work mode of that. I am surprised, Barry, that Lakota Suit is not clear favourite here in the 340 at Newmarket.
Yeah, third in the Cheshire, obviously. Novakai 3.45, 4.7 Lakota Sioux. Al Sayoub is 7.29 for Lady Alara. Ivory Madonna 10.5 and it's 17 bar. Modest Fort is 17.5. I like Lady Alara in it. Now, she's absolutely friendless in the market. She's out to 9.4, but she won in Newbury over 6 furlongs. The second has won since, and the fifth that they tried to carry his penalty, he was already a winner, or she was already a winner. Stepped up to 7 furlongs in Sandown. Was drawn 9 at 10 there, was third to Dancing in the Grass. Squeezed from room, a couple out and stayed on well towards the finish. But like I say, she's relatively friendless in the market. But what we're going to do here, we're going to back on the exchange win and place at 9.4. Again, happy to be a price taker here. So 25 quid win in the win market. And then we're going to look at the 3 places, just going to confirm that bet, and then tick over to the 3 place market where she's currently trading at the 7 to 4 mark, 2.7 to 2. Again, happy to be a price taker there. and we'll take that on Lady Alara. I think the 7 furlongs have proved no problem for, obviously, these 2-year-olds. Anything can take a massive step forward, and hopefully she's one of them.
Yeah, I had her in my trifecta. I've got to be honest, but I didn't have her on top. I covered that race in the Racing Post Analysis department at Sandown. It was won by a decent horse, wasn't it, I think? And she, like I said, she was on the inside, and she was keeping on. You probably would have marked her up a couple
little bit of
lengths.
traffic issues for her.
I think the two horses,
they pulled clear.
They're good horses, aren't they?
Yeah.
The Johnson filly.
Two nice types.
I'm trying to remember the sire of it. Come on, I'll get there in a minute.
Dance in
the Rain?
Dance in the Grass.
Dance in the Grass, there you go.
Fairy Cross.
Yeah, that's it. And Fairy Cross is the horse that I put up for Godolphin, and I still don't think that William can believe he got beaten on that. And then along comes this Johnson horse, who they mentioned at races like the Moyglare for it and things like that. But she was a bit of an eye catcher in that, I'll give you that. She's got a low draw here, which means she's more towards the centre of the course. In this race last year, Kills, you remember they hugged the far rail, didn't they? Wild Beauty, Majestic Glory and Value Theory.
Yeah, well, you never know what they're going to do.
You don't.
In small fields, where they're going to go. What is it with jockeys when they change their minds and decide where to go to?
Yeah.
Did you see the racing league the other night?
Yeah.
Now, the first 3 races on the straight course, they're won by horses that were on the far side of the pack. Yeah, the 4th race, the pace was on the other side, so the horse won from that side. And then in the 5th race, they all come over. Well, what's all that about?
We've tried to counsel him about this on various different...
It really fries him.
It does fry me.
See him in Royal Ascot when they come up the stand side.
I'll tell you, sometimes I do my own thing a little bit. If I'm on a horse that's quite keen and I want them to prick their ears in front, I'll try and find some space. But that is genuinely the main reason.
Yeah, because you did that in the Coventry last year, didn't you, when you made on the stand side?
Oh yeah, no, I had to do that because I was kind of drawn there, and then I just ended up going left. But I'll give you an example.
And everyone wanted to come up the stand side.
When I won the Falmouth on Voracious, the stalls were in the centre. I decided to go right out of the gate, and I was going to lead. And then I kept going right because I wanted her to keep pricking her ears. And then I had the rail to race against, so I could kind of have something to race with, and also get her attention off the other horses by having her head a little bit right against the fence. Does that make sense?
Yeah, over the rail, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Jockeys, they follow each other. But what you always say is look for where the pace is, don't you, basically?
Yeah. Well, when you're riding away.
So if one goes that way, you're going that way. And if one goes that way, you're going that way.
Sure.
Yeah, because they want to latch onto the pace, especially at Ascot. We're just waiting to see the Cambridgeshire winner here, actually, at
Are you on, Dave?
I am on. And it's gone...
Odds against now.
It's gone to a tasty price now.
Well, there should be odds against if it's going to win the Cambridgeshire.
6-4 on a little while ago, wasn't it?
Okay.
I'm slightly worried about it. Surely it
it's
beats...
drifting.
We're talking about Golden Voice and the 327 at Redcar. We obviously have all the racing on. We didn't see Go Bears Go, unfortunately, but we're just going to watch this
I've
one.
just seen that Oscula is running again.
Oscula is running again.
That's a tough mare,
yeah.
isn't
it?
Proper tough. The points tally. Drum roll, please. I can hear you all making the noise. Great Britain, 80 points now. It's all over, isn't it? By the shouting. Ladies are on the 49th. Rest of the world, 42. And Europe catching up a bit on 41 as well. They still plays plenty of points to play for, I suppose, aren't there? OK, let's hone back onto the Sweet Solero while I sweat it out at the 327 at Redcar. I spoke to Jockey about this last night as well. I said, "You're on the Cambridgeshire winner." He just sent me back 2 laughing emojis.
Yeah, well,
I sent him back a rocket and got silence. And it's drifting. I think this is... Anyway, I mustn't go on too much about this. Right, Novakai, Kills, are you with this or Al Sayoub? You're getting suckered into the once raced...
Well, the once raced, yeah, but I wouldn't bet on it. The once raced at 9-4. I mean, that's a fair gamble, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
but when the Burke 2-year-olds are back like this... They
generally win.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, if you read the comment from Ismail Mohammed, I mean, they obviously really like Al Sayoub as well.
Yeah,
we know she is class. We have a really good 2-year-old filly on our hands. We are happy to go for this Group 3. She's the best filly we got this year. I hope she can give us what we've been dreaming of. I mean, this is pretty bullish stuff from a trainer that does know what he's doing with his 2-year-olds. So I'm very, very interested in her at that sort of price. But obviously the money with the Burks know where they stand. Got some good 2-year-olds this year.
Yeah, when are we expecting to see
Dramatise
again? Is it non-talk now?
I think part of it, when it comes to later in the season with these, because a trainer's got some really good 2-year-olds, people get carried away with the other ones who haven't yet proved it, and that's what you're seeing in the price.
I'm trying to back this horse at Redcar, and anyway.
What are you trying to back it? It's evens.
It's fair to say. I managed to. Oh, it's weird Redcar, isn't it? Can I just talk to you about your record at Redcar?
Terrible.
3 from 33.
Yeah, it's shocking.
He wouldn't ride there much, would he?
You got some.
Well, I've had enough goes. I
Why
mean,
do they always go to the
10%
far?
is
Honestly, you get these forerunner fields. The far rail for the last couple of years has been huge there, according to jockeys anyway.
Right.
I won the jumps naps table a few years ago.
At Redcar?
Thanks to a nap at Redcar.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was coming into the spring. It was coming in the spring, and I was about £15 behind, and I put up this thing. That was about 22 to 1, I think it was, and it goes from
This
the
one
front.
should leave him spot on for the Cambridgeshire.
This is perfect.
And the trainer.
Saddle slip back, guys.
Has he?
Yeah.
This is perfect.
It
This
saddles
is golden.
halfway back on him. He gets beat.
What?
Yeah,
What
wins
do you mean the
nothing.
saddle's back?
The saddle slip.
You suggest Stevie Don, who's saddle slip, still wins.
Gone odds on in running, Dave.
No,
Has he?
gets beat.
He was on.
He's a very, very fast finishing
here
horse.
we
this.
go.
Come
Fast
on then,
finishing.
Golden.
Here we go.
Up you go, Golden.
He's not a fast
Here we
finisher.
go.
By
Come
line
on.
terror.
He's
Come on,
not-
Stevie.
he's
You
not
get
a
this
fast
done. Go
finisher.
and get this up, Stevie. Don't you dare get this beat. Oh, you're going to get beat. You.
Come by him.
There you go.
So I'll tell you what happened there, guys.
Friday.
They didn't go very quick early. Seven's too short. Needs a
Yeah,
step up in
7's
trip.
too short for sure. That still wins the Cambridgeshire.
Well, he didn't go by. The market spoke.
Lion Tower's a good horse. Let's talk to you about your record at certain tracks.
Okay.
I've got it up.
The good and bad ones.
Why don't you like the Curragh?
I haven't had a winner there. I think I left
never
one.
rode a
That is
the Curragh?
remarkable,
No.
isn't it?
You're kidding me.
No, I haven't.
3-time champion jockey has not ridden a winner.
I've
at
not
the
had a
Curragh.
lot of chances there, mind.
You told us you were going to win on Dragon Symbol last year.
Yeah.
In the Flying Five, but what's happened to him? He won at Hamilton.
He won at
What
Hamilton
happened
the other
stalls
day.
that day? No, did something?
Pardon?
What happened to Dragon Symbol?
Well, he banged his head in the
Oh,
gate
that's what
that
it
day,
was,
but
yeah.
I thought he'd be way too good for them, and he trained very well beforehand. No, I haven't had that many chances there.
In fairness, you're quite an annoying individual, Oisin, because
I'm terrible
I like
at
to play this
Pontefract.
game with jockeys that come on.
Pontefract?
You've definitely ridden a winner there, though.
Yeah, I have, but I'm shocking there.
I tell you what, some jockeys I can't.
I don't think I've ever ridden a
I can't
cat
actually
trick,
play
have
this
I?
game with a lot of them.
Ever
Have
ridden
you never
at
ridden a
Catterick?
cat trick before?
I don't think so.
What you got against that?
No, nothing.
You think you might get enlisted?
I guess
God,
so.
what, where can you see this? San Siro?
This is it's
Chocchio?
called Racehorse Interactive. I'll give you a copy of this.
It's
you
on- you can get it on here.
You've had 115 rides at Chartin.
Yeah, I thought I'd have more there, but
No,
how many winners?
3 winners.
That's shit.
Excuse
me.
It's usually Kealy I have to worry about on that front. Actually, this is, look, perhaps unsurprising. You don't like Thirsk, but you've only had 6 rides there, 0 from 6.
Well,
What's wrong
this
with Carlisle?
can't be correct.
Why not? Hang on.
Kyoto says
Yeah.
I've only had 2 rides there.
Well, it's probably the ones that we would cover in the
And
form book.
Nakayama 3 rides. That's incorrect. I have had
But this would be only
6
the ones
winners
that we...
in one day at Nakayama.
But that would be on the undercard, would it?
Well, there's 12 race cards.
So, yeah. So at the Breeders' Cup...
Our
there are only-
database will only have top races in it. It won't
That's
have all
it.
the.
So what we call form book races, we wouldn't pick them up, you know. So don't
And
feel
I've
like
had
done
winners
by.
at Moonee Valley. My first winner in Australia was at Moonee Valley.
But not on a race that we would pick up. If it's a Godolphin runner, we pick them up.
Okay.
Or because
I was
it's
getting
obviously of
excited
interest.
about those that kind of system, but now it's failing me.
No winners at
Don't you worry about
Thirsk.
that, we're fine.
No winners at Thirsk.
No, Thirsk is not a good track for Oisin, but he's only had 6 rides there.
Same
In
as- same
fairness,
at
Oisin,
Carlisle.
you have ridden a winner at a remarkable amount of tracks. You know where you've had almost double your winners or anywhere else?
Kempton.
Yes. Why is that? Just
It's all weather. It's the amount of racing, isn't it?
Yeah.
is that right?
It's just loads
And
of it.
it's always.
Is Windsor any
In
good to
fairness, you love an all-weather track. Windsor's another one. My favourite track. All right.
Where am I really poor?
Oh, I've just told
Newbury
you.
isn't
Curragh.
good enough.
Newbury not great.
Although I felt like I've ridden
This is
there
great,
okay
isn't it?
in the last few years, but just very bad in my first couple of years.
Didn't do very well at Jebel Ali.
I was very good at Jebel Ali.
You've had 8 winners there.
It's retained by Sheikh Ahmed.
Abu Dhabi, 3 from 7, pretty good. Cologne, they love
I've
you over
had
there.
50 rides at Abu Dhabi. Like, I don't understand this.
Because we don't pick them up. But
Well,
Redcar,
then stop reading out the ones you don't pick up.
but let me tell you, you are very, very good at winning. Okay, let me tell you where you've got your really good strike rates. Foss Lass. That was
No,
a
just tell me
worthwhile
the
journey.
bad ones.
Well, I have done the Curragh. Absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
Air, 30% strike. You won the Air Gold Cup, didn't you?
Yeah, but I haven't had any winners there. in
Highland
recent times.
Calori.
Yeah. No, but I haven't been great there recently.
It's in the old grey matter there. We're watching a race at Haydock Park where we wait for the Sweet Solera to come up, which looks like
I've won on a few
Is
of
this
these
Oscula
ones,
again?
Yeah, it's Oscula
She's not
again.
going to
Yeah,
do it. She's
super tough. I don't think she's beat
Rising
today,
Star.
but
Cornell
Right.
might do it. What's this?
Rising
Andrea.
Star, Andre.
Oh, yeah.
He is a class rider, guys.
You said that at the top of the
No,
show.
no, he
You've
is
been vindicated there.
savage rider.
People were scratching their heads like the foxes, but you've been proved right again.
Marco
Marco Botti. He's having a good season. Strike rate's healthier. Team of horses is better than the last couple of seasons. He's on his way back. I've got time for Marco Botti.
Okay.
I think with the price of his yearlings in the last couple of years that he's had to work with, he's overachieved.
All right. Okay. Well, but he has come back a bit this year, hasn't he? If you remember Euro Charlotte.
No, he's really overachieving with his current bunch of horses. He's had a winner at Newmarket as well today.
Was that? Yeah. Okay. Fine. So, all right, Marco Botti and Andrea Orzini then a team to follow. Now, Lakota Sioux is getting worryingly big here for me, Barry, because I think this will get the far rail and I think it will win. The windmill that is Lakota Sioux.
Yeah, Jesus, it really does do a lot of tail flashing. The filly, currently 4.7.
We love a filly that tail flashes.
Do you?
What, does it make him go faster?
It doesn't stop this one. At the
This
moment.
was the only filly in the Chesham, of course, and I thought she ran well. A lot of people said to me that the Chesham form is terrible, but Holloway Boy ran well at Goodwood.
But the collateral form hasn't worked out, has it really?
I don't know. They held her up, and
there's some that haven't run well. The Foxes has come out and won since.
the Foxes has come
Right,
out.
I
Because do remember that the horses, okay, it's more open now because the Sire and Dam qualify for the race.
Yeah.
But also a lot of those horses that are ready to go 7 furlongs at that stage go through weak phases and have periods where they might pick up little knocks and they're not at their best. They're not these ready-made 2-year-olds, they're horses of the future. So sometimes you will pick holes in the form, but long term, I expect the race to stack up pretty well.
Yeah. You could say that Ivory Madonna has some of the best form in the race with Meditate.
She's got the best form, I think. In
No,
the
she's
race.
still a maid. She got beaten a
but she
maid.
didn't look like she liked it here last time.
So why come back then, Kills? Because the Spencers.
Because it's a weak Group 3.
They again talk about a
you're dead
trainer
right.
that
An important black.
you talk about a trainer that overachieves. He can't have a lot of horses, Richard Spencer, can he? And
I'd say he's got 40. Yeah.
Yeah, he always seems to nick a group
Yeah.
race. Yeah, Sweet Harmony was a winner, of course, landed a gamble during the week with a 2-year-old, and Ivory Madonna, who was very disappointing here, I think we could say that. Was it the first race of the July?
I just didn't think she looked happy on the track early doors.
But she's got experience. Usually, the winners of this have 3 runs or more. The excellent Kevin Morley will tell you in his trends column this Saturday if you're reading it. On form, it's Lady Alara, it's Ivory Madonna, and it's Dakota Sioux.
Lady Alara, she's doubled in price. She's at the 12.5 now.
I don't like the.
Giving a bit of trouble.
Yeah, the
It's
Burke horse.
Novakai.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Which is, I have said to you yesterday, Kills, when we first started talking about this race, I've been suckered into some once raced, once won, up in grade, and the experience just gets to them. What are you smiling at?
Oh, because I hope this horse comes out and wins by
I knew you were going to do this. You're playing this game now.
There you go.
There's got some rivalry between me and Oisin.
She's gone in without him and he's jumped on now.
a little
She
bit
looks
hot
all
in
right,
there,
but
but-
she's a bit...
You're irked about the
She
red
was the
card.
same on her debut. It said on the post. It says she was playing up at the start on her debut.
The line of the afternoon will be, I rode a 6-timer at Nakayama.
Yeah.
The system says
Yeah,
nil
numbers-
points for
numbers all
Oisin.
He was reported on it at the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
it probably would have
mind,
done.
yes.
It would have been a headline, son. We could probably find it on the news archives, Kills, can't it? All right, good luck then, whichever way you decide to play. In the 340, the only race we're taking on the July course. How long have we got left of the July course? Another month or so? It's rolling miles soon, isn't it, for the future champions?
September, isn't it? Is it?
I don't know.
Sure. I don't know. I never know when it starts.
love
it's
the
called
July
the July
course.
course, but it
Yeah,
runs for
yeah.
4 months.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lovely place to go and watch racing. And this is the feature race there today. Will we see a future star? It's been a long time since a top filly won this race. Remember, like Certify won it a couple of years ago for Godolphin. But we've been scratching around a little bit.
What do you think? They come up the middle here? Because last year they went to the far side, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I wonder. I just can't remember whether the stalls were in the centre last year or not.
Yeah, you'd think they'd come up the stand side this time. Oh, shame.
Last
Did you
night
see
when I
where
was
Lady
watching it,
Alara
the
went to?
2-year-olds were going down the middle, and it looks like that's where they're electing to go. No surprise to see the windmill that is Lakota Sioux, and more prominently ridden under James Doyle here. But it is LCU bidding to do what she did for you, Kills, last time, and May Call at the track.
Yeah, I don't mind being in front of Newmarket, I must admit.
No, I agree with you.
Barry, the clock says 41 miles an hour. They're breaking it.
Yeah, Novakai 2.98. The clock is definitely broken. 4.2. Lakota
it doesn't
6.4. Alciob.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Ivory Madonna to better. They didn't go that quick here last time.
She's not enjoying it, though.
Chivvying it around, isn't she?
No, she did this last time.
Look at the Watford colours on Davina Grace on the far side. She's a player, I think. But at the moment, your eyes are definitely drawn to the stands rail because Dandy's alleys for Beckett and Hornby coming up there.
Too early. Yeah, so they've gone too fast.
And look at Doyle, he knows, doesn't he? Look,
trying
here we
to
go.
hold on.
Come on then, the tail switcher.
Huey
Here
Morrison.
it comes. Here she comes. This is all over, surely, isn't it?
Morrison's
Come
gone,
on, I got a
okay.
good price
Huey
about this.
Morrison's, yeah.
Huey Morrison's
Hang on a
gone,
minute.
okay.
Get out of the way.
Money's
You're
for-
desperate for this to come, aren't you? Look at this, drifting all the way to the stand side in a total repeat of what happened last year, but it's the wrong
Hornby
way.
stays
Whoa,
going.
it's got a little bit tight there because Dandy's alleys. She's just dossing in front this, isn't she? She's got the best
at the
form.
tail.
Look at the tail on this.
No,
My
she's
a bit of a
Lord.
madam. She's
She's
a
just
madam.
going quicker though.
she's
James
fine.
Doyle's enjoying it. Aye. Dave Orton got it right in the sweet Solera somehow. What a messy race that is, like a broomstick
Guys, Hornby was impeded there twice.
on Dandy's alleys.
Yeah, he was beaten 3/4 of a length. It's very hard for them to really look at that. Yeah,
She's a
3/4 of a
madam,
length.
isn't she?
But-
She'd sour. More racing she gets, the more she'll sour.
Yeah.
Looking at that, I couldn't have her.
Well,
She
she's
has the
jobbed up
size and
now.
scope to train
Ooh.
on, but not the mentality.
That's
Yeah,
their
when she
fourth
hit
win
the
of the
front, she-
decade, the stable of the Sweet Solera. Talented horse, obviously, as we saw.
I
Third
wonder
from
what the
Cheshire.
stewards will say. That's just
And
interesting.
yeah, so look,
They
we'll
can't
keep an eye on that.
overturn it, but I just,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, what can they do at the jockey? Who they say? Did you see what she's like?
yeah.
Hornby versus Doyle in the
What do you think
in
I
the
could do?
stewards.
No, they're both fair players. I don't think
40
there'll be
from 60
fireworks.
for the Oaks.
For the Oaks.
Madness.
now we are aligned.
She's by Sioux Nation. How can you quote her for the Oaks?
Well, she's a Dally.
Delete that email, Barry.
Lucky she's
If
not
our
in the trade.
traders looked at the breeding of every horse and didn't quote off the back of the breeding, there'd be very few in the market.
Yeah, she's out of Daliconi Mare. Actually, in all seriousness, if you look to her pedigree, she's half sister to Mile 7 winners, actually. So it's there. There's loads of stamina on the dam side. But Sioux Nation, we see this, don't we, with Muharaz, for example, that stay further.
No, Muhara is just in his own.
Is it just
don't
What,
talk about
forgetting with a
Muhara?
bit of...
Forgetting staying horses.
No, never can be a bit like that as well, can it? Which reminds me, we're half an hour away from the mini classic that is the Phoenix Stakes.
Has None never ever had a winner further than a mile?
Give me a minute, because this correct database is about to tell you. Bear with me. Keels, pick it up.
I mean, maybe.
There's a dangerous.
Maybe I can't get to
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I
bet you he has.
I mean, he almost certainly has. But I mean, you know, he's not. You know,
He's by Scat Daddy, isn't he? Of course,
Yes.
the late Scat Daddy was a big loss, that, wasn't it? Yeah, I can tell you that he's had 2 winners over a mile 6.
it. Right.
You're going to rubbish this as well, aren't you, in a second? But if you look at these are the percentages. Obviously, 16% I'm showing Oisin here.
No, but his most runners are
Yeah.
over 6 furlongs.
They are. And he's
then
got
his-
15% strike
Yeah,
rate.
so sprint to a mile is his distance. The rest are just wannabe racehorses
Free
that
courses.
step up in
Yeah.
distance.
Oh, but it does happen with these sprinters that you see. Oasis Dream, you always see John Gosden talking about how if he's out of a certain mare, they're never worried about the staying with that chap. You know, he was a miler back to a sprint as well. You're smiling at me. You think I've got it totally wrong?
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, of course you do, Oisin. It's because he doesn't like the red card thing. I know. It's
It's nothing to do with red car. It's
You
all
were
the tracks.
you were thrilled
I'm
my
bad at.
Cambridgeshire hope got beaten.
Tursk, I'm equally as bad.
You've got to pronounce it if we can ride there.
that's why they all do it.
Wonderful stuff. Look, we're having great fun, and look, it's a long show this afternoon. You knew a bit of banter was going to be coming out, and we all love it here. Myself, Dave Orton, Oisin Murphy on the show, Paul Kealy, who's having a day of days, along with Barry Orr. Shall we get back to the next race, guys? I am on a quick double and loving life all of a sudden, and I'm hoping for one here, Barry, the same as you in the 355.
Yes, we're both in the same horse, aren't we? But Monasab is probably the best backed horse of the day, 2.3 now, so 11 to 8. You can see the case for him stepping up to a mile, but the price for me, way too short. Isla Kai 5.3, and it's 12 bar, would you believe? Bo Pedro 12.5, 15 Jungle Cove for Emma Jane Wilson, and it's 16 bar. So I like Jungle Cove. He's a bit of a schoolmaster because Dylan Kidd has rode him twice, £10 claimer. He was last turned into the straight in one of the premier handicaps in Leopardstown and won. He went to a decent race in Garin after that and finished second.
He likes Garin, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
there.
So I just thought at the price at around 16 mark, 15.5 at the moment.
Massive price.
We're going to look to back it at 16, and we're going to look to have 25 in the win market. Good to see Jessica Harrington bring a couple of horses over for this.
And the Racing League, of course.
And the Racing League, yeah. And 4 places as well, currently trading at 6 to 4. We're going to have 25 quid there as well to cover our stake in the win market. The 4 places there. It's also 4 places on the Betfair Sportsbook. But Jungle Cove for me.
Jungle Cove for me as well. You got time to watch back in your members club. The run at Garin last time, an horse called Sharp Bay basically kept bumping it like a dodgem all the way up in the final furlong. Really not sure how that wasn't reversed. Last off the bridle. Can just see under Emma Jane Wilson. Stall 5 on the round course. This sets up perfectly. He's had loads of runs, this chap, but he's obviously in a very, very good place, I think, at the moment. He'll do for me. Round course. Montasib. Obviously, William Haggis' horses, he's on the treble. Punters are now probably got multiples. They're all thinking Haggis just goes and wins everything. Todd Hope is on. He's ridden this chap on his debut. I can imagine all the jockeys having a bit of banter about that. Hang on a minute. This is you would be having banter about that in the weighing room. He's drawn 11 of 11 on the round course over a mile.
Yeah, I think that'll be fine.
You do?
Yeah, genuinely. Yeah. I think Danny is an intelligent enough rider that he'll work it out.
10 runners. It's
not a massive field, you know.
Oh, I'm not so sure about it.
It's certainly not an advantage.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and he's short now, isn't he? But I mean, when William Haggar's never out of form, is he?
No.
Ever. Like, you know, his strike rate is just so consistently solid, and he's having winner after winner.
The yard back one like this.
They generally win.
They generally
Very
win.
rarely leave it behind.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I get on the wrong end of them because I just can't have them when they're that short.
Those prices, yeah.
Like, you know, so I'll be tempted. I'm getting tempted to lay. But what I have done is I've backed Bo Pedro, win and place. I thought he's run 2 perfectly good races on the straight course here in the last 2 runs. One in the Hunt Cup, one in the race won by Tempest on King George Day. Finished 3rd, finishing strongly. Yeah. Probably needs a decent pace to run at, but that was only his first run for David O'Mara because he'd obviously switched from Ireland. I think he's going to be a big player.
All right, good stuff. Right, guys in the studio, I'm trying to talk to you on the thing. I have to do it on the camera. Where's the socials? Keep them coming in. Let's hear what people are thinking about this. How are you doing? Is anyone on the silver saddle? Who's leading that at the moment? Who's got the team? Or are you just thinking this is another one for Haggis in the bag? Stall 11 of 11. Oshin tells you that's not a problem for Montasib, who went, I think we can say, he was a bit of an eye-catcher, wasn't he, behind Inver Park at Royal Ascot, and then wasn't seen to best effect in the Bunbury Cup. As you said, it's too short. You like one against him. Are you going Fav or...?
No, I think the favourite wins.
Favourite wins. I guess if you've got Frankie on your inside on Isla Kai, a horse that likes to be up there, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, hopefully Frankie will take me into a good position, or...?
Yeah, I think Danny will be riding this fellow with a lot of confidence. Things are going well for him and for the trainer. I don't think he'll feel any pressure to have a plan. I think he'll let instinct take over and wherever he's happy.
All right, okay, no problem. So why is it that Danny Tudhope rides Ascot so well?
He's a clever rider that I think, you know, has a seat.
Does patience come into it?
Well, he's just intelligent. He can go forward as well. He has a seat at the top table. I rate him very highly.
Okay, that's interesting.
He had a great Royal, hadn't he?
He does every year, though.
He does?
Yeah, he for some reason, those big field races, he can get in the right place a lot of the time, doesn't he? You know?
All right, I'll talk some socials out then at this point. Nestor says some good horses in this race. The Dakota Shoe showing her class, they say. Sam, you're with me. Happy days. Wakey, wakey, sunshine. Right, here we are. Sam Caney. Sam, me and Sam know each other. Great to hear from you out there, and great to hear from Oshin, says Sam. Great insight. Great panel with Kills and Barry today. Thanks, Sam. Absolutely love it. What have we got coming in?
He's
Charles
a producer,
Carter.
isn't he, Sam?
Not quite yet. Horses drawn 10, 11 and 12 in this race. In 6 places, 3 winners. OK, what do you mean, 6 places, 3 winners? Let me see exactly what you mean by that. Do you mean that the wide draw is often...
Well, it means it's OK. It means it's only, you know...
Charles, I seem to think, often comes in with stats.
Well,
Charles, great to
there's
have you
only
back on
10,
the
but there's 12 draws, obviously, because there's reserves.
2 reserves.
Of course, and Wheel comes back in. Of course, it is 10. Yeah, Montasib, my nap of the day, along with Oshin, you say just wins. Will, good luck for you out there.
Yeah, but the official numbers,
love it. All right, okay, what have we got going on then? Kills, remind us of your tip in this.
I backed Bo Pedro winning place.
Yeah, that's it. Now, I looked at Bo Pedro because I wanted to believe in it. You see Spencer, you see O'Mara, you see a horse that they picked up that's got a fourth at Ascot last time. I wasn't convinced. It was behind Tempest last time, wasn't it?
It was a good race.
I wanted to see him stay on a bit. You know what I mean? I wanted to see a bit more.
He stayed on strong enough for me.
He's got loads of runs to him as well. It's almost
Yeah,
a
he has.
weird bite, isn't it?
Yeah. But they're very good at getting these older horses. The O'Mara.
Yeah. How much did they pay for him? Because he ran in that cup.
Was it about 80? Was he? He wasn't cheap, given that he's a 6-year-old.
Yeah, he was just behind Isla Kai and Tempest, of course.
Yeah, he was 80,000 guineas.
Yeah, it's a strange buy, isn't it? Oh, I say strange buy. We're talking, telephone digits for horses these days.
No, but they do well with yards they pick with horses. With older horses, they pick up off other yards, don't they?
Well, Lord Glitters was the template for a lot of them, wasn't it?
So they've seen something they like.
Where did Lord Glitters come from? France?
Yes.
Okay, he did, and of course he took his time to warm up in Balmorals and things like that, doesn't it? But
well, you say that it was his second run for Dover Moore was in the Balmoral. It was a massive. I'm pretty sure it was his second run for him. It was a massive eye catcher the time before.
Yeah.
Was there an inquiry in Newmarket? Do we know?
Was there? Must
Didn't
have
see
been,
one.
wasn't there?
Didn't see one.
Is it too early for them to put it up on the website?
I shall have a look now. Because they're going to type it. I'm often waiting for this. I'm like, come on, I want to go on. And they're just like, and it takes forever. Don't go there, and they often get the horse.
Is he the only pace angle in the race, Isla Kai?
Isla Kai is obviously the pace angle, isn't he? Frankie from the front.
Yeah.
Frankie's still waiting for that big fish.
He could steady them right up.
Imperial Sands is a pace angle as well.
Is he?
Why is Frankie so good from the front? That's another question I should ask.
He's got incredible hands.
That's interesting.
What does that mean?
As in, he tends to get horses to relax. He finds a happy medium where he's not. He tends not to get in a fight with them, and as a result, horses conserve energy. And then
jockeys, is that something that's inherently a talent of a jockey, or do they learn that during their career?
I think you can improve a little bit, but some riders are more natural than others, and the more you force things, often the less successful you are at them.
Did you ever pony ride?
I did. I rode in pony races in Ireland, but I picked up a lot of
Derby this weekend.
Yeah, I had lots of winners there actually, but I was always on the fastest
Dingle,
horses.
isn't it?
Dingle, it's on this weekend. It's on today.
Yeah,
and yesterday.
My father bought me horses that had won races, proper races to go pony racing with, so I had an unfair advantage.
Right. You just had to stay on, did you?
Basically, point and steer.
Steering job. Yeah. Okay. All right. What have we got here then? They're ambling their way down to the start. Then, of course, this is on the round track and evens on track again. Barry, this is a little bit like the Haydock race we saw in Grocer Jack and Anmar. It's just 2 bars.
This is the best backed horse of the week.
Is that right?
Bar none, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this was a 3-1 chance. 11-4, 5-2.
I've got to say, I'd be a layer at this price.
You'd prefer to be a layer and a backer than evens. He's going to go odds on the show now because he's heading towards evens on the exchange. He's 11-10 on the exchange. Isla Kai holding his price well, 4.1.
Yeah, Nigel Tinker would have been very happy if Frankie came in. He's brilliant. He thinks he's really, really good. Yeah. Every time we get in a social situation with Nigel Tinker, it's
he's a lad, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They all know how to make it count. That's for sure. And in all seriousness, he's a trainer that I quite like to follow. When he's hot, and he does know how to get the best out of his horses. I think he's always got a couple of good 2-year-olds. He wins a big sprint every year, and Isla Kai is the one that they're waiting to come good. Now, Stall 10 probably not ideal because he will be looking for the front. But he's a course and distance winner. He's danced some proper dances.
I don't have an issue with Stall 10 because Imperial Sands will do the work. Drawn 12 to help cross the field. And I don't think there'll be that much pace pressure inside him, to be honest. The great gauging can be very keen. I'm sure Roger Varian has suggested to Karen McAvoy to take a sit on them. Many of the other horses will be taking a sit also. Via Serendipity will take his time. I don't think they'll have to work that hard to cross.
Okay, all right. Let's get another social up. I believe they're all
just to argue with you, just to
No, it's a good insight. Good insight. Yeah. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. When you want to get the lead, you really have to get it after them.
Sometimes, but some horses naturally just jump and you can
quick,
stay out. And
well,
the guys,
Super Jack, you're not going to be leading on, are you? You know that.
And the fellas inside, might have been told, "Oh, we want you to take a sit," and then you get crossed by one, and they take a pull, and then you end up maybe leading without doing any work at all.
Getcha.
You know?
Right, yeah.
A lot of people saying that this is just a haggis factor in the chat, but Nestor comes back on. He's been with us all afternoon, assuming you're here, of course. I've taken I believe you're taking on Oisin's tip here, Nestor, have you? Putting my money on Frankie, Isla Kai. Let's go! Well, you'll be thrilled to know that after this next social, they're going Andy Sim, one of our regulars. Lexington Dash eats way for me. We all know Lexington Dash. Anthony Fraser, do you know this giant?
Antonio Fraser, yeah. Done very well in Dubai, just got married.
John McConnell, we've seen him with a few flat
He's
runners.
an ex-Hannon horse.
Yeah, we saw him
He
in the
won
sprint the other
he
day.
won a handicap in Ferryhouse that hasn't worked out.
He had a
at
run
all.
him in the Stewards Cup, didn't he, John McConnell? Do you remember that
Yes,
last week?
that was a first. He had only just got that out of another
There's a
yard as
plan
well.
for that horse, isn't there?
Well, this is an ex-Richard Hannon one, but the handicap that it won in Ferryhouse hasn't worked out.
Okay, good luck with that, Andy. Good luck with that, Nestor, as well. Good luck wherever you're playing. You had a word from Radana to me yesterday as well, didn't you?
Yeah, just it's come
They're
off.
often
It's an
long.
8-year-old, but he's come off a career best.
Imperial Sands has pushed up to go forward. Frankie's obviously leading up early. He's
Now,
decided
this is
to
interesting,
stay
actually,
out.
because he's keeping him wide, of course. He just wants a clear run to that bend, doesn't he?
Yeah,
basically?
and Imperial Sands looks like he's going to take a sit in third. They've actually gone a gallop through the first furlong, in my opinion. Frankie gave Isla Kai a kick out, which
He's
was
responded.
interesting. He's running a bit too generously. He's a
Yeah.
little bit keen, but let's see if he can slow down a fraction.
Well, this is where those hands come into it, isn't it? As I
Yeah.
often do on the bridle. creepily.
Chalier is sat second.
Yes, a
the
horse
mare
that-
has a nice
Yeah,
sit.
he's gone fast before Chalier.
Yeah, I hovered over him because it's O'Mara's second time out and the mare's on him,
I'm
of
actually
course.
surprised Nicola wasn't more forceful early on Imperial Sands, and I don't want her to be stuck 3 deep, and she's just accepted that. She didn't need to be stuck wide. She had a chance earlier to get in. Now she's one off the fence. Maybe she has taken a good sit.
Look at the fav.
Frankie's going to want to fill up for a bit longer.
I'll tell you what, the fav's got a bit to do here, guys, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Jungle Cove's going well, Barry.
Yeah, she travels okay.
Real
in the
good
air, so it'll be
travel, Jungle
interesting.
Cove.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Come on, Emma Jane. I'll tell you what.
I'd like her just to travel into the race and
They're
not
duelling
panic
up
just
front.
yet.
Great Gadian on the inside for Karen McAvoy. Can't get a run. I'll tell you what, look at Jungle Cove here. She's such a strong bridle
Five
truck.
wins nothing.
Come on, the
Five's
Cove.
on Jungle Cove.
She just travels. Come on, you need to find, girl.
Come on.
Favourite struggling. Come on, Emma Jane Wilson.
Go on,
The
Emma.
Queen of Woodbine. Got Danny Tudhope on her back. This is the Jungle Cove. The Maltese on the move.
Aye,
with the
aye.
Gadian on the inside. Aye, aye, Jungle Cove. Great to see. The Canadian
Aye, aye,
Queen,
little
Emma
Daisy.
Jane Wilson. We're back up and running. Happy days. If you watched that run last time, she was really unlucky not to win. She's just a strong travelling horse. It all went perfectly. She delivered. The favourites, I think, not even placed, guys. If you placed like that, you've had an absolute touch.
Favourite's fourth.
Yeah, that's with Dana in second, by the way, boys.
Is it? Ran a belter there for Keels. On the inside, Great Gadian. Karen McAvoy didn't get a run for a while. I wouldn't say he's unlucky, but it probably cost him a length, I think, on the inside. Talk about the fab now, Oisin. It's right on at the tail of the winner.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, from there you could say, if it was second, might have been a fraction unlucky, but came under pressure early, tried to hang in at the bottom of the straight. I don't know, tried to hang in there again. Maybe Emma came out a little bit. We're not being that kind to the horse, but that was disappointing. God, Emma Jane Wilson has a tight hold of them, and she rides very far up the saddle, really across their shoulder, which is a strange style, but she's very strong and been incredibly successful in her trips to Ascot for this event.
That's her fourth winner at the Shergar Cup. She created a real stir when she came over a couple of years ago. She's a tough cookie, I can tell you that much. I watched quite a few races around Woodbine when he likes yourselves go over there, and she's all the undercard and things like that. She's always winning races over there. There's the multi then. 2 in then. Anmar, one pretty much on the bridle, confirmed himself a group horse going places. Lady Alara not so good in the 340. Jungle Cove gets the job done.
Betfair SP at 21.
Happy days.
And we're
I hope you judged on that on your podcast.
17-2 and
That's
on the
remarkable,
sportsbook,
isn't it?
Which is obviously the exchange is a win-only market, but because the favourite was so strong,
absolutely. Yeah, of course.
they backed the
Everything.
favourite to the exclusion of everything else.
Well, they're back to first and
Well,
second.
the first two in
favourites.
the market to the exclusion of everything else. Yes. So
how are you all getting on out there? Let's have a look. Tom Mitchell, how are you getting on? Oisin's brilliant. He should be on every week. Should we sign you up?
I'd love to be, but I'm afraid all the punters would be broke if they were listening to me too.
I don't know about that, Oisin. I'm not sure about that because we are at the moment, guys. I told you, going through the card. The panel is on a right royal Saturday, and absolutely Barry having some afternoon, very much so. Notice how I've been jumping on those winners, of course, as well. All right, brilliant stuff. What a day, Tom also says for Barry. Well done, pal. Okay, keep your selections coming in. Great to have all the numbers out there watching us. This is what they call the holiday season out there, and it's why the Shergar Cup sits on this day. But I don't know, even Kills, you've been enjoying it today, haven't you?
Not since the max we can. It's all gone quiet over here. I'm going to get miserable soon if I don't get another minute.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I'm messing with you. No, I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, guys, we are 10 minutes or so away from definitely one of the races of the weekend. We've got the Prix de Geese tomorrow, of course. Perfect Power comes out to play again. Artorias tomorrow. That's a great sprint in France at Deauville. But this is an absolute belter coming up. And Oisin painted his colours early. On one of them, you've got time to let us know what you think. Barry, I felt sure that Bradsell would be usurped by favouritism by Little Big Bear. Not the case.
Yeah, when we first went up with this race on the sportsbook, Little Big Bear was 15-8 and it was 9-4 Bradsell. Now Bradsell is currently 2.38, so he's an 11-8 chance. Little Big Bear is 2-1. Persian Force 5.5. Shartash is 16.5 and 90 Apache Outlaw. That's really dismissive of his chances, 90. He's definitely no 90 chance. You could back him in the place market in the 3 places he's currently trading at 6 Apache Outlaw. I'd fancy him to be in the first 3. I was going to lay Bradsell or back Apache Outlaw. That was the way I was playing the race because Little Big Bear, it's a home game for him. I think Persian Force has improved since Ascot. Shartaj is not without a chance either. But I don't think I just can't get by the Apache Outlaw in the 3 place market. So we're going to have 25 quid on Apache Outlaw in the 3 places. Not that far off Shartash last day in the Anglesey. And, 5 of them here are last time out Group 2 winners. Like, it's a quality race. It's probably the best 2-year-old race we're going to see all season. It's not one to really have a strong opinion in. I don't think anybody can have a strong opinion in it. They're all quality horses and there's not a whole lot between them.
I tried to stir the pot earlier by dismissing horses and etc.
Well, that's why we want you on this panel, Oisin.
But
you basically said the Little Big Bear was a freak and he couldn't win.
He's a big price Persian Force, isn't he?
Yeah, Ammo are on the scorecard today.
I got to be honest, I'm against him.
Why?
Here we go. I'm not doing this on purpose. I think he got beaten by Bradsell. I know he was second to him in the Cambridgeshire, in the commentary, sorry. I think he went and won. Why didn't Little Big Bear turn up that day? I know they said it's a ground, but it was a weird defection, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm unsure.
He just did what he had to, okay? He's shown his hand a bit more, I think. Certainly than Bradsell so far. The commentary form's obviously stacking up.
Yes.
I don't like his draw in stall 1. I know it's a small field,
but
I'm pretty sure they're going to hug the rail, aren't they?
Are they?
I think
they generally do.
They generally do. And I'm against Persian Force, who you like.
Yeah. Why wouldn't Persian Force maybe lead?
Has he led?
Not really, but he's been up sides in front.
Who does lead?
There isn't a natural funner.
Do you think it would have been Blackbeard?
It. Maybe.
It would have been Blackbeard, I think. He's got an allergy.
I don't expect Little Big Bear to lead.
He is the one that I like. I think he's a freak, and you don't like him as well. So there is a head-to-head
Why is he
going
a
on
freak?
there. You called him a freak earlier. You said he's a bit freaky, didn't you?
No, I said
he was
quite
talking
hot.
about the non-runner, Blackbeard, wasn't it? He can get a bit.
No, I'm sure you said something about Little Big
Bear. I said
Bear.
he can get quite hot, not a freak.
He can get quite hot.
Apache Outlaw could lead.
Could he?
Yeah.
Outsider.
The SPs of this in the last 10 years, because you're trying to knock it out of the park with one you think is overpriced, no horse bigger than 10-1. Actually 12-1, sorry, Ebro River last year. Pedro the Great, you remembers him? I don't.
Yeah, he was by Henry the Navigator.
He was out of
Glatterson.
I really don't remember. That's great memory, Oisin.
Just check he was out of Glatterson. Can you check?
God, blimey, hang on a minute. All right, let's have a look at his pedigree. Yes, he was.
Which makes him closely related to Giants Causeway.
Wow, there you are, Pedro the Great. I've forgotten about him.
Sudaman in Bloodstock Destiny.
Yeah. But this is usually a proper race, of course. Lucky Vega won it last year. Who was Lucky Vega against? Who was favourite that day? I seem to remember someone. St Mark's Basilica was beaten in the race last year.
The Learjet ran it.
The Learjet was in it. Under an Oisin, not you.
Oisin Orr.
Any relation? I have to ask. Dick Whittington, 2014. Air Force Blue, who you remember held everything before.
Yeah,
he
what was
a
Air
2-year-old.
Force Blue by?
Oh, jeez. You obviously know
Warfront?
this question.
I'm guessing. I'm asking.
It is Warfront,
Yeah, he would
which
be,
you
yeah,
well
wasn't
know,
he?
Murphy.
He was very good when he won at Newmarket as a 2-year-old.
He just didn't grow, did he?
He did.
Did he?
Yeah, plenty big enough, but maybe he just didn't want to know too much at 3. I
Oh,
don't
you
know.
think it was a head thing?
Maybe.
Is he a sire now, Air Force Blue? Don't see much of him.
I think
do
he
you?
is.
Is he?
They don't have many of them, do they? There's Warfronts after, no?
Caravaggio, 2016, won this at 8s on. Who did he beat that year, Caravaggio?
Declaration of War has been relocated as well.
Has he? He's Warfront, isn't he? Declaration of War, obviously, but it's all
He won the
fast
Judman
ground, isn't it?
International.
Yeah, blimey. All these horses sort of underwhelm me a little bit. Caravaggio beat a nothing field. Medicine Jack was in third. Courage Under Fire.
What was Medicine Jack by? Choisir.
Come on, hang on a minute. You're really flexing your muscles now, aren't you? Hang on a minute. Hang on.
I think he only asks questions that he knows the answer to.
Well,
Yeah,
he's one of these
one
annoying
of them,
people.
isn't he? Yeah.
Did you buy Medicine Jack or
No.
something? Did you? Hang on a second. He was Equiano.
He's got one
Now
wrong.
we'll retire.
Got one wrong.
Enough gloating.
Oh, he's a real Kerry man.
Yeah. Lucky Vega and Air Force Blue are the only horses that have not run more than 3 times. So look, you say there's not a lot between the fields. Siskin, of course, won it. Advertise won it for Martin Mead. Sioux Nation, who we've mentioned quite a lot on the show so far. And Ebro River, who came good in a listed race
Ebro
at Chester.
River,
He won at Chester the other day.
That was madness, wasn't it? He did a horse that just looked like he'd totally gone.
Galileo Gold.
I'm against Bradsell and I'm against
Who's
Persian
Galileo
Force.
Go Boy?
Paco Boy.
No. Galileo Go Boy, Paco Boy?
Yeah.
Is he?
No.
Hang on a second.
Not Paco Boy, really?
Flexing my muscles.
No, I don't think he's Paco Boy, is he?
don't
I know
hang on a
everyone
minute.
thinks he's Galileo because he's called Galileo Go, but he's definitely not a Galileo. I thought he was... No, not Paco Boy.
It's a race between me and Kills to see who can get it first.
Where's the pedigree?
He's by
Paco Boy.
Paco is one of those.
Paco Boy.
And he, of course, out of a Galileo mare. We're sort of playing the pedigree game here because Oshin.
He knows them all.
Yeah. This is one of the races where you probably wouldn't
Do you
have
not
ridden
studying
them, of course.
the stud book at home?
No, because I have the Global Stallions app on my phone.
Is that what it
And
is?
it's free.
And what, every time there's a winner, you...
So I just try and, like, when I'm forgetting things, try and read it like
To
3
keep yourself
times
in the
a day.
game.
Yeah. And tell me,
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
find that certain sires put a real stamp on their progeny?
Yeah.
Like, is there certain horses like that you'd see and you'd say, geez, he's really...
Like Dubawi, for example. Nearly all of them have that bottom lip that's hanging down and walk a little bit like not that athletic, but by God they gallop as a rule. Kingman comes in all shapes and sizes. Very hard to spot which one's by Kingman.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I always get excited when I see one by Kingman.
Yeah,
coming
he
out.
covers a lot of good mares, I
Yeah.
suppose.
All right, okay. Let's go then. All right,
What's
what
the
have
best
we got
Frankel
coming
you've
up?
ever ridden?
I don't think I've ridden that many good ones.
What, they're all good, aren't they?
No, I just haven't ridden like many. Do
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? I can't think of one really.
So Persian Force wins. Persian Force by...
Memas.
Yes, of course. Who you said disappointed at Ascot and then went and mopped up the rest of them, didn't he?
I think he was 105 grand yearling or 110.
I love how you're testing yourself again. There's 225. You're slipping.
God. Now we'll retire again.
We
This is
think
supposed to be a racing show, and all we're talking about is pedigrees now.
that's because you're
It's an important part of the show.
That's because you're here. And you're testing yourself again. But of course, we're coming up to 2-year-olds now. We're talking about future stallions and who is the best bred horse in the race. Who is the best bred horse in the race? Probably Little Big Bear, isn't it? I mean, this is why I
And
think
the
he's-
Aga Khan horse,
never,
really.
isn't he?
this is why I think he's a freak. Because if you look at the pedigree,
But listen, 2 seconds. If the Aga Khan horse wins Shartash, then he is a stallion. He will retire to stud.
and
He's an
he's out of a
invincible
bearing
spirit.
mare.
Yeah.
His arc is related to Arkwood.
Yeah.
You know, it's all there, isn't it? She won over, listed race over a mile 2. So you're thinking about the Windsor Castle winner, and yet he could quite easily be a Guineas horse. This is weird. We're used to these Phoenix 2-year-old sprints now producing middle part winners, Commonwealth Cup winners, right? It's
Yeah.
been a long time since we saw a 2-year-old sprinter have legitimate claims of winning a Guineas. Well, and the last time I saw him run, I went, that actually could be a Guineas horse. And
Who did you say that about?
Little Big Bear.
Yeah, I was the same because he had gone from 5 furlongs back up to 6.5 furlongs.
And we were getting quotes, weren't we? And people
Yeah.
were going, "That's ridiculous. He's not going to, he's probably the Commonwealth Cup horse of the future." But let's get a social up on screen. Let's keep coming back in. We'd love to hear from you out there and who comes back on. Let's have a look. It's going to be, drum roll, Andy Sims comes back on. Go Bears, go 1. Need Little Big Bear for the double.
Oh,
the
best of
Bears
luck,
double.
Andy.
Best of luck. One more coming up. Maxine Leroy comes on. Pedigree is the most interesting, so you're enjoying it, see?
Yeah,
Thanks,
there you
Maxine.
go.
You've got some educated viewers out there. Let it not be said. This afternoon, Maxine, hope you're enjoying the programme. Who wins the Phoenix? We've got 5 minutes basically into it. We're just watching some action here at Haydock Park as they go through. But Keels, let's hear it from you. You like Chartash, don't you? What a price that is!
I think Chartash is a big price. I'm looking at the front of the market and thinking they're both a little bit too short. I don't think there's that much. I think they're in the right order, but not necessarily as far clear as they're showing there. I mean, we're talking about 2-year-olds who can all improve at different rates and sometimes in big leaps. Oisin tells me that Chartash isn't big enough.
Tiny, I think was the word he said.
So I don't know. Did you have to be a really big horse to be good?
No, you do not.
No, absolutely.
But, I just like the attitude. I like the attitude he showed when he won the Anglesey. So at that price, I'm going to have a tiny bet on him.
Is it telling that Bradsell is so short here? Is it telling?
I don't know. I mean,
because I thought I can't believe they've not gone for a Little Big Bear to the point he's a market leader here. I thought he's the one they went for at Royal Ascot, right? He was their first winner of the week. And
it would sow a little seed of doubt in my mind that Little Big Bear's not going off favourite.
Agreed. It's doing that
Up
to
the
me
Curragh.
as well. Exactly. It's doing it to me as well. Ryan's installed 2, so he's going to have to take.
And Ryan Moore said in his blog, which you can read exclusively on betting.betfair, that he wouldn't have minded if he had a rode the other one that they pulled out, Blackbeard.
Okay.
He said there wasn't that much between either of them.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
you never like to hear that, do you? Cause
Not really. Not really. Not really.
You haven't got two absolutely
They've had
top-class horses.
some of the late maturing types are starting to come out, aren't they? Of course, what was that thing that flopped in the Cheshire, which seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? What was the horse that?
The Australia horse.
Yeah,
last year, Points London.
No. This season.
This
the one that was there this season, the one that was supposed to win, Alfred Munnings.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He won at Leopardstown.
God knows where that came from, but I found it. But they had a Denmark in the week.
Denmark in the week, they'd won today in the first race that we saw, Salt Lake City. Al Rifa won the race, but I'd say he's one to keep on the right side of Salt Lake City.
Hans Andersen looked good, didn't he?
Yes,
but
that Al Rifa
he
beat Al Rifa last day, yeah.
We're waiting for them to get up. Of course, they've got that decent filly as well. Who's the filly that was going to go to the Albany and stayed at the Curragh instead? Statuette?
Yes.
She's decent as well. A quote from Jesse Harrington as we wait for the 2-year-olds at the Curragh to go in. Jungle Cove is a star. Unsurprisingly, thrilled with him. He's basically my lead horse at home. That's interesting.
Yeah, he's a real schoolmaster because, like I said, that kid, Dylan kid, he's rode him a couple of times claiming £10. You'd only put a £10 claimer up on a horse, wouldn't you, in those
sure.
that, is going to
be safe and enjoyable.
Ride.
Yeah,
all right, great stuff. Another social soon. Oh, yes, of course. Okay, Chris Timms weighing in with Oisin. I'm a big fan of Persian Force. Obviously, Bradsell is a top-notcher and with the Coventry win, but I'm on Little Big Bear today. All right, actually with me then, Chris Timms. Whatever wins this will go on to be a warm order, you'd imagine, for the Middle Park. Of course, that will be next, won't it, I would imagine. So are we going to see a Guineas horse here? Are we going to see the Brocklesby winner? What was the last Lion? Was that the Brocklesby winner that won the Group 1? Mm-hmm. They can do it. He looks a picture, doesn't he?
Yeah.
We always get sucked into chestnuts a little bit, don't we? Because they're flashy and... Yeah, I do.
Sometimes.
I do.
I wrote a good one called Lightning Spear, but...
Yeah, like a Graham Robbie. Yeah. Little Big Bear I've been wanting to call Little...
What's the best grey horse you ever rode?
Roaring Lion.
Royal Line.
Roaring Lion.
Oh, Roaring Lion.
Yeah.
That was an easy one, wasn't it?
Yeah. What's the second best grey horse you ever rode?
I can't think of another grey one.
No, exactly.
That's a question Graham Rodway had asked if he was here.
Such a good story. A Roaring Lion, of course, a sad ending, but good to see his baby's doing well at 2 this year. All right, then, this is it. Hold on to your hats. Who's going to lead? That's the question. Could it be the outside? Barry's played him. Apache Outlaw in the 3-place market.
I hope he doesn't, because I was hoping they might just ride him to pick up the pieces.
Well, that's what you thought, wasn't it, going in? So who leads? Will anything be carted to the lead?
Ryan Moore wouldn't be too adverse to going on if there's nothing making it.
That's interesting on Little Big Bear. Let's find out. You're quite right.
I think he'd be too keen, Barry. That's the only thing.
Out we go. Oh, Bradsell missed
No,
it.
you're right, babe.
Oh, no, Bradsell's missed it. What's that done on the market?
Oh,
All the
and
way out
Holly
to
then.
10-1.
Out to 3-1, Bradshaw.
Wow, remarkable. We went all the way out bigger than that. And as unsurprisingly, Ryan keeping it simple then, and he is leading. Chartras a little bit lit up just behind him.
Oh!
What happened there?
I think she caught a heel.
Did she? Did she?
I think so.
Bradsell, wow, okay. So little Persian falls.
You can't win after doing that.
2-year-olds are there. Look, Bradsell's in a world of trouble now, isn't he? I mean, they're not going to the rail.
It hasn't been smooth for
Kills, what do you reckon? You're quiet again?
I think the front two are going perfectly fine.
Chartash, lovely
is
sit.
travelling lovely.
Good rider, Ben Cohen.
And very interestingly, they don't want to know that rail then. So you're right, Oisin. I said they'd go to the rail. You weren't sure at all. I'll tell you what, Bradsell's now coming back. So we some performance
right
can pick
back
up.
into it.
2 furlongs out then. Apache Outlaw, probably the first beaten. Persian Force now feeding it a little bit. Little Big Ben, now he rips.
Little Big Bear.
Look at this chap go.
Absolutely canters home.
This is absolutely fantastic, isn't it? And he's a big boy as well. Look
Big,
at him.
powerful horse.
This is impressive.
That's why they didn't run Blackbeard.
He's absolutely
They didn't need to run two.
smashed this up.
Right.
Little Big Rodway has done it.
Now that's a racing horse.
Absolutely broke the clock there, I imagine, as well.
Yeah, that is really good.
I don't think it broke the clock because the first furlong was steady, but that was lovely.
Bradsell will pick the bones out of that.
Certainly
with
putting in some impressive sectionals late on, that's
yeah,
for sure.
that was
But,
wow.
yeah,
that was
wow.
very impressive, and it'd be very surprised if we weren't seeing a Guineas favourite after that. I'd imagine 13-8 in the end. Not favourite. Bradsell went off. Chartrash won his race. Persian Force.
What are you making him, Barry, for the Guineas?
In a sec.
What happened there then at the start with Bradsell, Oisin?
I think he just stumbled a little bit.
Missed it a bit, didn't he?
Was he concentrating? I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then what happened mid-race? There was a little
Looked
clip
like
of
he might have
Hills
just
there.
clipped his with Persian Force.
Persian Force looked to me like he wanted a lead there, and he didn't get one. He's just his head carrying. He's just carrying his head a little bit. Yeah, just there.
But
5 from 12 for the
He's actually
Guineas.
run really well, Bradsell.
Yeah.
Hasn't he?
But look, let's just talk about the winner, and there was no excuses.
We've seen a
really for
monster by
Bradsell.
comparison, haven't we? Like,
Look
you know
at
what I mean?
this.
He's
This is a monster.
He's run
5
clean
to 1
away from
favour
him.
for the Guineas.
Now, there was a social clip that went out when they had his open day and he had all the press before they'd all
right,
run.
yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I can't remember who the
Someone said,
journo
will
was.
I have a tenner on that? He said,
Can
"Oh,
I
you
have
could
a fiver? And he
you
goes,
could
you can have a little bit more.
Yeah, you could have a little bit more than that on it. He said,
And
yeah.
he was touched off, and everyone was like, "Oh, they're gonna have a terrible year." But this was the horse that they were that he was excited about. He's big, isn't he?
God, he's gorgeous.
He is.
Look when he switches leads now in a second.
Yeah, and look at that whoosh. We've seen a whoosher, people. Have we seen the next year? I mean, Keels, come on. What do we reckon?
You'd like him to drop his head a little bit more than he does, man.
Where are we going with that, Keels? Middle part?
You'd have to think so. He might go Dewhurst because he's already run 6
He
and a
could
half.
do
hasn't
both, couldn't he? There's
Could
2
he
weeks
go
between.
Dewhurst?
Is it 2 weeks now between them?
Yeah.
That wouldn't be their MO, would it?
Who did
They've done
Who
it
tried to
before
do
with
it
Air
last
Force
year?
Blue or one of
Yes.
those.
Yeah, but
Yes, they did.
Would they do it with
Was it
one-
US Navy flag that tried to do it?
US Navy flag did do it.
He did do it, didn't
Yeah.
he? That's the one.
yeah, so they could go.
You're
yeah.
right, this is
If
the
he's
best
tough
panel
enough,
of
I
all
mean,
time. Look at this.
I mean, we think we're Aidan O'Brien here. We're making the decisions.
I think you can tell, guys, that we think we've seen something pretty special there because we're all a little bit, this is... That was good stuff, and I just think he's a bit of a freak. On breeding, he shouldn't really been running in that Windsor Castle. And the no nay never thing is leaving him a bit, I think. But wow, he's quick. Wow, he's good. Who was with him? Let us know what you see in the future. Do we get any quotes then, Barry?
Yes, 5 to 1 favour from
5 to
12
1
for the 2,000 Guineas.
Yeah. Hard to knock that, Kills.
Like Moore wasn't hanging around, was he? He knew, bang, away we go. There's no place I'll
Windsor
make it.
Castle winner.
Yeah.
Winning the Guineas.
Yeah, well, we said that.
Some
When
game,
we-
isn't it?
And what is he? No nay never. Did they generally
Well,
go
that's
up
what
it?
we said earlier, wasn't it? We were looking at the most
I mean,
of
when
the
we did the
sprinters.
podcast before Ascot, we did actually say, could it be the case that he's running his best one and the easiest race to win?
That's what we thought.
Because it looked red. Because the Coventry looked red hot at the time, didn't it?
Here we go. The socials apparently are building up after that. Wow, the Bears are dominating today. Yeah, well done, guys. Andy Sim, of course, had the Bears. Sam Caney. Sam, you're right. That is a monster. Absolutely. Little Big Bear. Chris Timms. That is a phenomenal performance. And my Lord, if you backed him, you never had a single moment's worry, really, there, did you at all? He spiked out Bradsell, of course. It was a weird one, that, wasn't it? I don't know. We'll see what the horses do behind. Of course, you're talking about a Brocklesby winner who's been on the go since March. Bradsell, of course, didn't sell at the sales, went to the Breeze Ups, had a break since the Coventry. We'll see what they do behind it. The time will be very telling, but it's hard to think we haven't seen something very special there. I'm with you. Where do we go next? That's the question. We're probably back to Ascot, aren't we?
Yeah, 4:30 Ascot.
Yeah. Oh yes, this is the multi.
Yes, Hamakai.
Hamakai. All right, listen, guys. There's the Betfair SP. We've seen some incredible Betfair SPs this afternoon. Jungle Go, Little Big Bear, and I have to tell you, with a couple of races left, guys, we are collectively going through the card. I told you at the top of the show this is going to happen.
Have we had a winner on every race?
Every single race.
Have we really?
I believe we have.
Can't believe that.
You can check back.
Oisin, a Churchill, 1.5 miles.
Yeah, I just haven't seen. I know his oldest crop are only 3. But I just haven't seen many of them strike me like they would go that distance. When we were talking about the Foxes earlier, although he's a half-brother to Bangkok, I just don't think many of them will go very far.
Yeah.
You know? But of course,
this is one of it from his first crop, obviously, this Hamakai.
Okay.
He's done a bit down in Australia, Churchill, as well. Hasn't he? I backed one this morning.
Here we go with the Aussie.
That's called Racing
I've been
Post
to
Live
Randwick.
Bingo.
Okay.
Yeah, when he mentions Australia, you just tick it off, and you'll get the full house eventually. Don't worry about
I've been
that.
to Randwick. I've worked at Randwick. Don't worry about it.
Wagga Wagga. Were you ever in Wagga Wagga?
No, I wasn't.
I've been to Wagga Wagga to golf or anything like that. Right, who would like some football scores before we go back to? There's some interesting ones.
Go on.
Obviously, Fulham 2, Liverpool 2.
Finished
The
today,
Premiership is back today. Bournemouth 1, Aston Villa 0.
Oof.
Leeds 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Newcastle 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Tottenham Hotspur 4, Southampton 1.
Aye.
Yeah, Barry's happy. And Chelsea still to come, away at Everton. You'll be listening to it on the radio on the way home?
Yeah, I will be. Yep.
Are you going to get to more football? I imagine you probably will be, won't you?
Yeah, I got to go lots last year, which was really nice.
That's a pleasure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because racing and football, they do clash, unfortunately.
They do, of course. Yeah, it's actually interesting. Walking to Stamford Bridge, a lot of people recognise me or whatever, whereas that wouldn't happen normally.
Give us a tip,
Governor. Walking down the street or whatever. No, they're just like, oh, how are you getting on or whatever.
Because they know you're a blue.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, there you go. If you're a Tottenham supporter, you're in Clover. Oh, Newcastle 1 up against Forest, and Aston Villa lagging behind. All right, there are some. So we've got some Chelsea chat. What's this about you going to a golf course recently? Dave Lowe's asking me to ask you about that.
Oh,
do you play a bit of golf, do you?
I know. I've had a few lessons. I'm really, really bad. I played with Ollie Bell and Glenn Johnson, and they gave me 2 shots a hole, and I still was really poor. But anyway, I enjoyed it.
Well, they're pretty.
I know they didn't.
They're pretty good, them two, though, as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Ollie's pretty handy.
Yeah. He looks the part when he swings or
Glenn
whatever.
plays a lot as well, doesn't he? So.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. So must do better on the golf course. Don't worry, I'm feeling.
No, I don't really care. I won't be playing that much golf. I'll leave it to the experts.
Yeah, fair dues.
There's enough jockeys who do, though, isn't there?
Yeah. God,
I love it, don't they?
Hughesy used to play all the time. Now he doesn't have time to play. Just
quite
goes to
literally
show the workload
Is that 'cause
difference
he's
of a
got more
jockey and
horses
trainer.
now?
Yeah. And actually, he's been really flying over the last 6 weeks.
That's good.
Metro's on fire, one again.
No. Metro's on fire.
I thought
So
they would
Mitrovic
save him
scored.
for the grey race in a couple of weeks there, didn't he?
Mitro's
might
on
go
fire
there,
because
yeah.
Mitrovic
Already be
scored
too high.
against Liverpool today. So we're having loads of ties in here. Now this is an interesting one. SC comes on. Emma Jane Wilson probably searching for some footage, right? Let's hope we did it justice. From Winnipeg, Canada, home of Assiniboia Downs and the Manitoba Derby. Woo woo! Winner with Little Big Bear. Happy days, SC. Watching on from Canada. Well, if you see G-Rod down there, well, you probably won't do it at the moment. Actually, he's stuck indoors. But good to see that Graham is still working, of course, from Canada. You'll see him on some feature shows recently. But go and say hello if you see him down there. All right.
Yeah,
okay.
it's just a small place, isn't it?
Well, and at the moment he's confined to quarters, isn't he? But we won't go into that. All right, okay, great stuff. We have not got that much left. We're under an hour away from the rest of the show. Oisin, honestly, it's been great to have you on so far. We've got a couple of races left. Do you think we'll get you back for the end of the season?
Absolutely, if you want me.
Well, they'll have you all right. Don't you worry about that. Barry, it's been great to have you over from Ireland.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. 2 to go.
You got treated to the calf. That was the first sign that it was going to go well.
I wasn't invited to that one.
Well, you know.
We know that you've got to keep your trim in. You don't want to be going there.
I'm
literally a heart attack on a plate.
Is it?
Once every blue moon, it's really,
look at the
really
smile
enjoyable.
on Keel's look.
He's
in his happy place, is Keel's.
He couldn't even finish it.
Why can't they make me look, honestly, they make me
didn't
look like
leave
Mo
much-
Farah when I go there.
I didn't leave much behind me, that's for sure.
No, they don't. Honestly, Keels is like this with his bread. I'm like, God, more chips. I don't know why that is, but anyway.
Marvellous breakfast.
So we've got 2 more races left at the Shergar Cup, and the 4:30 is coming up. Barry's playing Hamaki in this, who unsurprisingly, being trained by William Aggies, is at the top of the market. Who's at the top of the scoreboards? It's GB and Ireland walking it at the moment. 95 points. The girls are creeping up, 64 points. Rest of the world, 49. In Europe, still lagging behind on 44, if you're playing those sort of things. So we know that Barry thinks Hamaki and Jamie Spencer will get a double. Are the old Spence Keels?
Yeah, will he? I mean, he's there partly because of Haggard's form, isn't he? You know what I mean? I'm not 100%. I think Berkshire Breeze has stronger claims. I think that race last time was really good. Backdoor, split Backdoor and Inverness. They both ran really, really well at Goodwood. Obviously, he doesn't win. It's a little bit of a worry, but I don't think he did anything wrong last time. I think he'll run well. I think Franz Strauss is a massive price.
Why is Berkshire Breeze? Is this all you know anything about?
Yeah, I've ridden him a bit at home. I don't think he's ungenuine. I think
you
he
rode him on his
tries.
debut?
Yeah, I think he tries. I think.
Oh, Christ, Oisin!
Hey.
If you're trying to get out of the fact he was beaten on his debut,
a long
you've
day.
done a very good
He's
job
blaming
there.
you on that, Oisin.
Yeah, absolutely.
apologies.
Yes!
I think he's just been a little bit unlucky, and he's also a horse that has taken a while to learn his job. So he was quite green on his first few starts. This is a competitive race, but I agree with Kills. I think he has a chance here.
Well, if you go back to his second run, in fact, all of his runs, he could be well handicapped on them, couldn't he? That's why I'm wondering why he's not got his head in front so far.
It's still a maiden. Is that not a concern?
Yeah, it would be at this
Why
stage.
am I a mile 6 coming back in trio? I don't know. This is.
Smacks of desperation.
He's a maiden, but if you look at the horses he's come up against when he was beaten under Oisin on his debut by a horse called Tollard Royal, who actually is quite progressive. Natural World at Newbury. That would have been a pretty hot race at the Greenham meeting. Secret State is the one that jumps out to me.
Sure.
Beaten 6 lengths by him at Chester. I don't know whether Chester would really suit him, would it, or not?
Possibly not, no.
He's now rated 107, Secret State, of course. He's unbeaten since then. And we're talking about horses on 85 here. Baltic Bird, that was a good race at Yarmouth. Knightswood, probably the one that maybe made you think.
Baltic Bird, who is the family of Volgeist. Go on.
I know, you are quite right. That looked like it was a bit of a red herring, that race, because I don't know, it looked like he was going to be a good horse, Baltic Bird, but hadn't quite got on with it yet. And then he went to Chepstow, where he probably should have won, I think, behind a horse called Knightswood.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see it either. Harry Davis was on him. He had absolutely every chance. Bargdor, though, still, who ran a good race at Goodwood.
He ran a cracker in that Trawlerman race, wasn't it?
That's it.
Trawlerman's just a very good horse.
And you think that Bargdor's going to be winning again.
Yeah.
So I think the best handicapped horse in the race is Berkshire Breeze, but he's just got that. Does he really want to put his head down?
It's a 3-year-old handicap, these are a minefield, these races, but Hamaki is favoured at 4.3 at the moment, 4.6 Berkshire, Sheer Rock is in there as well, 11.5, Franz Strauss is 9.4, now money for that Keels fancy. Supper Girl is half the price, 10 from 20, Jessica Harrington, not without a chance either with Christophe Lemaire in the plate. We've Hamaki for our multi.
Well, we'd like to chase that one, because that would be a few quid as well, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Few quid for the charity.
So if Wootton's son doesn't win, I'll be hoping that you win on Hamaki.
Wootton's son get in?
Yeah, he's there. Wootton's son. The 11 horse.
Yeah.
He's here. I must admit, I was hovering over Berkshire Breeze. I was hovering over Sheer Rocks as well under Frankie. I think we've seen the best of him yet, Sheer Rocks. But this chap, I watched him last time against his elders over a mile 2. It's all a mile 4 his pedigree. And he's really, really well bred. So Rennie Pajchalek, I'm hoping will get off the mark here. He's drawn in stall 4, and I think he'll be ridden to get the trip. And if they go hard enough, I think he'll be mopping up the places. So I've half thought I might have found one here. I'm hoping that Richard Fahey basically wins the last 2 races, which rarely happens. But he'll do for me. So good luck wherever you're playing. Penultimate race, of course, of the day. We've got plenty of time to talk in between these races. All sorts of chat. Get involved, stick with us. Of course, the last race is at 5:05 from memory, isn't it? Yeah. Admiral D race, basically. Back on the straight course. So, who's been enjoying it so far? Looks like the GB in Ireland, unless something seismic happens. Of course, I've got the favourite here. Will go and take this out. Right, perhaps some pre-Morris de Geese chat after this race as well. But they are in, I'm thrilled to say. And I'll tell you what, off to time at Ascot as well. That's interesting today, isn't it? Pretty much everything's been bang on. Loads said about that.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, does it?
Yeah, these horses are behaving themselves going in the stalls. They're not going too quick here, guys. There's a few
they've
jockeys
got 38
restraining.
according to that,
Black
which is
Cap of Franz Strauss.
Franz Strauss.
Jose Luis Martinez yet to really trouble the judge, but he is in front at the moment. Where's Berkshire Breeze? Looking for him.
Sat kind of a little bit wide in the grey with the pink.
And is he a bit keen? Because they're not going to pace here, are they?
Well, 11.75 isn't bad. Remember, you run downhill, so horses always attack a bit. But let's see the next section.
All right, I'm looking for Wootton's son, who's got a lovely
Yeah, Berkshire
inside
Breeze a little bit keen. He's wide.
Yeah, that's not ideal. Joanna
Andrew
Mason's
won't be
being
through
kept
it.
out at the moment, isn't she, by Supergirl. Lemaire's keeping her wide. I don't know. Where's Hamaki, Barry?
just in behind them.
On the
Bit
green.
keen, yeah.
Yeah, you could do with them going again. See, Oisin, you're saying that they're going fairly decent fraction there. He's obviously slowed it down quite a bit. To the eye, it just looks like they're going leisurely.
Yeah, no, I think they are now 12.76. Will they slow up again?
Yeah, all right. And what's this in third on the
Yeah,
inside? Sheer rocks.
13.53.
Again, Frankie's got a really nicey posse. Keels, where's yours?
I'm in front.
Oh, you are
I'm
in front.
I'm setting the pace. I'm 13.53 now. I'm quite happy with that. As long as he
Jose
doesn't.
Luis Martinez.
I don't know whether he's trying.
What's he doing, do you think, up front? Or is he just counting in
Well,
his
no,
head?
he's giving him a little bit of a squeeze now.
What's this in
Yeah,
the black
that's what I
cap
thought
that's
it
coming
was,
up?
yeah.
Dancing
Understand
Tango, not happy with the pace scenario. Danny Tudhope has made a move.
I think it might just be a bit of a lump who races a bit lazily.
He's getting an easy one, though, isn't he? And he stays further.
Yeah, he definitely stays.
I don't think Jamie's not giving me the right signals on Hamakai.
No, he's getting low in the saddle, and I'll tell you what, the market will soon be bearing that out. Oisin, we're turning in.
Could be a doubt about him with the trip then.
I don't really. Berkshire Breeze come back on the bid, and lucky now she has someone to tow her into the race because Danny Tudhope made that move
Nancy
3
Tango's
wide.
going for it, isn't he?
Yeah, Wootton's son's on the inside. He's not getting much of a
Hamakai
run. What's this
travels
in the
now,
all of a
doesn't
sudden?
he?
Hamaki's coming now, Barry. Spencer sees the split.
Odds on, 2-1 on the
I'll
exchange.
tell you
in
what,
running.
could this be another one for Barry and Haggis? Jamie Spencer on the double as well.
Here he
This will be
comes.
all
Outside
over.
the red hat,
the
pub
red
crawl,
hat's going to kill
pub
you.
crawl.
I think the red hat's going to do you. Pub crawl for Jason
on,
Collins,
Jamie.
the Kiwi. Jamie now
Come on,
in the
Jamie.
drive.
Yeah,
He's
he's rolling
basically
into the
Ireland
race.
versus
Come
New
on,
Zealand.
Spencer.
What's this
Come
coming
on,
through
Jamie.
the inside?
Super
Super
girl,
girl,
is it?
You're going to get
Come on,
someone to
Jamie.
go.
Come on,
Spencer.
Come on,
Jamie. He doesn't know how to get beat this The multi's on the move. Happy days. I tell you what, William Haggis gets his. Is that a treble on the day for the Haggis? I think it is, isn't it? Jamie Spencer, what a ride that was.
Was that Supper Girl in second?
Yeah, it was. She
get
came
done in running?
steaming through. On the
What
inside
did
was
he get done
Shearox
in
and
running?
Frankie. On down the outside was Pub Crawl, who just fell out the door towards the end. And I think in fifth, if you're looking for that, was Dancing Tango.
Supper
Some of the others haven't got
Girl evens
home.
in running.
Well, Barry, I'll give you the floor with that one.
Supper Girl evens in running. Sheer Rocks hit a low of 3. Hamakai hit a high of 17 in running. Yeah, I thought Jamie was sending out distress signals. Obviously, had won over 10 furlongs last time out. To step up to 12, the mile and a half was the concern, but he's come well there. Supper Girl just touched. I thought she was coming with a wet sail and was going to do him on the line, but thankfully the post came in time. Really,
It's
didn't it?
such a prolific operation, isn't it? I mean, it's remarkable. And Spencer Keels, the 2 rides that he's had, the Mexican being your other one, he's kind of got to the front plenty soon enough by Jamie's standards, and he's had to lift again, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, and he's found he has found a little bit more there because I thought he was getting caught here right to death,
Yeah.
but he's actually held him off in the last 30-40 yards.
We win £330 for
Beautiful.
the charity off the lucky 15.
Oh, brilliant.
There you go. Happy days for Greatwood. So 3 of the 4 have gone in on the multi. We're getting closer.
We are.
We're getting closer, but well done, Barry. He's been
Only the
absolutely
Max
on
we can
fire.
had gone in
We
place
got a
of.
Mexican instead of Lady Alara.
And that's a treble on the day for Haggis. And I think we have to say now, guys, that the team prize is definitely going the way of GB in Ireland, isn't it? So Jamie Spencer, take a bow. He's retired more times than many 60-year-olds, isn't he? But he keeps coming back. And you never know when he's in and out of the game. But he's come back, he's had a renaissance, and I don't know, he's shown many sides to his game this season, in particular today. And like you say, Barry, he was up and down. And when you see Spence about 4 furlongs out doing that, you're like, oh, that's in trouble.
Yeah, he was a little keen early.
He's some operation, this Haggis operation, isn't it? I mean, it's just ridiculous. They get these progressive 3-year-olds, they sort of hang on to him a little bit as well. Of course, the one horse of his that got beaten is going to be winning the Cambridgeshire. The one I bet the one Haggis horse that's not won today.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
I fancied it as well.
And Grocer Jack, of course you did. Grocer Jack as well. There we go. All right, so let's show some love. And again, like I say, if you're having a good day, we're going through the card with one to go. Collectively, of course, we are going through the card, we believe. Thanks to Barry, in part. But show some love to Greatwood. The website is out there. You can find it. It's a good time to be doing that. Is there one coming up? Here we go. Drum roll. Who is it? Neil Francis. Welcome. Well done, Baz. Full house next time. They're never happy. They're never happy, are they, Neil? Goodness me.
That's the dream, isn't it?
That's the dream, absolutely. Devo comes back on, and Keels seems to be getting the trip best here. I'll tell you what.
Strong stare.
Yeah, he's absolutely. There's no.
You ever see me on a session watching the racing, mate? You know I stay all day long.
Absolutely, great stuff. All right, so okay, we've got one more to go. We've got plenty of time to talk about it as well. What did I say? Prix Maurice de Geest is tomorrow, isn't it? Have you ever won that?
No.
Derville record? I should be able to tell you that, shouldn't I?
I've only had one winner there for.
What was it?
That richest Group 2 in Europe. For Harry Dunlop, Night to Behold or one of those.
Oh, blimey, in those old school colours.
Yeah.
The millenary colours.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Let's have a look tomorrow then. The Group 1 showpiece. So let's have a little chat about that. Because I still believe, Barry, that Perfect Power could. We both put him up, didn't we, in the July Cup?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
And he just got way too far back on ground they said was against him. Sumion Wise got stalled 10 at Derville. That's again. Stand side, isn't it?
No, it's centre of the track. One is stand side at Deauville.
Is it?
Yeah, on the straight course, yeah.
All right, I've had a shock up. Are you sure?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, Rohan's got that.
Is this the ideal trip for Artorius?
I think it is.
The 6.5, the half.
Is Spencer up again?
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd love to see him.
You'd be keen on him, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd love to see him win. Just good for racing and good for Jamie, you know?
I think if either Perfect Power or Artorius, I can understand the Artorius thing. I've put him up, but I still believe that Perfect Power could be the one sprinter we've got that might give us some credit.
What
on the
weight
world
does
stage.
Perfect Power have?
Do you not think Harry 3's very good?
Well, he's been remarkable on his last 3 months. Schumacher, of course, on the mark there today.
Absolutely buzzed up on his last 3. He won that big handicap at York. Admiral D was favourite for the last, was 6th in that race, and obviously Lethal Levi was 2nd. And that was really good. Sorry, 4th. That's really good for me. He come out and won a listed race at Dover by miles. You know what I mean?
Ryan rode him, I think.
He's potentially a very good sprinter.
Minzal's form in the Hackwood has been frank today with Go Bears Go.
Yeah. Extra half a furlong for him.
Doesn't look like it'd be a problem the way he booted clear last time.
He is very interesting. I agree.
Yeah, he's just an interesting horse. I mean,
he's improved 18 pounds on Racing Post rating space his last 3 months.
Yeah.
We love Racing Post ratings.
Yeah.
We love Racing Post ratings, quite right. The Japanese have got one in there, King Hermes, who didn't really measure up on the July cross.
No, but he's not like a horse that they rave about in Japan.
No? No, all right, okay, all right, fair enough. All right, what about, no, let's keep on that. A tip tomorrow, I think Artorius is the one you do. I'm sensing Barry as well, do you?
Well, I think the extra half furlong is definitely in his favour, but I'm coming around to Minzal. I thought the Hackwood, he was so impressive there, and that form, Go Bears Go, has gone and franked it again. And
I wouldn't mind seeing him over the extra half a furlong, because the Hackwood, from memory, if you think back, he sort of hit a flat spot and then found, didn't he, for once? Yeah. That's interesting.
That's a cracking little race. Naval Crown, you can't dismiss him at the head of the market.
No, he's proved himself solid, isn't he?
Yeah, he backed up his Ascot win in the July Cup.
What do you make of Perfect Power?
I'm a big fan of the horse. I'm a bigger fan of the jockey.
This is something I know.
Oh, yeah.
When we spoke earlier in the year, you were singing Sumi's praises, Super Sumi.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, just tactically very, very good, and every time he's lost the job or lost the ride on a big horse, he's managed to bounce back. And
what's he like as a bloke?
A lot of people don't think he's a little bit arrogant or whatever, but I buzz off his company. And I was polite to him when I used to first go to France, and he's always been very kind and very fair in a race, you know.
2 peas in a pod?
Maybe, yeah.
All right, but you kind of have. I remember you telling us before we did Royal Ascot, he was kind of the one that you said different gravy and all that sort of stuff.
Well, every rider has times when they're not really on form, but he seems to find a good horse every year, even when Aga Khan in France maybe don't have a star,
Yeah, all right, perfect power. And again, Keel's you tried to stretch him out to a mile, didn't they? This should really be perfect for him, 6.5, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should be, yeah. I mean, I just go back to that. I go back to the July Cup and the way that the former miler, alcohol-free, basically just walked all over them, didn't she? I just don't think they're all that. I don't think they're any good. End of
He's
the day,
not
the
favourite
sprinters.
perfect.
No, I know, but I just don't think our sprinters are all that good.
Well, then
Right?
I think as a bunch they're not.
So I'm looking for one who might have a little bit up his sleeve, and I think that might be Harry Angel.
What price do you think
he's
he
coming
is?
from different
Have you
form
looked at
miles.
it?
I have looked. I know what price he is. I know he's not a big price. I'm not surprised he's not a big price because go and watch. Go and have a look. If you can log on to France Gallop, if viewers are watching and don't know, just log up, sign up. You can watch any video free. Go and have a look.
He's definitely shorter than I thought he was going to be. I thought he'd be
No. He's sort of been. He was on my radar straight after he won there last time because I just liked the way he went about it.
That is the Sunday showpiece for you then. A great couple of weeks that they have down there in France. Oisin, some questions for you coming in, and one from the studio actually. Now Desert Crown looks like he's out for the season. Who do you like in the Arc? Have you looked at it?
It's a little bit early, in all honesty. I think everything has been blown wide open by Westover disappointing. I don't want to, the Japanese have hit the crossbar in the race a couple of times, and I thought I had a great chance in the race last year, and we got a lot of rain, and then she had no chance. But title holder has been prepared perfectly, and his form is good enough, and his trainer I know very well, Toru Kurita. I think Takeshi Yokoyama is going to ride the horse. He's won him a couple of times.
I was asked to do a piece about that in the week. I don't know if that came your way, Keels, as well. I was a bit too busy doing it.
He's Joy Fav at the moment.
But I'll be honest, I didn't know a great
Tessa.
deal about him. And I had to look it up and all that sort of stuff. But we didn't. I think James Stevens did a good piece about him in the end.
I think he's an exceptional horse. And it'll be interesting with Adair coming back.
Well, I want Pile Driver to win because Rodders rinsed him after winning the King George, didn't he?
You and half the world.
So that'd be great, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It was more the fact that
I know.
You know why he did that.
I know. Do we forgive Westover?
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't win after going 2 furlongs. And because I honestly thought it was amazing that no one picked up on Ryan moving early.
On Broome.
On Broome, yeah, and keeping the pace so honest. I thought.
I did. I mentioned it.
Okay, well, good. Good, Paul. Good, because neither horse could win with with 7 to run, really.
What did you make of the whole Rob Hornby, Colin Keane thing?
I thought there was a lot about it in the press, and I don't think that's any harm. I'm a very close friend. Rob and I are practically best friends, and I'd like to see him stay on every horse and get as much opportunity as he possibly could. So I'm pleased to see him really flying in the last couple of...
Yeah, it was good to see him get him a couple of big wins afterwards, wasn't it?
And also his strike rate. He's riding at 10% a couple of months ago for the season. That's taken a massive...
As a professional jockey, if that ride and your friendship with him, if that ride was offered to you, would you have turned that down? Or as a professional jockey, is it just accepted? Because you could be getting jocked off for Rob Hornby another day.
Yeah. Well, the bottom line is, if it's being offered to you, they're looking for someone else.
Well, the problem is, if it's being offered to you, he's already lost it.
Precisely. Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Exactly,
yeah.
Paul.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing about this is when you've got a high-profile rider. I mean, you're in a lot of situations when you're riding, where you've got a 50-50 choice, haven't you?
Yeah.
Do I go there or do I go there?
Yeah.
And you don't know what's going to happen in front of you when you do it.
Of course.
When you get it right, everyone says the best horse has won.
Yeah.
When you get it wrong, it's your fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's literally a 50-50 decision. And that is what, that's certainly what happened with John Egan on Mishriff at Sandown.
Sure, David Egan.
David Egan, yeah.
Easily done.
Yeah, the old man, yeah. And he lost the ride then.
Yeah.
And it's
then Mishriff bombed out on his next start. It's honestly...
because, part of the reason, if you see the race at Sandown and the time before at Ascot, Egan is ready for him to start slowly.
Sure.
And he started really slowly with a new jockey on. And sometimes you know, it's tricky. It's if you take a jockey off a difficult horse.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous, isn't it? You can blow it straight away.
Can be.
Silver Saddle update. What price was Jamie Spencer when we started? Can you remember?
Was he winning?
It was a big price.
Yeah. Does anyone care?
Well, there are people out there that will care.
Okay, well
just
then
because you're not there.
talk about it.
Spencer, 37. Callan, 35 points.
Yeah, GB and I have it in the bag.
They've got it in the bag now.
Yeah.
This is all over. And Kieran Schumacher, 29 as well. Schumacher, of course.
And what's
rides
Joanna
in
Mason got? Because she's going to.
Well, she was the fav, wasn't she? Going into it, I don't know, but she'll be down.
69.
Obviously. It's between them. She's got the fav in the last at Admiral D. I'm hoping that she'll set sail for home on that. A furlong out and keep going. Aye. First pun of the day.
Yeah.
So I've been on my best behaviour. Oisin is so funny. He says, Jesus.
Hi, Jesus.
Absolutely. Bet you've said that a few times in the last 6 months. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So Oisin is so funny. Yeah, Oisin, no, it has been great to have you on. You probably didn't know quite what you were coming into. You've probably seen it in a few clips and all that sort of stuff. But it's quite an enjoyable way to spend an afternoon, isn't it?
No, absolutely. You're very kind to me, and thankfully we didn't focus too much on my poor riding abilities at certain tracks.
No, we never would. We never would.
Didn't go into any great detail on your international riding career
It
either.
was the moment he was delighted my Cambridgeshire horse was beaten. I could sense it. He was like, the saddle slipped his head.
It did actually slip, but it didn't cost him the race.
You're giving... No. He just wasn't strong enough, was he, Steve?
If he had a breast skirt there, would that have happened?
I think because breast skirts are elasticated, it would have gone back that far anyway. It's when they come into exactly. The only point is when they come into place that it stops being elastic. When they've really been stretched, that they stop. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So often they've gone to a point
so why not just have a breastplate that there's no elasticity in? That
because it's restricting their shoulder too much.
Of course, right, okay.
So there's been like calls saying, "Oh, why don't we adopt the Hong Kong approach and have breast skirts and everything?" I'm like, that is
mandatory. Yeah,
that is silly.
Is it? Okay.
Really and truly.
It's interesting to hear that.
If a horse is well tacked up, some of them obviously have a shape that, doesn't matter how tight the girt is or how well saddled they are, the saddle tends to move back. But that's a very small minority.
They're always checked after they go to post, aren't they?
Well, you should check yourself anyway.
No, but when they're down to start,
but the jockey should check themselves anyway. Every time I get on a horse in the paddock, I will feel my girt.
At the side
exactly, you can feel the girt.
And if there's any giving it, you'd say no. You need
well, you want a certain amount of give, but exactly, yeah. You ride enough races that you have a routine. When you get on every horse that you just do.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But you will have one out of every 200 rides where the saddle is perfectly is put on correctly. The girt's as tight as you want it, and it will move back a little bit just because of the shape of the horse.
There you go. All right.
And what's going through your head then? Just keep balanced here, don't fall off, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've never actually had one slip all the way back on me. But if that does get to the case, if that is the case in a race, try and kick your feet out and just try and pull the horse up before you fall off the back,
We've got one more stab at the Shergar Cup. One more race to come. It's nap time for me in the last 5:05, which I'm delighted to say is rapidly coming up. It's a long show today, but so many people out there enjoying it. Great that you are. And like I say, we've got one more race to try and go through the card. What price, Barry Orr, is Admiral D?
4.8 now, Dave. Admiral D. Yeah.
You say that with some sort of surprise because it went as low as 9 to 4 in places, didn't it?
It was really short at one stage. 2 to 1 at the low on the Betfair Exchange at one stage. 3.0. 5.4 for Resina. A Day in Asia is 7.8. 8.4 Sterling Night Spangled Mac is 8.8. 15 bar. 19 Romantic Times. That's what I like in it. It was 4th to Little Levi in Newmarket. I thought that was a nice run. Little Levi, while he didn't win, he's kind of upheld the form since. He's only beaten 3 lengths that day. 2nd in Newmarket, the same course the time before that. Off a mark of 89. I thought this was a really, really difficult race, if I'm being brutally honest, Dave. And we're just going to have 25 quid win and place Romantic Time. Nice price, 18.5. Happy to be a price taker here in the win market. I'll just confirm that bet. And then we're going to look in the 4-place market. Same as the sports book. It's each way punters. It's 4 places. It's currently around a 2 to 1 chance. We're going to have 25 quid there as well. We'll be a price taker here as well because it's not a very liquid market.
Ever ridden for William Stone before?
Yeah. I haven't had any success from him, I don't think. Holly Doyle's got a healthy combination striker.
I think on this filly, wasn't it? As a 2-year-old, she won a pretty decent race at Salisbury, was it? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. It was, wasn't it, I think? And,
Yeah, it was that good race in Salisbury.
Yeah, that's right. William won a decent...
Dick Pool, Group 3.
That's it was, yeah. It comes up in early September, of course. Just, again, typical sort of big 2-year-old filly, difficult with the opportunities, isn't it, to find a way. But Emma Jane Wilson is basically on the double and will be hunting this one down for Barry, who is... having Sunday, and my goodness gracious me, the roof would go off if this did it. Now, you mentioned the Lethal Levi form and the run before that, Keels, where you put up Admiral D. That was the one which really caught my attention. The jockey got off that day. I can't remember who rode it that day. It would have been one of Richard Fahey's. Of course, it was Barry McHugh. Got off and said, once this horse gets soft ground, he's going to be a right tool. We're not so sure that he needs it.
Well, I think he's shown enough to suggest that he doesn't. And obviously, if he can handle fast ground at Newmarket, then he can certainly handle it running uphill at Ascot, can't he? You know. So I think that form's very strong anyway. Obviously, Lethal Levi's come out and bolted up again. He's just a horse going forwards, I think. And he's going to be better than that. He's going to be better than a 95 rated handicapper by the end of the season. Now, he might well take off for a bit of soft ground, but I think he's plenty good enough to be winning this off a mark of 95.
Yeah, and you'd have to think that this track would be right up his street, wouldn't you? And Joanna Mason surely will be told to just look for where the pace is, hold, and try and pounce at the final furlong. I thought this had a right chance.
Yeah, he's got a proper finish in him.
Yeah, he absolutely has. An irresistible turn of foot, said Keith Melrose in his substitute price.
What does that mean, irresistible turn of foot?
Well, that's what Keith said.
What does it actually mean?
Well, it means it would be nearly irresistible. Hard to do.
For the others to resist his turn of foot.
I think he means it would be beautiful.
Like a chocolate bar, irresistible chocolate bar or something like that.
Or whatever your tipple is. Yeah, well, whatever your tipple is, Admiral D will be producing it in the final furlong, says Melrose. Slightly surprised that Rosina's not favourite here, considering that Haggis train is on a 4-timer.
Well, he said she wants a bit of cut as well.
Let's have a look at... Yes, she wants a bit of dig in the ground, ideally. Too good an opportunity to miss. Now, when William Haggis suggests this...
Well, he said he wanted to get her out, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know. Obviously, she's an autumn campaign in mind.
Yeah, she's been a tad disappointing for them, I think, this one. I remember she was supposed to win at Chester 2 back, I think, and for whatever reason it didn't come good. She needed every inch of the hill, to my eye, at Carlisle last time. So I don't know. I wasn't with her, but again, what price do you want to be with these horses? A quote from William Haggis, if you don't mind, about Hamaki in the previous race. Great ride from Jamie. Horse is better with cut in the ground, so he might look forward to the autumn. But I don't know if he's one for jumping, because of course it's Isaac Swaden.
Yeah, it's manure,
isn't it? So we might have just seen one that could
be... Because when he won in Haydock, it was soft that day over the mile 2. He beat it well.
Seem to think that's probably why he was chivied along a little bit far out, you know?
Yeah.
But again, they've watered that round course very well.
He's getting a spoke in early. I don't think he's one for jumping.
Absolutely. He's not very big.
I'd like to hold on to him.
Anywhere else it'd be sold to Australia by now, yeah.
He's a classic example, isn't he? Absolutely. Let's face it, some of the eyes of the world are watching this, of course. All right, so you've heard from myself and Barry, you're with, of course, Romantic Time. Kills, you're still sticking with Admiral D?
I'm sticking with Admiral D, yeah, I think you win.
What's the danger?
Nothing. Fresh air.
Spangled Mac has to have a chance. That's been well placed by George.
Very well placed.
Let's go.
Unbelievable, because when this won on the all-weather, Connor Planas, have you seen much of him as a rider?
I haven't, no.
A lot of people
like
talking him up.
Yeah, I like him.
He did everything he could to get this horse beat at Kempton, without throwing him too much under the bus. And we all said in the department I was in the analysis department, when that went up, because it was a nap for our expert eye in the national competition, that must have had £10 in hand. And lo and behold, it's won its next 3. Nicola Curry on. This is definitely a step up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who do you like?
I'm going to stick with Haggis, Ritsena. Okay, I understand the ground worries, but I'd like to see the Spaniard get on the board. I think that draw is fine in 2. He shouldn't complicate it too much.
When William Haggis says 2 good opportunity to miss, he's probably talking about the prize money, but it probably means he's still got a rather well handicapped filly, doesn't he? You know, a horse that's won 2
Sheikh
from 4.
Ahmed won't be worried about the prize money.
No, of course not. It's probably going to stable staff, you'd think, wouldn't it? But 2 from 4, and yet he's only rated 86. He probably knows he's got quite a bit to play with, you would imagine. Sure. I think so. It's quite a strong race, though, isn't it? Because Harry Dunlop's got one in here. Neil Cunningham will be hunting down that silver saddle on A Day in Asia from stall 9 as well. What do we think about
great
the drawing?
name, isn't it?
A Day in Asia.
I've won on that. Yeah.
A Day in Asia. Sterling Knight, of course, for Takeshi. Is it
Takeshi.
Takeshi. I'm never going to get that right, you know. It's tomato, isn't it? And but Ed Dunlop, who's been amongst the winners this week, Ed. Sterling Knight, fairly well fancy.
Have you seen Takeshi's Castle?
Yeah, I've watched that.
I don't
seen that.
Have you never seen it?
I have seen it, but it's not the sort of thing I'd usually watch.
Yeah, it's a
I bet you
knockout
find
for
it
the Japanese,
hilarious.
isn't it?
We miss it's a knockout, don't we?
My kids used to love it.
Here come the Belgians! That was absolutely brilliant, that. When the royal family did that, I thought it was probably still the best thing I've ever seen on television. The Millmans have got one in here, Amazonian Dream. James, if he was in here, you'd have to get the beat machine out for what they think of this chap, because he's very talented, but he's also got his own mind about it. Kevin Schumark.
Oisin Murphy rode him one day in Newbury.
Did you know?
Yeah, over 5 furlongs.
Is he a nutbag? You ride a bit for the Millmans, don't you?
Yeah.
The super sprint you rode him in.
Really? I've only ridden it once, yeah.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Hang on a minute, no.
That's annoying.
No, you've ridden it twice. You won on it by a nose at Sandown.
Okay.
Great ride.
You could argue Spangled. You could argue Spangled Mac's big enough for George Bowie, given he's on a 5-time.
Yeah. Barry said that.
I called him George Bowie, I think, the first time I interviewed him.
Bowie or Bowie?
Bowie.
No, I called him Bowie.
Oh, Bowie.
I sort of was having a bit of fun with him, and he's
Bowie.
Like David Bowie.
Yeah, Bowie, Bowie.
Bowie.
What's that, Bowie?
I asked him how many, because what you can do on the BHA website, as you may well know, you can put in horses' names to see whether they're registered or not.
Okay.
And of course, Ed Walker had Starman, didn't he, at the time? And I said, how many Bowie songs have you tried to name horses after and all that sort of thing? And he's like, they're ridiculous. But I could see a Royal Smile there and all that sort of thing. But he's a good lad, George, isn't he? And a classic winning trainer now, and probably the future of the game, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's very much. He's going to be. He's going. You know, we'll be looking back on 30 years. He'll be the next Michael Stout. We'll be revering him.
Does
like
he?
that,
Yeah,
he can be. He's going to be. He's come far so quick. He just knows what he's talking about.
Some of the pictures of old and stuff. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, you can tell he's very, very bright.
All right.
His horses break well, and he got that from Australia, didn't he?
He places his horses very well.
Places them well,
they're well schooled, aren't they?
Interesting. Okay, DJ Shocker comes on and says, Oisin is gold. Spinning it away, my man. Neil Francis comes back on, the one who wanted 4 out of 4. Really enjoyed Oisin today. Very informative. Absolutely. Quite right. Very much so. And we're hoping to go through the card. You've been given your selections. Basically, the top 2 at the market we've got on covered. But Barry has also thrown in Romantic Time as well under Emma Jane Wilson. Okay, all right. So after this, Kills, what does the weekend hold?
It's a very quiet one for me, I think.
Kel Surprise?
Yeah, not doing much at all, no. I had a good sesh last night, so I've got to behave myself with the missus for the next couple of days.
Is that right? Okay, fair enough. Barry, you're off on holiday, of course. Portugal awaits.
Yeah, I've 21st to go to tonight, one of my godchildren, and then I'm away to Portugal on Tuesday for a week, thankfully.
Blimey, you're a busy old chap today then, aren't you? You've earned it. You've earned it well.
I'll have a nice sleep on the plane, and I'll be well refreshed for
couple
a
of
nice
desperados.
couple of pints tonight. Yeah.
Very nice. Happy days. Oisin?
Like the sun?
I'm going to the eventing tomorrow. Gackham.
Will you be riding one then?
No, just spectating.
Okay.
But that should be fun. I'll bring my mother with me. And
they're popular days, aren't they?
And yeah, I hope the sun's shining.
Okay, all right. Okay. What am I doing? I'm going to the 70th tonight, actually. Getting old.
I know, it's scary, isn't it?
I am getting old.
Yeah.
What happened to the 21st?
I play golf with 2 8-year-olds.
You did?
I was 84, actually.
So to give yourself a boost. Absolutely.
Only people like an outdrive.
Well, it's been a great show. Thanks to the guys in the studio as well. Thanks to you for watching. We've got one more to come then. Can we get this over the line? That's the question. Barry, what are they saying in the market? I mean, every time I look at Admiral D, it looks like he might get usurped as favourite.
Yeah, he's on the slide. 5.1 now. Resina is 5.872 a day in Asia. 8 Sterling Knight. Spangled Max 7. 16 Romantic Times, 20 bar.
Okay. We ought to mention all these horses because you know what it's like. We're going through the card and the one we don't mention will come and pop up.
You can't claim you're going through the card just because we mentioned all the horses.
No, but what I mean is, Kills, there's a Sod's Law thing here. When you talk about 4 horses in a race, the 5th one will usually come up and do. What about Corazon then? Another one for George Bowie?
Corazon.
Yeah, I know exactly. I forgot he was running.
Yeah, I
this
know.
as well.
I'm just trying to remember it. They call me Ginger Run,
which is form you quite like. That, isn't it?
I did quite like that form, but King of Stars was fairly well beaten in the end.
I remember it now. It was slightly eye-catching first up behind Mountain Peak.
Yes.
Over 5, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it.
And it disappointed a bit. I don't know, the second run back, this would be a sod's law thing. Stall 1, not ideal, is it, on the sprint trick at Ascot?
I don't think it matters. Where they've run
Come
today.
on, it's not, is it?
Well, where they've
I
run
don't think
today.
it matters.
Where they,
They raced up the middle. Why would it matter?
Thank God Rodway's not here. I remember one because
Look,
we
there's
often
10
have
runners.
this argument, me and
There's
G-Rod.
10 runners of stalls in the centre, and they've stayed in the centre. Now, if there's 10 runners of stalls on the stand side, and they all try for the same little strip of ground, then it
That
does
would
matter.
be a worry.
But
So on the
they
rolling
haven't
mile, you
done that.
worry about it.
No, it depends on where they go. If they're coming down the middle, it's fine.
I can't stand wings. You often hear me saying that on this show, don't you?
Yeah, I don't like
opposed to
them
ribs.
myself.
I've seen you eat enough.
As opposed to ribs and steak. Exactly. I actually love a wing. But in racing, I can't stand wings. At York, I think you struggle to win with stall 1 on the sprint track. And I think here, I remember Gosden talking about it a little while ago. A horse of his was drawn on 1, and he said it's horrible draw. I don't know what it is, whether you struggle to find a bit cover early. I don't know what it is. It's tactic. That's what I think. If you're in stall 1 and you're a horse that doesn't want to ping out, surely your first job is to get it in between all the horses, isn't it?
Yeah, but what if you're in
That
stall 10?
can't be easy.
What if you're in stall 10? I mean, what's the difference?
Well, because with the stalls in the middle, you mean?
Well, no, yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
so
You're
what's
on a
in
wing
stall 10?
either side if the stalls are in the middle.
Yeah.
So what's in stall 10? Tolstoy.
Yeah.
For Jason Collett. I also think he's going to have a nightmare. Either wing. All right.
Okay.
I'm not being wingist.
Yeah, you're not left or rightist.
I'm not left or rightist. I'm definitely a centrist. Who knew I was wingist? It's absolutely been bowled up.
God.
But yeah, it's got to that point in the day, hasn't it? You're thinking. Absolutely. But Tolstoy, a last time out winner. First, this is a debut for Stuart Williams. Record for Stuart Williams?
Okay, I think. He's very
a good
to me.
target trainer, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been good to me.
Okay, and this guy came from the Gosdens, who would have been livid that he was in stall 11.
Would he?
Well, because it's a wing. But he beat Kims and Sand last time on the all-weather. This is quite interesting, actually, because it was the old Ogden colours, wasn't it? Lady Ogden now carrying the...
Is
Sir
there a
Robert
Lady Ogden now?
There is.
And keeping horses in training?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd like to see some more jumpers, wouldn't you, really? What a great...
I'd like
Ogden.
to see more
There's
of
no
Lady
Ogden,
Ogden.
colours. What's in Lady Ogden's colours?
No, it's the old colours.
Yeah,
She's
but
kind
what
of
horse are
changed
you
them up a
talking to?
bit.
Has she?
What horse are you talking
Yeah,
about?
she has changed the colours slightly. She has she? She absolutely has.
Certainly has, yeah.
She
It's not
has.
Ogden's old colours.
Yeah, but it's a kind of nod to them, isn't it, a little bit?
Tolstoy?
Tolstoy.
No, it's been sold.
Oh, yeah, right, okay, yeah.
But if you click on Lady Ogden, you'll see the colours. Which you can do if you click on the website and you look at that Crimson Sand, they'll come up. There you go. That's sort of similar, aren't they?
It looks the exact same.
They are
to
the
it.
same colours.
They basically own half of Yorkshire. But Crimson Sand got denied by this chap. He's bred to be an absolute worldie, this bloke, isn't he?
Who? Tolstoy?
Kingman out of a Frankel mare. Whoosh.
Lovely.
Very lovely.
Simply
Absolutely.
lovely.
So what? But he's a bit of a nutbag, you'd imagine. All right, let's look for the pace in this race.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
That's Lady Ogden.
That's Lady Ogden. Oh, yes, there is a Lady Ogden, all right. He
used to bring Lady Ogden, the previous
She-
Lady
she-
Ogden to the
yeah.
Curragh. I think there's been a couple of Lady Ogdens, but I remember he used to travel a lot to the Curragh. He
Best Sir
enjoyed
Robert
going racing
Ogden
in
horse.
Amazing Maria.
Oh, yes. She was great, the grey.
Yeah, I think I saw her win the Curragh.
Santa Camillo
No.
won a day. That was a
Viper
massive gamble.
Istides.
Exotic
Viper
dancer.
Istides, yeah.
Exotic dancer, of course. Now we're switching codes, which is what we used to know Robert for, wasn't it? He used to have some great jumpers.
Primarily, yeah.
Marlborough.
Yeah.
That was a proper old jumper, wasn't it? We are digressing.
Yeah, he
because-
enjoyed his racing, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was a good patron of the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Very, very much so. How did he make his money? I can't remember now. It was wheelie dealing, I think, wasn't it, at first, or something like that. I remember the story. Anyway, I'm digressing. You can tell it's the end of a long day. But we're still here. We've got one more to go. It's the sprint race. And Admiral D, is he actually now going to... I don't think he's going to go off that, is he?
He's been his favourite now.
Why is he stinking in the market so much, Kills?
No idea, mate. I don't care about the market, you know me. I'll just back him again.
Sterling Knight strong.
Yeah, he is.
6.2 now from a
Under
high of
Takeshi.
18.
I mean, look, something. We've had some gamblers.
Got it.
Yokoyama.
I got it in the end.
We've
Just
had
think of the
some-
castle.
His father's Nuri Yokoyama.
Yeah, as
It
Kills
was,
said.
What's the old man? What's the
I
grandfather's
don't
name?
know.
The brother was a good jockey as well, wasn't
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's got a proper riding, hasn't he? Yeah.
I wouldn't know, but he's on the arc.
Kazu Yokoyama.
he? Is that the brother, yeah? What age is he?
Kazoo.
I don't know, but similar, 20s.
Watches the derby as well, does he?
Bit of money for romantic time now, Baz, as well.
Oh, there's a loose one at Ascot. We're going to be late. Non-runner, no way that can run.
Come on, that can't run. What was that?
All money back, all money back.
That looked like Spangled, was it?
I have a flight to catch.
Oh no, it's not Admiral D anyway, because there's your number 3. So I don't know what it is.
Number 3.
He looks well there, Admiral D, number 3.
Number 3.
No, but I can't tell if a horse looks well or not, especially not on the telly.
This is what Bruce does when he comes on. It's just a horse, he says.
Yeah.
It's infuriating. All right, so we got a loose one. Had to happen, didn't it? It would be nice if they showed us
Still
who it
that
was.
number 2, isn't he?
Number 2, who is definitely running. That's Tolstoy.
Look on the Betfair market and see which one's shortening up. That's how it
Yeah,
works.
exactly. Yeah, they're all. Usually that's how it works. Yeah.
Rosina now looking like it's definitely going to go off Fav then, Barry.
Yes, 5.3 now, and it's 5.6 Sterling Knight. He's the best backed horse.
And whatever the Lucy was, it's going to be withdrawn. Yeah, it has. Oh, here we go. It was Amazonian Dream. Oh, the Millmans will be livid.
Gone.
As opposed
and
to.
You said it was a nutcase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave? You said it was a nutcase.
That's what James says, but James will tell you every horse they got is useless, and then they go and win 5 races a week. Blooming bloke. But Amazonian Dream has broken free, and I've got a feeling when they took him for the Windsor Castle last year, I think he had some problems with the stalls there as well. He did me a favour when he won at Bath earlier in the year. Right.
Spangled Mac out to 10.
Yeah,
that
come into like 6.4 or something just early on, just a little while ago.
That's exactly what you wanted, a loose one. You were getting the trip brilliantly, weren't you? And then all of us, the Toaster Hill is ahead of you.
This is the longest we've ever done, 11 races.
Pretty much.
I don't remember 11.
We've, with the duration-wise, we did Royal Ascot.
Royal Ascot,
we did the first,
but that's only what,
there weren't so many races, but we went
Yeah.
all the way up to 6 p.m. I think from 1 something. So
Yeah.
it's I don't touch and go whether it's the longest one. They've caught Amazonian Dream, but why on earth they can't still run the sprint with him? I mean, he's literally in Slough, isn't he? That's as far as
He's at the mile start, yeah.
He's at the mile start, yeah.
Yeah, well, as long as they've got him, they'll
That
start
is
loading.
which
now,
is the other side of the track.
Why
if you don't know.
in Ascot do they run the straight mile and then the round mile? What's the
I don't
thinking
know.
there?
I suppose the round mile is traditional. Isn't
I was
it?
going to say tradition.
Just tradition.
I think so, probably.
I mean,
It
it
suits
would,
different horses. I don't know.
it would suit me if we never saw the round mile.
Really?
Again, but
Really? It's
yeah,
just
I
it's
quite like
variation in
If
it.
I ran the stats, would they be awful?
No, I think I'm okay, but not.
No, you out because you got a Coronation Stakes, of course.
Yeah.
Like, probably that was a great day, wasn't it?
No, I've had I
Alcohol
won
free.
on Dreamloper Group 3 there, and I don't
Fair
know.
enough. Not that bothered about
Beat
it.
the bank maybe the summer mile once or twice. I don't know.
What do
There
you
are
make
other
of-
course with straight 7s and round 7s as well, aren't there? Like, it's not only Ascot.
Yeah,
straight mile,
Newbury
mile.
has a round mile.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
straight
Yeah,
mile.
yeah.
They're
yeah.
going in.
There are definitely others.
They're going in.
The Curragh even.
Not a
Not a
round
mile.
mile.
Is that a
No.
straight 7? though?
6 furlongs, isn't it? 7.
Straight mile,
No,
relatively
6
straight.
furlongs.
There's a little
Yeah, there's
elbow
a
in the
kink,
Curragh,
yeah.
7, I think, is on the round.
But
isn't
they
it,
don't
of the
race
Curragh?
it at like the round is only mile 2.
Yeah, I know what
mile
you're saying,
half,
yeah.
Mile 6
Yeah, yeah.
on the far side.
So when you come back, we need to plot you up a winner at the Curragh. And it's
Yeah,
pretty much all
please
tick
God.
then. It's pretty
Yeah.
much all tick then. All right?
But then retire for good.
Well, it's up to you.
You
Like
got
Spencer, he
Carlisle
was
at
gonna-
first to do, and you got
Yeah,
you got to pay at least one visit.
And you got to win the silver saddle.
yeah, and win some more Group 1s like Derby and an Arc and
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
King George.
I'd suggest that's on the horizon, mate.
Well,
I wouldn't
could
worry
take
too much about that.
25 years. You need the horses.
You got time on your side.
Exactly. Took
And the
Frankie.
physique.
Took Frankie a long while, didn't he? Then he got 2.
Yeah.
Right, Razzina is in.
You're taking the mantle. Do you want to call this one?
I can try.
Go on.
Go on, you come on, you love it. Go on then, Oshin, they're off.
Okay, they're off and racing, and I have no idea what's in
Night.
front.
12th
Night is leading.
Sterling Knight. Now, don't get your nights mixed up.
12th Night
Go
and
with the
Sterling
caps.
Knight and Tolstoy this side under Jason Collett. The Aussie is looking for his first winner at Ascot, racing a little bit keenly, being followed by Admiral D with Joanna Mason getting a good slipstream into the race. On the far side, Romantic Time, Emma Jane Wilson sitting midfield. Getting a lovely toe into the race is Corazon under Antonio Fresu with the classic winning trainer George Bowie. They're down to halfway and horses are beginning to come under pressure. 12th Night is getting niggled along, followed by Tolstoy up Sideson. Holly Doyle is flat out on It's Holly Doors, sorry.
we're
Joanna
struggling.
Mason is
Rosina
flat out
needs a
on the
run.
Admiral D.
Day in Asia.
A Day in Asia is coming good on this side.
Come on, Admiral.
He's just got not got any
Ritzena is
run at
coming
all.
good, but maybe too late.
What's this?
Come on, Ritzena.
What's this
Race
team?
is
Day in Asia,
over.
lads. A day in Asia.
A Day in Asia.
Neil Callum's going to get the silver saddle.
All over.
Oh, that's
All over bar the shouting.
and the purple is flying.
Spangled Mac.
Spangled Mac with Nicola Curry.
That's still well handicapped, that, isn't it?
Well done to Neil Callum.
Well done to Neil Callum. Looks like he's won the silver saddle. He took our first race of the day, and also I cannot possibly remember what the name of that was. Let's have a look down. That was a good call, by the way, Oisin. Orban, of course.
It was a very good call,
It was a good call.
Until I lost concentration. You're very
It was a
kind.
good call. There's a
brilliant,
future
yeah.
yet.
Is there a
There
race
is a future
caller?
yet. You never know.
Isn't there a race in Newmarket where they get the trainers? And
Yes.
They do, absolutely. Yeah, you'd be great at that. No, that was great fun, wasn't it? And two have come
Give Johnny
clear.
Burke a run for his money.
Johnny Burke is different class.
Ah, you give him a run
Point
for
to
his money,
points and
yeah.
everything.
Were you on each way, Kills?
No.
No. Admiral D only third. He didn't get a great run, but a day in Asia, a very progressive young sprinter then, because that's the hat trick. Neil Callum took aim a furlong out, and he really responded very quickly. Harry Dunlop then takes the final race. It is a she, of course.
Harry Dunlop's had a good few winners recently. I think at least 3 in the last week from less than 10 runners.
Okay, yeah, you're quite right. He has. A day in Asia was one of them.
3 from that.
Goodwood, of course. Polly Pot as well in the week
Yeah,
at
3
Nottingham.
from 1, 2, 3. 3 from
Yeah.
7 in the last fortnight.
There you go. Night to behold. Indeed, Harry's best horse, we think. All right, there you go. The final race done. If you're on Rosina, it looked like they went a bit slow, and then she needs a bit further, basically, to my eyes. But we are done. And you know what? We didn't go through the card.
No, in fact, we actually barely mentioned that one.
Oh, that was the Sod's Law horse. We just said it was a good name.
Well, it was nearly
All right.
fab, yeah, basically, it was nearly fab at the death, wasn't it?
Brilliant. Listen, that's all we got time for on Racing Post Live. Oisin, marvellous stuff. Our viewers have absolutely loved it.
Thank you.
We'll have you
Superstar.
back if you'll come, 100%. It's been
Cheers,
great.
gents.
Kills, we'll have you back if you'll come.
Oh, well, I'll think about it.
You started better than you finished. Barry, another great day.
Yeah, we've had a blast. You know, it's a good day when you look at the clock and it feels like we've only been here 10 minutes.
There you go. You've deserved your holiday, man. I've been Dave Orton, the guys in the gallery. We will be back next Saturday for more fun here. 1:30, I think. Normal time. We resume then. Don't miss it.